pressured by reroll in stage 3 and now having to deal with the matchmaking of if I face Hwangmi, do I win or do I go out?
Alright. I'm back. GG. À, ngay. Qua mấy giờ được rồi. La una le todavía. Right. Let's go. Rồi, bien là.
To stay in. Oh, it actually looks like Soju was able to win.
That's surprising. I wonder who against.
Looks like Bensak.
Attack.
Or a Ghost. Could have been a Ghost.
I think until the Lulu 3 is hit, it might be a pretty even fight up against the Jax, especially if the Jinx locks on early, the Edge of Night is procced, and the Jax is bursted down.
There's the Lulu.
Ooh. No items for it. You can move these Melio items over to the Lulu. Seems like that is going to be the play.
Definitely.
And this is a textbook Jinx game from Soju. This is exactly what the guides tell you to do. This is exactly how to execute this game plan. You top 4, you add a lot of tempo early on, and you've done your job with his 4th place position.
He did. He actually didn't. He put the Thieves gloves under the Lulu instead.
I mean, it's a good TG. Probably checked it. Archangels, Morello, at least for this fight, still has removers.
He up against Jetasaur. See if this spike is enough to take out Jedu's board, who has been dominating for so much of this lobby. The Jax is going to fall, though, but there's so much damage left for Bensak's board. He will take that win. Soju goes down to 1 HP.
And I do believe Bensak got the golden remover from one of the Thresh boons, which is why he's able to continue pivoting off the TG, when it's where TGs get so much more value, because you can say, oh, what does it fit best? Is it an AP carry? Is it a tank? And you can kind of change your board up every single round.
Another thing to have to consider when you're doing all of your fight positioning and thinking about who you're going to face, but if you're able to get those small little micro details, then that can help out a lot. Very close together, though. Elite Sao is still leading the lobby there with a 4-win streak. And that Fiora. 2 Fiora 2s in this lobby as Elite Sao and Jetasaur are both with those carries. But level 10 for Jetasaur as he starts to roll to add in something.
Vex was skipped. Graves was skipped, so it's just going to be the Morgana. Potentially the Jhin, just as more utility. There's a Vex pair there, also skipped, so clearly Vex is not going to be the next addition in for Jedu. Yeah, just trying to find utility, trying to find ways to support the Kindred and the Fiora as the 2 stars of this show. I love the Meeple emblem, just chilling there, like, yep, I'm doing something.
Soju will not be long for this world. I cannot imagine he'll be able to take out Jetasaur's board. There's just so much value, and like you were saying, Panda, Soju did his job. This was exactly what he was aiming for. He came in trying to get his top 4, get his valid points, a nice stable game, and then get out. Although it actually is a little bit closer. No, okay, yeah. Jetasaur's board will take him out. Soju finds himself in 4th. You take the points that are there.
Well, that is the nature of this format. The more, slow and steady may win the race. And if you're able to just accumulate multiple top 4s back to back, then all of a sudden you might be in that situation where, okay, we're all in game 6. I just need a 1st place. And that's it. And I can win even if I don't have the most points accumulated. If
you were to look at Soju's notebook in terms of his game plan for this final lobby, it probably looks like 4 games of Jinx reroll or Corki Ribbon. 5th game, Gamba on Anima, and hope I win. And that is a very valid game plan for a checkmate format lobby. That plays to his strengths as well. He knows exactly how to play for that stage 3, stage 4 tempo.
Bentak is going to get a ghost fight here. So this is best case scenario. The problem he's going to face is the HP disparity between 1st, 2nd, 3rd. We're still seeing Lisao and Jetasaur just run over the entire lobby. So I think Bensak probably knows the writing is on the walls. Even if he was able to win this fight, there's just so much room left to go for Lisao and Jetasaur.
With that positioning comes to the Jax winning the Fiora 1v1. When the Jax does win, he can wrap immediately onto the Kindred and take over the rest of the fight. So we'll see if the actual fight between these two players changes and if Jedusor swaps his units.
Well, Bensak is also going to go level 8, so can add in another
The Ross
champion
would be
here.
really nice.
Yeah.
So many traits active. The Ross would give you a ton of attack speed and defensive stats.
This board looks absolutely crazy from Liu Xiao. Has the Fiora itemized, has the Blitz itemized. I think the 2 and the Shen is also on his way. Has a Soul Awakening for these longer fights when the Aatrox is buying so much time in the front line.
How is it going to fare against the Evelyn's Instinct Fiora 2 for Jedusor? We will find out in a potential final showdown, but it is Jedusor versus Bensak. Bensak on the verge of elimination in this game, but a 3rd place here is still very good.
Jax popped the Fiora's Edge of Night early, but now the Fiora is running rampant. Can the Jax take the Fiora down? Can the Jax move all the way over to the Kindred? It's too much to chew through for Bensak. Still a strong top 3rd.
You see in the player cams, I'm assuming, I don't speak French, I'm assuming that those motions are him saying, I'll take a 3rd, I'll take a 3rd.
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
What can I do
Très bien.
against these two boards? I mean, incredibly high cap boards to start things off for Jedu and Liu Xiao.
Now the question is, how do these two cap boards outcap one another? They're both at 0 gold. We saw that Jedu was the player who had gone to level 9 first to maybe knock off some of that HP from Liu Xiao, but when they last fought, Liu Xiao was actually able to take the fight over Jedu, and now Liu Xiao has matched him at level 10.
I think the concern is that Jedu only really has 2 carries in the Kindred and the Fiora. The Fiora can get herself in trouble depending on how she ults and where she ends up on the board. She gets targeted early, whereas Liu Xiao just has a lot more star power with the Kindred, the Fiora, the Blitz, and the Shen now as well with the Edge of Night, putting in a lot of work.
2 more items to go onto those units, and then of course a pair of legendaries on the board in case you want to slot in something that's a little more powerful. But the Fiora here for Liu Xiao is going to be doing just a little bit more work,
Fiora.
but it's
Wrap
still
comes
the
in.
Evelyn left for the Fiora on the other side, but it doesn't matter. Liu Xiao is going to win this fight out with the rest of the strength on the board.
One reminder for viewers, if Fiora is left in a 1v1, she wins it no matter what. So if she was able to kill off the Blitz or the Shen there, that would have been a fight win for Jedu. The same goes for Liu Xiao's Fiora if that's the case. Fight RNG.
Jedusor is going to be able to upgrade this Shen too. And I wonder if that's going to change anything if you can put the items
There are
on
matchup
to
between
it.
them, but probably I did
I'll
little
have to put
for
the
to
Morgana
my
items
butt
on the Shen
look at a lot of
now.
items.
Upgrade the Shen.
and the other lady. The other did
We'll
use
get a lot
up
more
like
damage, some more
the
utility.
only
If you can
Godin
get
is.
a really well-placed Shen ult that could slow down
I
some of this
think
other
Fiora-
side.
Fiora is
Kindred,
really
the Shen,
good
the
at playing.
Fiora. I mean, we are seeing a
But
bit
the
of a
thing
mirror
is,
match. So
it's not
let's
even
watch
close.
both the
They're
Fiora
quite
ult
effective.
and the Shen ult to see what's getting the most optimal cast.
And Blitzcrank's items also very good. And then Liu Xiao Fiora is also
Front line is starting to
on
fall
the
here
side.
on Genesaur's
And
side.
then
There's
it's dead.
so much
Really
left
bad
for
for
Liu
Jedu.
Xiao. Everything crumbles. It's not even close. Liu Xiao is going to take our first game and
Liu
earn
Xiao
himself
take
8
the way more.
points.
Well, they both
Crazy
fine.
play
They
from
both
Liu
happy
Aatrox.
with
The
the plays
Aatrox
because
3
of the color
early,
like
slamming a Rabbit on, reforging
they
it later
really happy
on,
with the
trying
plays
to adapt
because
at every stage of the game. He
the
knew the game
check-
plan was trying to
checkmate
make it to
for Max.
9,
I
in
thought
this
he got
case
to, like,
10.
almost
The
point,
hard part was
and they're
getting
going
there,
to
and
checkmate.
he, I think, played it
That's
perfectly
very
all
good.
across the game. Was so healthy in stage 4 as
Other
well.
than that,
Great awareness
already
from the Aatrox worth the
There's
weight
a
to be
much
able to
better
build
things.
around it. I think there's a lot of people that you get the Aatrox worth the weight and you build generic tank items because that's what he is, a tank. But I love the Gargoyles and the Titans. We talked about it yesterday during one of our breakdowns that you get so much value when you're playing around the Nova Strike Aatrox from having additional armor and AD.
that's what you're
Well,
very
I'm
happy
so
with
glad
the
that we're
both
going
plays.
to be able to talk about that just a little bit more, but we do have a recap from our analysts that they can tell us a little bit more about some of the details we might have missed in that first game.
Thank you guys so much. We have, of course, a recap prepared, but it's not necessarily on the game you just saw, although it might look very similar. That Nova Strike Aatrox is something that you mentioned, Gangly. We spotted yesterday, and we were like, we want to talk more about this. So we're going to take a look at Jedu's game of it yesterday, and it will also apply to what we saw from Liu Xiao in this game that just happened. So Jedu starts out the game, picks up Salvage Bin. He does buy a bunch of the Aatrox throughout that game, but he sells them again as well. So he doesn't really hold onto them. until he picks that constructor champion.
Yeah, exactly. And also he needed a plan B, right? He took a steamroll, didn't work out, so losing the early stages of the game. And we see it here, really rolling deep into finding Dietros. He knew that was the out, finds a Kindred also in the roll down, and now this is a man with a plan.
He is. He gets into that Aatrox line with that salvage bin, perfect items, and later on he finds sweet treats right here. And as the blessed child that he is, he gets Silver Mirror Dawn offered, which is the ideal item because of what Gangly mentioned. That 80 armor on Silver Mirror Dawn is just perfect. And you can see how much damage he is going to apply with that Nova Strike that hits 6 seconds into the game. Here's that tooltip with the major damage breakdown.
Yeah, 1,000 damage to all of the board. So that's effective 8,000 damage at least that you're giving to everyone. So he's one-shotting backlines. He's really pumping it off. And anyone that didn't hit the 2-star carries is very, very low. So actually he's just, even if he's not winning rounds, he's preserving HP and he's punishing the low streakers.
It's wonderful. The only thing I wish Jedu had done to maybe save himself to a first or a second place is what we saw from Lee Sao just now, which is adding in that Vex. He did it at the last moment, and Vex is the perfect unit to round it out because of her passive. So the passive from Vex does steal 1280 AP for every unit that is hit by your team as at the first time it's hit. And because the Aatrox stride applies to the entire team, well, that is an immediate debuff to the entire enemy team, and it's just so good.
It's so cool that a tech that started on CN was taken by Jidusor and now once again by Lisao. So the text has been open, and now the tech master Tom Jidusor makes it again.
That's it. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that tactical breakdown presented by HyperX. I'm glad we got a few more details on how that Nova Strike Aatrox can really get it to work. And I think like a great example and beautiful setup there for Lee Sao to show us the second example.
I tend to call these players that are kind of punishing the low roll players in stage 4 the Grim Reaper. I think in this case it's the Grim Cleaver, and that'll be the case if we ever see a Nova Strike Aatrox again. I think it would be quite fitting in terms of the lore and just the the artistic style from the Aatrox.
I certainly was not expecting to see that much of the Nova Strike Aatrox. It's not a tech that's particularly common, not because people don't think it's good, but it requires a very specific setup. So the fact that we were able to see it today and yesterday, not only does it show that this is something that's strong that can be played, it shows a recognition from the players. I thought the clip that they showed, what stood out the most to me was how Genesis rolled to find that Aatrox 3, because he knew this is a narrow niche line that if I can find it, it will get me a place.
Second place for Genusaur, first place for Sao, and the points will follow the Ray that you saw for the standings, because we just had the one game. We're still looking for our competitors to reach 20 total points that they need to win in order to claim the Tacticians crown. So we're still a couple games away from that, but it is interesting when you think about the way that this first game finished. Our two most dominant first place rates went 8 and 7. And that actually think opens up the door a lot, because if we're thinking about them being maybe the most likely to be able to get a first place, at least with the historics that they have for this set. Well, they're far away from that 20 points.
Especially if they're not in check later on, they can delay the checkmate, they can force the game to who knows? Looking at Falmy in particular, I think we've seen this when they play Iron when we final lobby. He's a very high-risk, fast-line player as well. He's had times where it fails game 1, he goes again, it fails game 2, and he can't get out of that slump. So in game 2 in particular, I have my eyes on Falmy, how he reacts to this first 8th place, and this is what true champions are made of, bouncing back from slow start.
It's not even unfamiliar territory for Falmy. In this set, where he had a 33% win rate over 57 games on the entirety of the set, do you know where he finished in the regional finals? It was an 8th, because he's opting into this high-risk playstyle. I think you said it perfectly. It's not just about getting points. You have to play in a way that so that when you reach it, you can get that final win in that moment. I would not be surprised at all to see Falmy flip the game, because at this point, you might as well. You're not looking at game 4 ending anymore. You're looking at game 5, game 6, it's a long game with players like Alon and Falmy.
I do think that he also got a little unlucky on finding the mech, had a lot of gold to actually roll at level 8.
တွေ grief တာ
He
မှန်တယ်
actually got
ဒါပေမဲ့ မ
thrashed.
grief တဲ့အချိန်
And
လ
the
ည်းရှိ
fact you
တယ်
have extra
အဲ့ဒီ
rerolls
ထဲမှာ
from the encounter itself. Almost every time we
မတာမို့တဲ့
see
ကုန်း
a
နေ
player
ဆော့ပြီး
like
နိုင်သွားတဲ့လူတွေ
Aesol,
ရှိခဲ့တယ်
before they
ဥ
even
မာ
start
တစ်စု
rolling, they've already
ဆက်ဆက်
high
သုံး
rolled
တော့
one copy of Money Mac, one copy
very
of Aesol. They have
real
it up to 7,
very
where
watcher
they're, killing a few
fire
units.
line နဲ့
We didn't see a
အဲ့
copy
ကု
of
န်း
Mac
က
for maybe
စီတိုင်းက
50 gold.
ဘယ်
We
သူမှမ
thought
ဆို
he was
ကျန်
maybe
တယ်မကျန်
forced to
ဘူး
pivot into Vanguard
အဲ့
because
ကု
of
န်း
the
ကို
new pair, for
သူ
example.
က
So it could not have done worse
ကြောင်း
for
တယ်
the
သူ
roll
နဲ့တွေ့ရ
down.
နောက်
He
ဆုံး
still
against ကျန်
got
တာ
it back together.
အဲ့
I
against
think
ဆိုတဲ့
it's
ဘဲ
a
က
clean
ဟို
fashion.
true
The
artillery
duplicator were not
အဲ့
really
ထရစ်
used
ထား
to
တာ
the best,
real
case.
တက်တယ်တော့
They
များ
got
နေ
into too
ပထ
much
မ
of
တစ်
the
စုအဲ့
last
တော့
two
မနိုင်
fights.
ဘူးမနိုင်
And he
တော့
had tough
အိုက်တန်
matchmaking.
ရောင်းပါ
He
တဲ့
faced
သူ
some
က
very
အေဂျွန်နိုင်
strong
ရတယ်
players
အဲ့ချိန်
right
မှာ
when
သူ
they're
race
reaching
play
as
race
well.
play အေဂျွန်နိုင်ထည့်
I
ပြီး
just
တော့
think that
ခရစ်စတန်နောက်
he
အောက်
got
ပလေးပြီး
eliminated
တော့
there in
ချက်မိတ်မှာနိုင်သွားတယ်
8 to Along, who
ဆိုတော့
fell
အဲ့လိုကုန်း
shortly
နေလဲ
after
ဆော့လို့
that,
ရတယ်
but
ဒါပေမဲ့
I
ဒီ
feel
မှာ
like
လက်ရှိအဲ့
any
လို
of
ကုန်း
the
နေ
other
တော့ jinx လို့
competitors
လောက်
that
ရှိ
he
မယ်
would have played against,
ပြ
he
လို့
was
ရှင်း
on
ရှင်းလေး
borrowed
တော့ဘူး try လို့
time
တော့
being
ဘူးရ
at
အောင်
that
လို့တော့
low
ဘူးတော့ဘူးတော့
HP
ဘူးတော့
through
ဘူး
the rest of the
အဲ့
game.
တော့ဟိုကနေပြီးတော့
Someone else was
ချက်မ
going
ရ
to
လို့
knock
ရှရင်
him out
အဲ
if it
ချက်မိတ်
wasn't
ဥ
on.
မာအဲ့ဒန်နုရဲ့ idea တဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲ တော့ဘူးတော့ဘူးတော့ဘူးပြီးတော့မှချက်မိတ်ကြရင်ချက်မိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုပြီးတော့အောင်းရင်ပြီးတော့
So you can't
ဒါ
really
တော့
say,
anyway ဆိုလဲ anima
unlucky
မဟုတ်လေ
matchmaking. If only I did, if
တ
only
ခြား
I got the
first line
three
ညာလီ
weakest
ဂိမ်းဝင်
players
ဆွေ
in the lobby.
ထိုင်
He
ဆ
might
က်
have been
ဖတ်
so
နိုင်
too.
ဒီ
Jedu
ကို
was
ကြည့်ရ
still
ပုံ
4-1
ပ
on
ညာ
5-1. He hit the
အဲ့လိုပဲ
clean
ဆို
on
တော့
5-2
ကျန်တာ
after he became the
ဘာမှ
strongest
မရှိ
player in the
ဘူး
lobby.
ဒီဇက်က
Lee Xiao
ဒါပဲ
was
ရှိတယ်
also a window
အရင်
final
ဆက်
5-1
16
where
တော့
he
ဆို
had
ရင်
that
တော့အ
spike
များ
into
ကြီးရှိ
a
တယ်
savings goal to make it to
ဖတ်
9
ဆိုင်
and
ပုတ်
then
တွေ
to
ဆို
10.
လို့ရှိရင်
We saw with how
ဖတ်
high
ဆိုင်
cap
ဖိုက်ပုတ်
was
တွေနင်းတာပေါ့
everything
ဖိုက်ပုတ်တွေ
gone.
အများကြီး
So I think there was a window of breathing room
ပြီး
for
တော့
him to
နောက်ဆုံးရှုံး
maybe
သွား
start
တာ
high
အ
rolling
ကုန်လုံးဘယ်
those
သူမှမ
Aesol
နိုင်တာ
copies,
တဲ
for
တော့ဘယ်သူမှ
example,
မ
as
နိုင်
well, to have a little bit more
ပြီးအဲ့
time
ဘက်မှာမှ
to
နောက်
hit his
ဆုံး
upgrades,
ပြင်မ
stabilize
လား
that
အော်ရင်
type
လည်း
of
ယူ
reach
နာ
on
သရီ
four
ကြ
cost
ပါညာ
position.
တွေ့တယ်ယူနာသရီ
On the flip
အိုင်း
side,
လို့ပါ
we
လို့ရှုံး
still
သွားတယ်
have 5 players, I believe, in the lobby who are capable of getting the
Hello.
3-game check. If
He
players,
got
even as
many
low as
paid,
Stilo
and then we'll
Mora,
go
who
paid.
got 4 points from that
Very
fifth place
big
finish,
set.
if you go 1-1, that
But you
brings
know
you to 20 points after game 3. So we still have many people who could be willing to flip the game because, listen, if I could find one early first place finish when I'm in a good standing in the game, we might be able to pack it up early.
Gateway wants a short day confirmed.
No. My prediction is Soju in 8 with no win. That's my prediction.
Wow, with no wins. Okay. To explain that a little bit, the maximum number of games that we can go to today is 8. And the day will end
I
with
wish
the
I could
player with the
fly.
most points if there isn't somebody in check that actually gets a first in that game. What Gangly is talking about is very statistically unlikely.
I don't think it's ever happened, right?
I don't think
I've
we've
never
ever
heard of
hit
eight.
8 games.
We reached
We've hit
7,
like
but that was the
7.
max.
We're going to see the Corky Riven Master getting thirds all day
Hey,
into a
you
first place
I-
finish.
lâu
I
lắm,
think
em ơi,
getting
game two
third
more
in 7
game.
games,
One
puts you at a
being
pretty high
game two
point
now.
total, Gangly, but we'll see that'll be the case for the
အဲ့ဂိမ်း
game.
2 ပြီးမှဒီလိုမျိုးကြာ
Look,
နေတာ
or he
game
said,
1နဲ့ game
I'll
2က
take
သလိုက်
second
တာ
place.
အဲ့မ
I'll
လား
take the
ဟိုပါရ
50K. That would be fine too.
Yeah, it would need to
Yeah.
be third, and then Juan Mie, after going 8th for the first 6 games, goes first. Game continues, and then that's how it finishes up.
Okay.
Clearly a very likely scenario that Gangly is pondering on
Yep.
here.
Yes, Gangly is his tinfoil hat theory on that these players are going to extend this to 8 games for maximum entertainment value. But let's get into game number 2. See the gods that we have, and it looks like Evelyn is going to be offering some shady dealings in packs.
A little bit more risk than usual added onto the convergence. Ari adding more econ as well, making it easier for those fast 9 players to reach their high cap wars like the ones we saw last game. I will say game 1, a very good start for Emiya. Jedusor and Bensek both in that top 3, both playing very confident TFT, and I think also showing one of the niche lines, the Jax Hero Augment, a really nice showing for Bensek. We'll see if we'll have more chances to have that picked up from some players in this final lobby.
I want to see players who are at the bottom completely risk the game because, as we've been saying, you have to. There's no point in just playing for points when you're sitting at the bottom. Maybe game 2, you can afford it if you just want to, get your mental back in check, play a stable 4th or 5th place game, and feel like you're not going off the rails. But very quickly, you will run out of time, and you need to be able to reach these players who are off to the races immediately. Players like Lee Xiao and Jedu, who found that early top 2. If either one of them finds another top 2, there will be a lot of pressure on the rest of the lobby.
Our encounter for this game 2 will be Golden Gala. Of course, some
Golden Gala.
full
Okay.
game warping augments can be offered on 2-1. I'm thinking of 2 Tanky. I'm thinking of Treasure Hunt for some of the reroll lines.
Golden
Calculated loss for
Gala.
both the anima players and the anti
ဒီ
players.
ရှောင်း rage play တီမို
Two
2
notable that I'm seeing on the right-hand side.
လက်ပလုံးကလိုင်းလက်ပလုံးလိုင်းကပွင့်ရယ်
on
Lee
one of
Xiao
the
အနေနဲ့
benches. So So could
Bansack
be the two tanky,
Bansack
like you're mentioning, Panda,
တရားတစ်
but
ခု
for
ရှိတယ်
now,
သူမှာသူက unit
Stable,
900
actually, I
တာ
really
ပြီးတော့
like
သူမှာ
Bansack's
Ilaoi
team
ရှိရယ်
has a handful of outs. You hold the Briar, and you also have the Alawi on the
Nasha.
bench. See if he decides to do that. No, just wants to hold the Vanguard package, and also the potential for the Lysandra as well.
Animal Commander
Also could take some XP here. We saw 3 players take patient study in our first game, so that's definitely a possibility. Oh, and a lot of also
Animal
scaling
Commander you love
augments,
that,
you know?
Jimmy,
I did not
you love
realize that a lot of our players
Solo
would
play
really
တယ်
like to
Solo play
play
တော့
around
ရတယ်
things
ဒါပေမဲ့
like solo
မဲ
play,
အဲ့
the
လို
Anima
မျိုး
Visage
Patient Study
augment,
လည်းမ
the
ဆိုဒါပေမဲ့ဘာလို့
Stealthy
လို့
Fast
free
Heart.
ပေးရဒါ real question
Heart of Steel, yeah. Heroic grab bag offered here, potential reroll. Anima Commander, I think Bensek is just waiting for everyone to pick up their augments. If he sees that all 7 players in the lobby are very kind of win streak and tempo focused, and no one has Calc Loss or
Okay,
Clear
interesting.
Mind, we're seeing from Jedusor, he might opt into the Anima Commander, but in the end, it will be the solo play that you're mentioning, Necra.
I want to know what Juanmie was picking because Bensack was
In
just
the
sitting
end,
on his board
just
waiting.
take
And look
this
at that.
solo
It was the standoff, the two of them. One person's got the Anima Commander, the other's got the calculated loss. They're each waiting for the other person to move off of it. And Bensack is the first to flinch. Juanmie is going to run it back with a risky style, this time trying to win off the calculated loss.
A strong tempo start here for Along. It's just the Talon 1 for now. We'll see if the Teemo can clean up here, but Nova +1 as well as the Timebreaker +1. You can play into some kind of Nova Ribbon board on 8.
Replace လိုက်ရ
How
တော့
it evolves, maybe a fast
210
land board like we saw from Lee Sao last game.
210 တော်ရီ210
The players who are level 4 right now are the ones that we should be looking to see who are maybe trying to contest the full win. And ironically, 3 players leveled up to 4. 2 of them lost their first round, Along and Jedusor. K3 Soju is the only player to level early that's on that win. So we're seeing it followed up by Lee Sao as well. The Gwen can do so much damage early, and sitting on the Bastion emblem to make her scale up later into the fight, live a little bit longer. This feels like if Soju can high roll another copy of Gwen, Gwen 2 would be almost a guaranteed 5 streak through stage 2.
I wonder if, okay, so also taking note that Stila of Bora is going to be sitting on a lot of gold and also hoping to break the Anima or the lost streak of Hwamie, but
True.
I wonder if Soju is going to consider going into Space Groove, knowing that there's a 2 tanky player in the lobby.
Most likely. We saw it yesterday. I believe it was from Soju himself in that 3-way contest lobby where Soju rolled early to not only increase his AVP by trying to do well with Space Groove, but also dragging down 2 other players with him, and it did work out quite well for him. For Stilo, I think he's trying to become the Anima player. Most likely will be rolling on 2-5 for Anima, depending on what he sees from both Jedusor and Hwamie. Hwamie on Call Claw, Jedusor is playing Clear Mind and is relatively open, has 2 Anima right now, has a 3rd in the shop, and he can opt to add it in.
Yep.
Last second, trying to give away as little information as possible, of course.
Ooh.
3 seconds from now, we'll be hearing the pings. And the information's already here. It is going to be a win for Jedusor, which is pretty bad news. It breaks his 2-loss streak, has to reset. Not the worst news. You can still, of course, salvage a decent enough Anima game from this spot.
I'm actually unsure how high of an Anima you can get with it just coming in, and you're going to be on a 0 loss streak on 2-5. Can you actually get to a 400 safely at this late with no losses?
Safely is
Bro,
a
that
lot of the weight.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly probably don't want to take anything from Evelyn because you're going to lose so much HP.
You take Evelyn safely, scratch that one out.
How many Evelyns were taken at all? Actually, it looks like everyone is opting to take... Actually, I bet you Soju... Yeah, I knew it. Soju is always taking Evelyn. And it makes sense.
Bensack too.
What Soju is doing with this, so this was the 4-cost spend health, I believe, right? That was the Evelyn
4 cost
offered.
for 3 health.
This is Soju opening up a potential high roll.
Just high roll the Nami?
If he finds Nami, if he finds Nunu, if he finds... Riven or Tom Kench. There are so many different outs that he could find on his board that would be great high rolls.
Even just any melee carry with a Bastion emblem can be interesting as well. And for Soju, it makes a lot of sense.
No,
you
bro,
have a resource, which is gold. You have a resource, which is HP. If you have a lot of HP, and you're expecting to still have a lot of HP, you're more happy to trade some of it away for potential high rolls and value. We saw the power of an early forecast for Soju yesterday with LeBlanc. Similar case here.
getting the observers to give us that information, and we'll update you shortly on what they were able to get.
စကင်တော့မရပါဘူးအဲ့ဒီကောက်တွေကအော်စကင်ကုန်ရှိရကောက်တွေဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့စကင်တော့လို့ရှိရင်ကလိုင်းကဘက်ပြီးတော့မလာဘူး
Pretty good loss. He should be able to kill. Yeah.
တချို့ကြောက်လည်းပြီးပြီးမှာပါတချို့ကြောက်လည်းပြီးပြီးမှာပါအဲ့ဒီအကောက်တွေကကလိုင်းရဲ့အဲ့ tournament အကောက်တွေ
Genesaur is able to get losses like that.
အဲ့ဒီအကောက်တွေအဲ့ဒီကောက်တွေမှာစကင်ကုန်ရှိတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီမှာဒီအောက်သာပါမပေါ်တာပလီအိုင်မှာတော့ပေါ်တယ်
Give him those losses.
And what Game's trying to say that it seems
Do
like
I
Kwame
observe
and Aurora
about
both
the
have
win
no
it
units
or
on their
what?
board
That's
right now.
correct.
They
Play on
are
PoE
in
in
the
the board.
openest of forts. The gates are
Other
open.
PM.
The moat is open. Anyone can come in.
What if they tie each other?
That's right. There's both of their streaks would be
Oh,
reset to
holy
0,
shit, I
and
go
it
fly.
would slow down their anima quite a bit.
Your
They
anima?
don't have anima. They would slow down their gold income quite a bit. I would love to hop on to Soju or Sao, as those are the two players that are
1 minute
contesting the
1 minute 3
5-win
rate
streak.
ကြီးอ่ะ
Again,
စတေတာကိုပို့တာ
Soju
စတေလို့
was
ပို့
one
တာ
of
အ
the
ကုန်လုံး
players
ပြီး
that took
ထိုင်
the Evelyn offering. Bensac was the other one, and while he did lose in the last round, it looks like whatever
Bro,
the forecast
ရ
is
တာ
that
မ
he
ရ
had
လို့ရှိရင်
done,
ကျွန်တော်
he opted
တစ်ချက်ပြော
to just sell it
လ
for
င်းလင်းမရ
Econ.
လင်းမရတယ်ကျွန်တော်တခု
Fairly
တ
open
နေ
to
ရာနေ
play.
လင်း
The
ပေးလိုက်
LeBlanc came from this spot, has the open bow.
ဒါမှမဟုတ်
has
Discord
the
ဟို
has
Telegram
the
မှာပဲလင်းလာပြီလေ
well.
လောက်လောက်လိုက်တော့အဲ့လိုပဲလောက်ကတာပေါ့ဗျာ
Oh, it was the Morgana. Sorry, yeah, I completely missed that then. Yeah, so the Morgana comes through.
Just the big solo frontline unit that's holding down the line.
There's a lot of damage on the other side for Lee Sao, who again is trying to contest this 5 streak. So a super important fight here. If Bensac's able to hold the line, that would deny Lee Sao a lot of econ.
There was a tie. Kwame and Steel of Bora actually did face each other.
Expected outcome. Neither player had anima in, so it's not like they have this massive setback to their game plan, but all in all, it will be a lot of gold loss for both of those players. Genesaur did lose this next fight as well, and he still has those 2 items on the Aurora, so he could be getting some really nice anima losses. We'll see if that continues going on. 65 stacks for now.
Lee Sao being able to streak while playing 2 tanky is a very scary position for the rest of the lobby. He was sitting on the pair of Teemos, which he can use to potentially hold the Samira items. He actually did have the Rage Blade Slam, though. Now that I think about it, are you actually considering playing the Samira with Rage Blade, or is there some 2 tanky Teemo tech that we might be seeing today?
We saw from Lee Sao with the Rabadon Slam on Veigar, despite the Aatrox 3, he just likes playing for HP preservation.
Yeah,
We'll
see
what he can do with that Rage Blade later on. I think he just might be tempo slamming, maybe finds a Reforger later on. The biggest concern for me is that it is obvious what his game plan's going to be, and someone like Stilo Bora with the advanced loan, it looks like he is also moving into the space group line. Potentially, we're going to see the same from Soju. So it's the same exact scenario that we saw yesterday. 1 player onto tanky, 2 other players playing vertical, trying to slow that player down.
Soju was the most contested player in the Americas this entire set for this exact reason. He plays from ahead, plays into a contested line, and oftentimes he's not able to hit the full cap of the board, but he has so much health that because it's 3-way contested, one of the other players will not be able to hit as well. They'll lose out. He'll be able to find the 4 cost after them, stabilize into a 3rd, 4th, or 5th. And so this, again, feels like just very textbook Soju.
Some people will be really mad about that happening.
Yeah, like why are you 3-way contesting me, man? Like you got a billion gold, billion HP, just play something else.
It's the highest EV thing you can do. The high EV thing in competitive games and free-for-all games like TFT, it's not just the best thing for you, but also the thing that can drag down other players because then your expected value just goes up and up and up. We'll see for Bensac, it will be spreading roots. He does want to play into a little bit of variance. It will be Genesaur rather. And he does find Challenger and Timebreaker. He can move into a potential. He can't really move into any kind of line because he has AP items. I imagine it will be a double emblem Reforge.
Oh,
Anima.
Finds the Vanguard at the very least.
The 6 Anima angle.
It's time.
We finally get to see it. Although, I mean, technically, if you do get the Anima cash out, that gives you the Fiora too. Most of the 500 cash outs will give you that. I don't think he's hitting 500, but there is an angle.
I mean, he's actually pretty healthy, so maybe.
Good news for Sao, good news for Soju. Looks like Stilo Bora has sold his orange, has sold his space group units. He's now potentially moving into a mech line. Makes a little bit of sense considering that he has the he has a items for it.
Yeah.
He's level 7, 45 gold thanks to the advanced loan.
And with it being just a gold augment, the lower tier augment we got would be silver instead of
စစ်တလို့ကိုသိဘယ်လောက်ကျန်
Gotta be
53
feeling good knowing that no
32
one else is going to be running away with
53
prismatics all across the rest of the
နှစ်
lobby.
တက်ကျန်
He wins that first 50-50. The game
Not that
maybe
jam,
uses
eh?
one full placement of expected value. If that
Not
were
bad,
prismatic into
but
gold,
not very
so
good.
Really good news for him.
not very good
So note, Soju looks like lost the last 2 rounds. Well,
ဟိုမီး
just the
ပြန်
one, okay.
no
Oh,
ဟို
yes,
မီး
he
ရတယ်လူ
lost
စီပဲ
the
ဆို
off
ဂျူ
the
က
Evelyn Boon as well. Did lose
So
a round,
Ju
still unable to find the Gwen 2, so wasn't able to find that high roll, but still full steam
Nami
ahead,
line.
just trying to build a strong board. We've seen a lot of the Americas players in general
Nami.
play around the Talon 2 so much this tournament. It's such a great unit, even on stage 3, because of the access it has to the enemy's backline. And so for a player who is maybe not full streaking, but just trying to kill units every single turn, it is the ideal
Hello?
setup. And it also gives Rogue to
Hello?
the Gwen,
Sorry,
which is your primary damage carry.
မဟုတ်လင်းစော
Soju.
ဟော
Doesn't surprise
ဟော
me.
ဘေးကလင်းတော့
I'm always
Yeah, Lin
shocked,
Zor.
even without an item. I'm
အဲ့ဒီ
like,
ခါနေ
what
တီးရအောင်
is
နိုင်
this
ခွက်နေ
towel?
Okay.
Why is it so hard to kill?
ဘရောင်ဘေးက
shameless
But
shameless
although
gameplay လာပြီ
now
နော်
with the
shameless
Anima
gameplay
in,
မှန်တယ်
also with
အခုဒီမှာ
some
ဆိုယူလဲပထမဝယ်ပါ
friends
တော့
and
ဂျင်း
I
ဗီ
actually
ဒီယိုတော့
think
ပထမဝယ်
he must have
He did.
reforged
Top
one
4
of
ရ
the-
ပါတယ် တော့ top 4တဲ့ game
Tiebreaker into
The
the
Voyager.
Voyager.
အာ shit
Not the best pairing
Yeah,
with
reset
Nova,
out.
of course. I think it's
Reset
a
out.
little hard to fit both Voyager
Okay.
and Nova onto your board and any of the usual 4-cost comps we tend to see.
အော်ဝီရှေရိုက်က
Star
ပါ
3 cost is offered, which could open up Lee Sao to maybe
ဘ
just
ရောင်ကအလုံးမ
find
ပြီးသေးဘူးထင်
a
တယ်
2-star Orin or a 2-star Samira.
He must pick it. I think there's you have to.
I mean, you're on a streak.
Aqua,
Even if it's
yeah,
not the one you
Aqua.
hit, you get so much value just off of the tempo.
A lot of
Ah,
time.
I
This is the
go on
last
line
one
with
I'm
my
thinking
music.
about it though, because 5 free rerolls is also very good.
I think there were actually 2
Yep.
people that did take Evelyn. Lead Sao is one of
Okay,
them.
Yep, he did. Makes sense.
Maybe Soju again.
Hey, they're just
တော့ဒီ
so
နေရာမှာ
few
ဆိုဂျူ
things
က
you can
အာ
do
နေ
for
နာ
Sao
မီ
right
ရ
now
ပါ
that
ခ
would
င်
actually be bad for your board.
လီရှောင်းအနေနဲ့ကလက်လုံးရှာအောင်
Diana.
Diana?
bro let's them a rule
How do we
oh
break
sorry
to Diana?
sorry
That
sorry
is not the unit we wish you
ဟွာ
were.
တူတန်ကြီးရ
Oh man, that's all right. He is rolling here though. Wants to maintain the win
Uh,
streak.
Dino
Also
Samira.
wants to try and find
လီ
the
ရှောင်း
Samira.
ဒီလိုစမရာ
And gets a second board in or
And
second
yeah, yeah,
Orin
yeah,
on
yeah.
his board.
စမရာကောင်းမ
No
တွေ့
comment
ဘူး
of Samira's. I think he's happy to just continue playing around the Teemo for now with a regulated build.
Okay.
He should be strong
အာရန်
enough
ဒီလိုမလို့
to win this fight. He is playing an animal player.
Awesome.
although Kind of a strong version of it with 3 items on the Belveth. But this should be unexpected.
အလုံးက
Also with the dummies, really
အလုံး
impactful. I
ကတော့
believe the dummies
ဟို
get
များ
the 2 tanky buff as well.
Kindred.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
wow.
they do. You can see the shield
Yep.
sitting there on the other dummy right now.
ကင်းရနိုဘာ
This
ငါ
is
ကောင်း
just tech after tech after tech from our final lobby
နို
player
ဘာ
in
ကောင်း
this
ကင်း
tournament.
ဒရက strong နေအဲ့တော့အလုံးအနေနဲ့လည်း top 4ဖို့
Two
သူ့ပုတ်
Teemos
ကတော့မ
really
ဆိုပါ
holding
ဘူး
down the fort there.
ဆိုတော့
Why is he
ရှင်းဘေးဥစ္စာကြည့်နေတော့
on to the Akalis, actually?
ကျွန်တော် official ပဲကြည့်ရတယ်အော်တကူပဲကြည့်ရတယ်ဆိုတော့
It
Just
might-
for
ဟုတ်လားတော့
it
မရှိ
might
တော့
just be
ဘူး Robin တော့
that
ရှိတယ်
maybe
ဟုတ်
things
အော်
don't
တ
go
မို့လေ
as
သူတို့လည်းရှိသူတို့လည်းတူတူပဲ
planned.
လော်ရ
အမော lobby ရတစ်ခုပဲရှိရ
အဲ့ဒီလော်ရတစ်ခုပဲရှိရတယ်
ဘယ်သူစီက
ဘာ
ကြည့်
ကြည့်
နေ
တူတူပဲ
Robin တို့
official ပဲကြည့်ရ
It could be just
ကျွန်တော်က
a
ဟို
difference
ရောဘင်းရှိမှ
before
ရေး
you
ကြည့်ရ
have
ဟို
the striker's flail
အီမိုလိုချင်လို့
Oh, Necro, you
Yeah,
were
why
right. It
Evo?
was Soju that was the other player that took
ကျွန်
Evelyn.
တော်ရ
And he
He
got a
got it.
Diana
And he got a
also.
Diana, but this Diana looks a whole lot better than the
ဆို
other
ကြည့်ရ
one,
ပထမ
that's
ပွဲ
for
ပြော
sure.
တယ်ဘာလို့တော့4ရတယ်အမှတ်5ပဲ
Yeah,
It was
it
sad
does.
that
အဓိက
Glenn won
20
the
ပြည့်ရတယ်
entire game, right?
ကျန်တာ
And
က
you
နောက်
have
ပိတ်
to
တာ
imagine if he found
အကောင်လုံး
Glenn
အခုအမှတ်
too,
20ရအောင်
then
လို့
he's also on a 9 streak right now. So I think he's happy to just take the Diana.
ဆိုကြည့်
get
ပါဇပင်တွေ
more
ပါလောက်
tempo.
လာ
This
နော်
should
တ
be
ရှုပ်
able
လို့
to
မရ
kill
ဘူး
a lot of
သူ့ရဲ့
things on the
bit
other
တွေ
side. Bentec
ပုံမှန်ပါပဲသူ့တပင်ကောက်နေစားတယ်
မဟုတ်ဘူးအဲ့ဒါ तू မနေ့ကပြောလိုတန်းရှိမှာအခုပွဲဆော့ပြီးရတယ်ဇပင်တက်လို့တော့မှာအဲ့ဇပင်ကိုညှက်တာ
So just not really committed to space groove at all, despite us mentioning that.
အဲ့ဒါ
he
သူ
is
ဇပင်တော့မတက်ဘူးဗျာ
that
ကြည့်တယ်
going for. He is holding units on the bench for
ဇပင်
now.
တက်တာ
but
သူနဲ့ဂျေလူစောနဲ့စပင်းကတိတ်
Some
တူပဲ
incredibly creative,
Dude,
just
dude,
front to back, strong TFT board on level 8 with very flexible.
ဂျေလူစောကလည်း
combinations,
အခြေအနေ
so
ကော
we'll
င်း
see
တယ်
what
ဘယ်
he
တော့
ends
ပွဲ
up committing to.
ဒီဆိုနာမီပါရပါပြီဖိုတော့ကောင်းတယ် DK ရောနာမီ
4-2, considering the gold he has
ဆိုဂျူက
right
နာမီမရသေး
ဒီလိုက်ဒီလိုက်
လီရှောင်းလည်းနာမီရတာ
မဟုတ်မဟုတ်
သွေး
မဟုတ်
တရား
နာမီရတာဘန်းဆက်နာမီရဘန်းဆက်
seems to be going into
ဂျေလူစော
space
ဟို
groove
ဆော့
as
တယ်
well.
လက်ပလုံးဆော့တယ်
Skips the
လက်ပ
back.
လုံးနဲ့ဟို
Nami's
အေးဆိုးဆော့
down.
နေ
လီရှောင်းလည်းရတယ်လီရှောင်းလည်းရ
A lot of front line.
He sold all of his backline immediately once he found that Nami.
Has
Oh,
most
he
of the
did.
pieces that he needs. Ideally, you want to be playing
Well,
around
Nami
high
line
space
win
groove,
out of it.
that
Holy
scales
shit.
really well later into the fight. People call it essentially a baby's
I
bear
know.
layer
Piano.
that way. But a
တက်တယ်လို့
very,
ပို့
very
လာတဲ့
strong
ဘေးကကောက်
combat
ချင်းမျိုးလိုက်တယ်လက်ပလုံး
that is
အဲ့ဒါဂျေလူစောက
significantly
မနာမီရပါ
in
ဘူး
space groove.
နာမီ2ပါပြီဂျီဆိုတော့
ကိုတော့နာမီတိုင်းနဲ့ဝင်လာ
ဂျီဆိုကဘာမှမဟစ်ပဲနာမီ2ကို only ရှာဟိုနာမီ2နဲ့ဟိုစားပဲနှစ်ခုရတယ်ဆိုတော့ကောင်းတယ်ပြောရချင်းဟို item ကပိန်သွားပြီ probably foul Why is that? More than item က
ဘရိုနု6ကောင်ဟယ်လို
Whoa, he has 6 Nunus though. He's gonna
ဒီ
make
တော့
life
အားကြောင့်ဟိုကောင်မတွေ့ရဂျီဆိုမှာ
ဟွာ
န
မေး
ည်းမ
ဟွာ
တွေ့
မေးဟွာမေးနု6ကောင်
There are so many of them, so I think that's going to be a high majority.
ကြည့်ရဆိုကြည့်ရနည်းနည်းတိုင်ပါပြီထင်တယ်ဟိုကောင်ကြိုလူ
ဆို
လာ
ကြ
တော့
လက်သွားပြီဆိုကြပေါ်တက်ပြန်လာရပြီ
Everyone is griefing each other, making
ပြိုး
life
လို့တော့မကြည့်ရ
All along, it's still sitting on the anima cash out. You can see, even by the backline item, that the Aurora has, that he's just taking the 100 cash outs, taking his losses, getting a little bit of drip econ.
အလုံးကအဲ့တက်တယ်ပထမရက်တွေမှာဒီကောင်ဆောင်းကျင်းအမှတ်များတော့လေဟိုဟာပွဲ
နော်
သိ
ဆိုကြည့် reinforcement ရပါတယ်
really able to go into a long
ဒါပေမဲ့ဟိုမှာကျွန်တော်ကတော့အစင်းနေဆိုး
Instead, look at the HP.
Nah,
because
phone
now-
name,
now
yeah,
that
yeah,
no
I
one
mean-
lost- No one has lost 10 in a row. No one's rich. They're
Only LeBlanc and only
Yeah,
Nami
yeah.
for the eyes to see.
So
Ovation,
Ovation
3
gets
speed group.
reinforcement and is able to find the Nami 2 instantly.
I think there's already
So
8
5 speed
Namis
group,
out
so
of the
5
pool,
speed group,
and
okay.
Lisao and Bensak are yet to hit their
Let's
Lisao
try to-
upgrades. That is a pretty crazy turn of events. We're on 4-2 as well.
Ooh. So finding the Shen, he knows that he can't be able to buy the Nunus on the roll down. There's already so many of them out. Huanmei holding 6. And with the
Giants in the
Bastion
yellow one,
load
yeah,
that
yeah.
Soju has, he can actually flex into this
hold
4
it.
Bastion front line with the Nami 2 in the back line.
No, this is looking so
A lot in it,
difficult
yeah,
for
dead.
how long. Just the game
Dude,
plan,
don't
as
do it.
you mentioned earlier.
But Jidu
coming
though,
to
le-
the Void during
high
the
rule,
Nova.
yeah.
Kindred 1, no
Nami
duo
do
carry
Nami
setup
yeah,
here.
that.
He's low on HP.
Got
Some
it.
players are getting really scary. I'm concerned for how long.
So you were top 4 ကတော့
in game 1 as well.
ဖြစ်နိုင်နော်အောက်ကကောင်တသက်ပဲအလောင်းနဲ့ဟိုစားနေတသက်ပဲကျွန်တော်
Looks like Jetasaur was also able
How
to
many?
get Nami 2. So,
Hey,
despite
no
the
one
fact
on
that
it,
this
I
was
broke
the line
down.
that
I
maybe
don't
no
know,
one
the
would be
engine.
able to hit their board, it feels like maybe
Hmm.
အာ
everybody
တ
is
လုံး
just
ကြည့်
hitting.
ပါ nice
Good-
Bad news for Along and
Yeah.
Huamie, I think.
ကျွန်တော်ဥစားတော့မဆော့တော့ဆာယာကွန်တော့မဆော့ဘူးမနေ့ကဆာယာကွန်တစ်ပေါက်လုံးဟစ်တာတော့မကြအောင်
One copy of the LeBlanc, so that's
ဘန်ဆက်အဲ့ဘာကြီးမ
Bansak
ဘာကြီးမလည်းကျန်နော် carrier အေးဆိုလဲတော့ကျန်
reinforcements in here. And then Bensak too. What is he going to do? He's decided to go to Asol.
ကောင်းဝန်6ကောင်တော့2 tank
ကုံ
He
ဟစ်တာ
had to
လား
build
မ
for
ဟစ်တာ
his solo
ပဲ
plate, so I
Nah,
think
maybe
it was
a jump
good
on.
that Along was holding those mech
ဒီ
units.
ရှောင်းကတော့ရှင်နေကောင်းတယ်ဟိုစားဝန်6ကောင်ဆိုတော့
ယူနဲ့နေတာရင်ဒီကောင်ရဲ့အလုံး
I
ကြီး
think
အတိုင်း
Bensak
ပို့တော့
saw that the rest of
အဲ့တော့
the
နှစ်
game
ကောင်ပဲ
was
ကျန်လို့ရှိရင်
way
တစ်ကောင်ပဲ
too
လုံး
congested.
နေ
He
ပြီ
doesn't want to, play into a Gamba, three-way contest on Nami or on the Blanc. So opts into the Asol. With no anima cash outs.
အော်ကတော့ဒီကောင်ကတော့ပြဿနာတိုက်တယ်တော်ပြီးတော့ဟိုစားနာမီဆော့တယ်ဆိုတော့အော်စား3ရတော့မဖြစ်နိုင်အဲသွေးအများကြီးကြံပြီးအုံ6ကောင်ဟစ်တာလဲဆိုတော့အချိန်ကြီးကောင်းတယ်ပြောအောင်လား
စောလင်ကလုံးဒီရှောင်းကစောလင်ကလုံး
ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့အုံ6ကောင်ဟစ်တာဆိုတော့အချိန်ကြီးအော်ဟုတ်တယ်ကျွန်တော်ရုပ်နဲ့ထိုင်
စောလင်ရုံနဲ့လေညမန်စောလင်နဲ့
But it's worth noting he's another
Hey,
player
yeah,
that's
so
using
look alone.
the orange.
အဟိုရအောင်ကျွန်တော်ကင်မရာကြီးထိုးပြန်သွား
And the Samiras.
Yeah. So many of those units.
စောလင်
Messed up,
ရောက်လာတယ်လူမားပါတယ်
And Lisao, despite the incredible age,
ဟိုနောက်သားပြော why there is 2 ရှောက်တယ်
might actually fall behind in lobby tempo as players are able to go to level.
ချားလူတွေကပါလေဥစားစန်တာမှာသဆော့နေရတာအနောက်ကပေါ့
ဟုတ်
တချို့
တ
တွေ
ရုတ်
က
ကပလေယာတွေက တရုတ်ကပလေယာတွေကသူတို့ကဟိုတရုတ်ပြည်စိတ်ကြီးမှာဆိုတော့
Also get a free item for 5 health when you're at 80.
ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒါ APEC ကလူတွေကိုလည်းအဲ့ဒါဖိတ်တယ်ဗျာအဲ့မှာဆိုတရုတ်ပြည်မှာ
Trying to duo carry both
အဲ့
the
ဝေါ်
Samira
သွား
and
ဝေါ်သွားတဲ့လူမှလည်းဗျာ APEC လူတွေကတော့ join လို့ရတယ်စိတ်ပါ Iron Ball ပါလို့တော့ join ရတယ်
ဒါပေမဲ့ A လောင်းကတော့အချိန်ကြီးကတော့
It appears
Do
Lisao
feel
would
like.
be the only person.
ကျန်တယ်ပြောတာဘယ်ဟိုကောင်အောက်ဆုံးမှာရောက်မှာ
Might have opted to just take the rerolls this time
ဒီ
around.
တော့မရတော့
Really would love an 80 item.
A လောင်းကတော့
Another gunblade, so
သွားပြီ
အဲ့ဒီကြောက်အဆင်ပြေပါတယ်သူဘယ်တော့ပဲ speak လုပ်လိုက်ဆိုလိုက်ဆိုသူ့အန်ကရသွေးလည်းအများကြီးပဲဟိုက on လည်း6ကောင်နော် ပတ်စံလည်းအများကြီးပဲ
I mean, honestly, your Nami
အဲ့တော့ခေါင်းကိုက်နေပြီတော့
Yep.
If you can get this Nami 2
အဲ့ VN နဲ့ player တွေပြဿနာအဲ့ဒါပဲအဲ့ final lobby ရောက်လာလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒါတောက်သွားပြီ
The biggest problem is that we're sitting on 3 Samiras because it's just everyone is taken out of the pool. I mean, they are there.
Elon to the lobby right there. No fucking way he win it at level 9 boat.
Until some of them die.
Level 9 မှာဆက်တဘောလုံးနေပါဖြစ်တယ်ဟိုအလာဝီတူကကျန်နေတယ်ဒီလားတကယ်ကျွန်တော်
အလာဝီတူကအလာဝီတူပဲအလာဝီတူက
ကင်ဒရာ1ဖြစ်နေတာဆိုတော့ကျန်တယ်ကင်ဒရာ2မဟင်တော့အေလာလည်းပါအဲ့ဒါကင်ဒရာ1ပဲရှိအပဲတော့မရှိဘူး
Trying to go level 9 to find his own blood.
အဲ့
Kindred on the Blanc.
မရမရ
Does she stay alive? Looks like she might.
Yeah,
just
level on two, yeah.
win the fight here. It's close.
ဆိုယူကတော့ရောက်သွားတယ်level 9မှာသူဆက်လုပ်ပြတယ်
Very last life shade.
ဆက်ဆက်လေးဖြစ်ပါတယ်
ဆိုယူ eco management ဒီပြိုင်မှာတော်ကြဒီ war
I mean,
မှာ
it looks very bad
Just
for
saying,
all
level 9
the
ကိုပွဲတိုင်းရောက်
players who are sitting in the bottom 3 for the main reason that one
ပင်းနေပြီအဲ့လိုဗာလေးပင်းနေတာ
is one of the low HP players alongside you. If you are in that bottom 4, you need to be the strongest person.
ကြီးစွာတယ်ကြီးစွာ eco မကောင်းပြောနာမီလာဖြစ်လာ eco မရှိဘူးဆိုယူကသူကမဟစ်နိုင်တော့ဆို level 9သွားလိုက်တယ်သူ advantage တော်တော်
အေးလုံးကကျွန်တော်လည်းတူလားမသိဒီကောင်တွေပင်180 200နဲ့ဆော့နေတာဘာလို့သူတို့နေရာရွှေ့တာကိုကြည့်ရင်တမျိုးကြီးပြင်
ကျွန်တော်ပြောမတော့ကျန်တော့ကျန်တယ်အေးဆိုးတွေကျန်တယ်အာလီဘိုင်ကကွာရှိ ABC ရင်တည်းဘယ်လိုနာမီကွန်တက်အေးဆိုးကောင်းဆော့လိုက်လို့ရ
ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကျန်းလုံးနဲ့ဒီလုံးက2ယောက်တည်းနှလုံးနဲ့တစ်လုံးကတော့ထွက်လာတော့
At least one elimination as early
Try
as
it.
stage 4 here. Kindred versus Zaya.
ကိုလေးပါအများကြီး print အောင်
on either side.
ဟောမင်းကကောင်းသွား
ဘယ်သူတော့ဘယ်သူတော့
Crumbles early. It looks like
ဒီလုံးက
it
ကျန်း
will be Tianlong, but it's fairly
တိုင်
close.
ဆရှမ်းလောက်ထွက်သွား
Kindred's doing enough
ရှမ်း
here.
လုံးထွက်သွားတာ
A tragic result here.
ရှမ်းလောက်ပြီးတော့အေးတောင်ထွက်မှသိကြ
နှလုံးနဲ့တစ်လုံးထွက်သွားအခုနှလုံးထွက်တော့
A single Nunu on
They're
the
both
board.
yeah,
It's
dead.
so important. Imagine this Kindred on the side of Along not being able to ramp up throughout that fight. The Rage Blade getting no value. It's a completely different fight.
အဲ့ပတ်စံအများကြီးမရှိဘူးနော်ဘာလို့ရိုးနေရတော့
Treasure Armory.
ဘာလို့ကျွန်တော်ရူတာ
Yep.
ဝါမော့ IE တွေယူလိုက်တော့ယူလိုက်တဲ့ IE ပေးမဲ့ကောင်မရှိသူ့မှာပြီးတော့ဟို open roll ကြီး
You're on little gold as well, just 5 gold to work with.
Open roll တော့ဘောရလို့
Kindred putting in the work for this board. You have the
roll show like IE ပဲလောက်တာဒါမှမဟုတ် gamble
items.
We also lost to Stilo.
ဘောကနာတူစက်တယ်လို့ပို့တာတဲ့အခြေအနေကောင်း
Could be damning in
So
itself. I don't know.
ဟောမင်းကကောင်းသွားတယ်ဟောမင်းရောက်စားလူတူဖြစ်သွား
Lobby to really get you there. Even Soju who had
မအဲ့ဒီ1 minute 6ကောင်လေးပဲမှာ
ဟုတ်အေးလားပြန်ကမ်းပတ်သွားတာပါမဟုတ်တိုးစားဖြစ်သွားတာကင်ဒရက်တူနှစ်ကောင်ပေးပါ
ကင်ဒရက်တူဒီကေတူရပါ
ဒီကတော့အစားရရကူလားကင်ဒရက်တစ်ကောင်မရှိပဲတော့မရှိ
Lisao is going to be on 8.
I need a little gambling
Very close to that next big spike. He might play around Gwen with the 2 tanky.
တကောင်ပဲလို့တော့တယ်
9 copies of Gwen right
ဒီ
now.
ချောင်း
4 copies
ဒါပေမဲ့
of
ဒါ
Samira.
ပေမဲ့
That'll be
ထမေတော့မတွေ့
interesting.
ဆိုကြကတန်မရှိဘူးဖြစ်နေတာဒီက
He's seen across this game too.
ဥစား TK2 လည်းမရှိဘူးတခြားလည်းမရှိ
Is
ဘူး
that going to be strong enough though in the
အေးလုံးက
grand
လက်ပြီ
scheme of things?
He has so much HP. Maybe he's just hoping to slowly bleed out if he isn't able to play on the
So you
Samira.
live,
What seems to be the case, right?
ရှိုးချင်းတက်သွားတာ
Only 4 copies.
ရှိုးချင်းနဲ့ဥစား voice setter နဲ့ပါတော့ပို့ပြီးကတ်စား
And win
ဟို
some of the
Raven 2 ပါ
fights.
Raven 2ဆိုတော့
The overall cap is quite low in this.
ဥစားထုတ်ရမှာတင်တယ်
No one has really run away with the game.
Bliss item ထုတ်ရမှာတင်တယ်
The level
အဲ Bliss item ထုတ်မှာ Samira item ထုတ်မှာတခုSamira item ထုတ်မှာတင်တယ်ကြောက်ကြည့်ရ Samira ဥစားအဲ့လောက်ထိမကောင်း Bliss ကပိုကောင်းတာတိကလန်
Stop the loss streak. He does have a single copy of the Blitzcrank and the Shen, but it's that front line that's really missing after taking that reinforcement. Huamye on 9 and
သမီးက၄ရောက်လို့တော့မဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်တော်တော်ပြီးလုံးထည့်ဆုံး
one life left alongside Along.
There's a great
ဒါပေမဲ့ကောင်းတာတစ်ခုကဒီတာအဲ့ဒီမှာဗာလေတူတန်ကြီးနဲ့ Dummy 5ဟိုစားဗာလေအဲ့ဒီ Crusher Dummy နဲ့ရတော့ကောင်းတယ် Dummy တစ်ကောင်ဒီနောက်တစ်ကောင်ဥစား value ရှိတာ High level ပြော
that is the strongest gap, the largest gap, and also a psionic item.
ဆိုဂျူကဟုတ်တယ်နားဥစားဟောမင်းပုတ်ကအရင်ချန် There you are.
Trying to maybe get less damage on the loss. Other players who are on 1 life. On the flip side, one is LeBlanc is stacking double.
ဆိုဂျူကလက်ပါ
ဟိုမရ
တကြီးကဒီပွဲဥစားဟောမင်းနိုင်အောင်လားမသိဘူးဟောမင်းမဟုတ်ရင်ဘန်ဆက်ပဲတင်ဘန်ဆက်ပုတ်ကိုဟိုကောင်မနိုင်လို့ဖြစ်တယ် စမီရာဟိုလီရှောင်းကလည်းလီရှောင်းဖြစ်တော့လီရှောင်းနိုင်တော့မှ
And all Hualong
Soju
will fall as
Elo.
well, so Soju will not go out in 7. There will be a
ဟိုကမေးရ
sequence
တယ်
of
မလွယ်တော့
rising
ဟိုကမေးရတက်တက်ရှိတယ်
ခြေလူစောနိုင်တော့မခြေလူစောနိုင်ခြေလူစောပုတ်အရင်ကြာ
finding that Nami too so early, but
ဂျေလူစောက
unfortunately,
ဆို
when
ဂျူ
he
ရဲ့
went
ပိုကောင်းတယ်
9,
ပါရှ
wasn't
င်
able to get anything upgraded. No
okay.
Tom Kench 2,
item လေးကောင်း
no
တယ်
Shen
ဆို
2,
တော့ level 9နဲ့ရောက်သွားတယ်
no
ခြေလူစော
Voice
ကောင်း
Range 2. The front line just could not hold.
Wanmian's Tool of Bora rising
Do you
up
don't know what
as
that
these
item is?
fast 9 AP players. They've made it to 9.
ဘန်ဆာလည်းကောင်းသွားဒီကလောကြီးရပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ AP ဆော့ချင်း
For Stilo. I think they're in a good position.
အဲ့ဆိုကလော၄ခုတောင်ပါသူရဲ့တန်တိတ်မသိတော့လို့ပြီးတော့သူ A ဆိုရတယ်ဟိုဆိုင် RE order နဲ့ဆို
Going out also
I like
opens
it.
up the door for Lee Sao to now find the
ဟောကာကွယ်
order.
argument ရတယ်လား
Which, generally speaking, when you find
Lee said it,
a
Lee said
cost reroll unit
Huh?
this late,
Pardon?
it's just not good enough. Too tanky
Pardon?
can sometimes just be enough of a cap.
What?
If he gets them online, he might be able to still find that top 2.
အေးလို့
Right now, though,
Broke.
upset Bensak is looking surprisingly strong for this non-anima Acel.
Donkey
It's just
overall,
not something
yeah,
we
yeah.
ever see.
Uncontested TFT. This is the magic of it. In a
Okay,
low
why?
lobby,
Okay.
Bensak is, the one harvesting all these other players and just taking over off of having hit much earlier and having just a very strong setup, right? Solo play, declaw
ကျွန်တော်ရင်တော့ DFD ရောဘောမပါဘဲနဲ့ဘယ်လိုဆော့ခဲ့ကြလဲပြန်စဉ်းစားလို့မရတော့ရင်တော့ရောဘော round 9မပေးသေးတယ်ကန်ကောင်းမှရတာ
We're looking at our two players who are sitting. on
ရောဘောမ
just
ပါတဲ့
one
DFD
line.
ဘယ်လိုဆော့ခဲ့ကြလဲစဉ်းစားလို့မရ
One hit for either of them will do it.
ဒီ on ကတော့ best ပါလေ
Persona 2. Let's see how itemization comes through. Generally, you want to make sure that you have 8 mana generation on your Sona to get her cast as often as possible. It doesn't have it to spare, so he's just going to have to go for a couple of really big casts instead.
နောက်နိုင်ခံရပါ
Up against Bensak, who, like we said, a lot of the power he's getting is from the cap being generally low, but I would say Steel of War is more
Don't
do it,
powerful.
yeah.
Let's see if the lack of
Bensak
a gold combat
Bensak
on
9လားစတက်လေး
ဟုတ်
ဘော
ဟုတ်တော့ရ
the front line will fall. There's still a lot of damage here. The
Ah,
Acel
close.
should be able to clean it up there. Steelabora will die, and on the left-hand side, Juanmie versus Lee Sao, who did find the
Lee
Orin
Sao?
3, no Samira 3, and so Lee Sao will take a big
Lee
hit,
Sao
but
will
still be
go,
alive though.
Alive and
Cool. Oh.
barely.
Hello.
Mia is also going
Hello.
to
Hello, bro.
be on that one life still.
5မိနစ်
Bro,
ပဲရစား
round စောလင်းပါတော့လား
Maybe
ကျွန်
now
တော်
you're
ဖိုင်နယ်
able
တော့
to get some of these other
Hello.
units, like the Blitzcrank was
Yeah.
also used board. We did see
Hello, bro.
the Namis as well. It's just so hard
Quite
because,
young guy.
Bensak,
But it's quite hit,
Dinosaur,
though,
they've already kind of hit everything that they want. So how do you actually make this board strong enough?
What an interesting
Hello.
game regarding the
Got
minutia
it.
of being contested
Got
in
it.
TFT and how to adapt to it as well. The top 4, the same exact top 4 as last game, plus Juanmie, who has solved
ဒီမလွယ်တော့တင်တယ်
eighth place and now
position နဲ့
is
မှ
in
အားရှိကြတယ်
fourth.
မကြောက်
Bensak and Jedusor looking very good for Emiya starting off this day 3. And Lee Sao as well.
Majai,
Despite
look at that.
being contested, despite it seeming like he's already
Oh,
in check
nice.
with how much
Wait, wait,
players are trying to
on it,
drive
he's on
him
it.
down in this game too, he has at the very least.
အားရှိကြပါအားရှိကြ
We'll see if he can do more than that. Bensak has been kind of the threshold player, the benchmark
He's
player
on
in
limit.
stage 5. If you can beat Bensak, you can top 4. If you can't, you're going out. And it looks like Lee Sao is going to pass the test. The Acel is ramping, actually.
Gonna catch him. Run!
Oh.
Run!
Oh.
Lee Sao taking 4th place there does
Hello,
mean
hello.
that 3 of our
Hello.
top 4 from this
Jana.
game
Hello. Jana.
are going to be eligible to reach check
Wrong
in
then,
that
Hello.
next
Jana.
game. Bensak finding this very key top 3 guarantees him
Okay, yeah.
the 6 points that would put him
Wrong,
at
Jana, Jana.
least on 12. And then
Jana
Genesis
Mata.
finding the top 3 after going second.
Good that
Means
moment.
that in game 4, if one of these players will reach check, the entire dynamic of the
Seria
game
wa
will
ichiri so.
shift. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got another game before we get to
Who are
that.
boy A
But there
now,
will
for
be
my
3
chummy with
main
one CD.
characters going into game 3 of the day.
You can see how just low cap this lobby is. Bensak is still on level 8.
Hello,
Jedusor is still on
Jaya.
Blitz
Hello,
1,
bro,
just
Jaya.
winning
Hello,
fights
Jaya.
in
Hello,
top
Jaya.
3 with
Jaya,
Nami
Jaya.
2 and a Orn 2
ဂျာ
as
ယာ
well.
ဒီ
And we're looking at Juanmie here off of just LeBlanc and then Morgana.
Jaya,
No,
Jaya,
no.
Jaya.
9,
Jaya.
able to win some fights. You're on a 4-win streak
Sure.
now. Now he's starting to get to the 5 cost
ဂျာ
upgrades.
ယာ
Is that
ဂျာ
good enough to win
ဒီ
the game?
မေ
To really come back in this game too from an 8th place to a 1st place.
I think it could be. I mean, Bensak
Mm,
is
hot
also
there, hot
going to
there.
go
Yeah, yeah,
level
we should
9, but
know
a lot of those unit slots are being taken up by the fact that he's got these upgrades onto these mech units. But let's find out because they are going to be facing each other as we do see
စက်တင်မှာ
James Thorne taking on
အဲ့
a
လိုပေါ့
ghost. but Bensak
ကျွန်တော်တို့ရှိရလာတဲ့
just a little
output
bit as we see the
input မှာ
LeBlanc
output
start to
output
ramp
က
up from
တခုမှာ
Guangye.
တယ်
It's going to target down into that mighty mech, and
Bensak
it gets deleted.
Bensak
As the
ကဘာမှ
Aurelion
anti-viral
Soul
မ
from
ပေါင်း
Bensak
မြ
is
န်မာလို
going
ကြီး
to
ဆို
try to
ကြတယ်
make up some of the difference.
But
It
why
gets
me at
surrounded.
Pulsar,
Even though there's a
why
nice big cast for a stun, Karma gets taken out, and Jedusor actually going to win
Jedusor
and
a
gets
little
that
bit
boost as well. It's getting very close now.
This is exactly what we wanted to see from Juan Mie. Flip the game. Listen, the first one
လက်ကြည့်တော့စား
it
မယ်
can't-
Let's go
it can't
anime
get
item
worse
ထုတ်ပြီး
than
တော့
that.
spark
You
ထည့်
might
အောင်
as well get
အော်
yourself back
ထည့်
into
ပါ
the
What
game.
the fuck
And it's going all according to plan. Jedusor and Bentak, though, you have to be feeling pretty good. I think Jedusor has been playing this game.
Well,
very
Jedusor
well.
I'm not
How
flying
contested
corner.
it has
Oh,
been.
yeah, me.
May not
Yeah,
have enough,
yeah.
but this is the fight that's going to
Yeah,
determine
yeah.
second and third place, as
Okay.
he will be going up against Bensak.
我真係ပြောပါတယ်မေး
The
ရ
question is it the ghost fight? I think you're
Yeah.
really hoping that you get the ghost,
Huh?
and Bensak has to play the real Juan Mie.
တော့ပြီးမှ3ယောက်လို့နော်
Okay, it's
ပွဲက
Jedusor
အေး
versus
နေရောမ
Bensak,
သိတာ
so
ဟို
only
အကောင်တော့
one
တော့
Frenchman
ဖိုးဖိုးတွေ
can
ရွေးဆောင်နေ
survive
တယ်
this game and try to take
Bye-bye.
second
Bye-bye.
place.
Nyama lo
Guangye
win
is
out
going to
the
be the one to face the
ဒါ
ghost.
ပန်းစားတော့ပြီးရော
Now it's about the Nami trying
Bensak
to
rock ခံလိုက်ရတာပါ
access
နှစ်ပတ်နဲ့
to that Karma or that Aurelion Soul, and some of that flash damage is going to be good.
ချိုးချင်း
but
တစ်
the
ယောက်
front
နာ
line
ရကျဲ
holds strong for
အလုံးတွေပဲကျဲ
Jedusor.
တယ်
And the Karma down, just the Aurelion
Fist.
Soul. And so it will be Jedusor that takes the win.
ဘာဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ Sona တူ
မကြားတော့ဘူးလားဘယ်စား
မကြတော့7 minute 7 minute နေ register ပြီး7 minute နေကို check in ပြီးတော့ sorry
But Jedusor in second place, Bensak in third place, accumulating those points in this final lobby. I think understandably so, Bensak had nothing really
But I
special
would do
going
now.
on for him in terms of his
But
board.
my boy
He did
got-
his job in
wow.
terms of
But
being
the
that
long
player,
way.
benchmarking
Lee Xiao,
everyone
Lee
else at
Xiao.
the start of stage 5, saying,
Lee
hey,
Xiao.
you haven't hit your upgrade.
ပထမပွဲ
you're
လီ
too
ရှောင်း
weak, I'm taking
ဒု
you
တိယ
down.
ပထမပွဲ
But
လီရှောင်း
once
တဲ့
the
ဂျေဒူ
big
ဇွန်
dogs
နဲ့
come around,
အဲ့ဒီ
once the
ပွဲက
power
ဟို
players
မစ်တေ
truly
ဟာဂျီလိုဆိုအမှတ်တွေရအောင်
ဆောင်း
အ
ပဲ
န
ကျ
ည်း
ဲ
ဆုံး15 match အနည်းဆုံး
အဲ့
15
ဂျေဒူ
လေး
ဇွန်
match
က
ရ
အခုနှစ်ကနှစ်ပွဲ
အ
ဖြစ်
န
နေ
ည်းဆုံး
ဒီပွဲကနိုင်လို့ရှိရင်
နာမီကိုမနိုင်ဘူးနာမီကိုမနိုင်ဘူးနာမီဘောကနာမီ
Last
ဘော
couple fights have not been close.
ဂျေဒူဇွန်တော်တော်ကောင်းနေပြီ
Could
ပြော
be
ရ
the
ဆို
difference maker. You can see it is actually on the
Tu
Morgana.
thôi
right off
line
the
này
bat.
thì
The
cái
cast is going to come through.
ကံကောင်းလာ level 8မှာ
သိတာ
Does it give
level 8
Nami
ရောက်ပြီ rule လိုက်တာနာမီ2ကိုမြန်မာလိုရေးခဲ့ပါ
LeBlanc
ဟုတ်တယ်နာမီတို့
actually
လည်း
does?
ရတယ်
That's a huge cast though. LeBlanc is actually
ကေသမီးတို့ကြွယ်
better
အဲ့
on
တော
this
က်အမှန်တည်း
side.
ဆို
And
ယူ
the
ရတဲ့
Blitz
နာမီ
2
တို့လည်းပထမ
displaces the
ပြီးတော့
Morgana.
တူတိုင်နေ
ဟုတ်
ပါ
That's enough
အဲ့
for
တော့
Jedusor
နှစ်ယောက်ကထပ်
to
ပြီးဝင်
win
လာ
the
တယ်နာမီ
game.
တိုင်းနဲ့
တော့
ဂျေဒူ
တော့
ဇွန်
ကြာ
လည်းရောက်နေ
That backline
တူတန်ကြီး
was
ဆိုရဲ high rule ပြောတလော်ပြီးတော့ on ဆော့တာဒီပဲ on 2နှစ်ကောင်ရ
ဟုတ်
တယ်
6
eighth
ကောင်
place
ရတယ်
to second,
Alright.
and a massive message sent to
ဒါပေမဲ့
those
အဲ့
followers.
6ကောင်လည်းတက်တက်
ဂျေဒူဇွန်နိုင်သွားတယ်
နိုင်သွားတယ်နိုင်
ဟုတ်တယ်
သွား
နာမီနာမီ
That runner-up
အဂျေဒူ
ဂျေ
ဇွန်
ဒူဇွန်လုံးပါဗီလာလေဗျာလို့
wants to be more,
Mira,
wants to become a champion.
ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ဗျာဟိုပဲပုတ်က
Was
Sona 2နဲ့
disrespected.
LeBlanc 2ပဲရှိတယ်တခြားတန်အားတော့မပါဘူး
Jedusor came so close.
ပြီး item အလားကောင်းရဟိုမှာ on 2နဲ့ on 2နဲ့ဟိုစား shan 2ရော blaze squad 2ရော front
ဂျေဒူ
line
ဇွန်
ညာ
ဗီလာနေပြီဟေးလုံးပါ
Close to reaching the final
ဂျေဒူဇွန်
path.
ပြနေ
ရ
ပြီ
ရပေါ့ဆရာအောင်
ဒီ
ရ
တော့
ရ
ဒီတို
ပေါ့
က်
ဆရာ
ခံ
အောင်ဗီလာနေ
Always fallen just a
အနေ
little
လေး
bit
တိုက်ခံ
short.
ရပြီ
This is the opportunity he has. He is the
အေးလုံးက
front
အေးလုံးက
runner
လက်
as of
သွား
right
သိတာ
now.
ဘရောနှစ်ပွဲရှိနေပြီပို့ဖို့
And there's no dish soap in this lobby,
That's
so
true,
he
there's
doesn't
no
have to
dish
worry
soap here.
about that. Jedusor
Casadari
already
had
putting on a
there's
dominant
no
performance
dish soap in the
alongside
lobby.
Bensak, 2 top 3s back to back. Can they keep up the momentum? We'll find
Casadari
out after
Asari.
this short break.
Can I break it? Okay.
And a big welcome to all of
But
our
all boy are all
friends
thing
from
do you
League
when
of
yeah
Legends as well. MSI has just ended. Congratulations to HLE as well. And if you want more exciting action, we have more to offer. This is the biggest tournament Teamfight Tactics has to offer. My name is Mix, and I'm joined by Hupason and Clement. 2 games have already happened, and we're already having some of our players reach closer to the esteemed 20-point checkmark.
We have 3 players that could achieve check just in this game alone. And surprise, there's going to be 2 EMEA players, Jedusor and Bentak, right on the cusp. And of course, following them is going to be Lee Sao. These are the 3 players that actually held tempo throughout the start of both of these games. And that seems to be the key. There's a lot of loss streakers here. We saw both of the APAC players and Hwanmie going for big loss streaks. So maybe holding steady is going to be the key.
Yeah, and they're still taking risks. You mentioned Hwanmie, first game, also doing anima, trying to get a big cash out, managed to cash out, but then immediately goes against the strongest in the lobby. So high risk, high reward, and he's keep playing it. Normally, if you have a bad game, you get an 8th. Maybe you try to grab a little downer onto the side, but he totally pop-ups, and now we have a chance to see more gameplay like this.
All right,
high
I
risk,
kind of
high
want to
reward.
talk about it because the way checkmate
The
works
watch
is 20 points and you need a win.
Yeah.
Now, we're still not at the 20-point mark, but we are at the possibility of reaching
Cái
it
đó
in
mà
that
chị đưa số này
next
nè,
game.
usong nào vậy,
Should
ok.
Jedu
Lý
take
Sao làm gì bà
any
thì tao mà
of
dạy
the
người
upper 5 places
Lý
in
Sao
the
du
game,
bia này
he's
mà
going
bài
to be
fan
able
side
to
để
reach
mà
it.
Nhưng mà
Lý
đâu
Sao
giờ
and
ổn
Bentak
cả
also
của
will
ý lo cái
possibly
chuyện
get
thì
there
bây
with
giờ
a
mà
first or a second
Cho nó
place.
ပြောတာဤ
Everyone
လုံးက
else still playing
ပြစ်နေတယ်
for catch-up, so
အဲ့
those are
GNM
really
player ရေးပြဿ
the
နာ
big
ဒါ
players
final
to
lobby ကို
watch.
ပါတယ်ပါပြီး
And
သွား
I
ရင်
have
မှာ
to
final
say,
lobby
this
မှာ
is
ချက်မိတ်
actually
ပါ
a
တဲ့
really rare situation where we have 3 front runners in a single lobby. One of the
I mean,
more
ခီးယူရကောင်းတာတော့လွန်ခဲ့တဲ့3လလောက်ထိဤလုံးစော်လူလည်းသိဘယ်သူလည်းသိရမှာမဟုတ်သိရမလားရုပ်တရက်ကြီး
အခုက pressure မိနေတယ်
Tactician ကြည့်ရ region နဲ့ကောက်တက်လာရင်တက်လာပြီးတော့
Exactly what they want to
ဝေါ်
play
မှာ
around.
day 1 day 2ကိုနံပါတ်1ယူထားတယ်ပြီး day 3ကျမှ
Maintaining
Todo
the
lu
tempo
de
with
Wan Chi
covering
Yu
your
era tao ai
possibilities, but obviously I want to be to see more of the flash. I want to see an Aurelion Sol maybe on the next one, and the Space God. They have to be on your side if you want to pop off.
They have
ဟော
to.
ကျွန်တော်
I
ဟိုလွတ်
personally
သွားသေး
would
ပါ
love
လေ
to see some
သူတို့
evidence.
developer
You know,
draw
I'm always ready
ဟို
for a
developer
little
နဲ့
bit
စ
of
ကားပြောတာလေ
moment. I think
အဲ့
that
ဒါ
would
ကျွန်
be
တော်လည်းလွတ်
very
တယ်
fun.
ဘူးမှလာ
I
နေ
think
ရတယ်
other
ဒီဇိုင်နာ
players
ဘာ
maybe
ဘာ
moving
ဖြစ်တယ်
more
ညာ
for
ဖြစ်တယ်
something like a Yasuo
အဲ့
to
လွတ်တော့
take it a
အပင်း
little
တော့
bit
ကြည့်
more
လိုက်တယ်
traditional. It's definitely one of
Hello,
the
why
favorites
are you
I've
doing
had
that?
so far.
Yeah,
The biggest problem the meta has
Oh,
thrown to our
tradition, yeah.
players is
Can
how
I
do
come
you
out?
get out
I'll
of that
ပြေးပါ
level
ပြေးပါ
8
ကုန်ပြေးပါ
AP line congestion.
Whatever.
Last game, there was 4
But I
players
find it
in
hard
lane
to
for
buy.
Shepherd early
That's
on,
cool.
and we've seen very different answers from each of them. For Hwanmie, you have to play even more extreme. I'm only playing Shepherd from Anima, from massive loss streaks. For Bensak, he's saying, you know what, I'm not going into the contest. I'm going to play the B tier line.
နော်ရှိရ
I'll
မှန်း
play
တော့
the
ဟို
Lulus, I'll
ဒီ
play
ရောက်
the
ပါဟို
Aurelion Souls
top 8 ထဲ
off
မှာ
of the Animas. No cash
1
outs
မေးကကျွန်
necessary,
တော် top
but
4
I
မှာ
will
မှန်း
hold
တာ
a
မှန်
steady
တယ်
top 4
ပြီးတော့လီရှာက top 4
So
မှာမှန်းတာ
that's a really
position
interesting
မှာပါတယ်
question for a lot of
ကျေ
the
တို့စော
players to
ပေါ်
solve.
4မှာပါ
And
တ
for
ယ်
someone like,
ဒီမှာ
you know,
position
if
မှာ
you're
ပါတယ်
Soju,
ဆို
I'm
ဂျူ
just
မှန်
gonna
ပါတယ်
go
position ပေါ်
for
4
it.
ပါ
I'm gonna go
သ
for
ဘော
it.
ကျတယ်
Jinxes.
82မှန်တယ်
He
လို့
has
တယ်
shown that quirky ribbon can win games despite our doubt, despite us saying we don't think that is a really good comp to get those win outs. He has done it. So Soju shutting up the haters in more than one way.
Yeah, I mean, you need help, right? You need the death plate early, you need the possibilities. We see players here hydrating, here Jedusor. Everyone
ကျေတို့စောမီလာတခြားအိမ်
One
မှာအခုက
laughing about low rolls and high rolls
မီ
still
လာနေ
being
ကြောင်ပြ
through to
နေ
the
နေ
game.
လင်းနေတာ
Trying to keep
Two
up
can
on
live
winning
on. Yeah,
on the
but
Macau.
I saw it.
Was so great for him on
Chứ sao biến tiền mà
Paris.
ra?
And now the
Biến
chance for
tiền,
him
tiền.
to pop off once again,
Chạy đi làm
Clement,
French
and
look at
take
time rồi.
CN region back to the
ညနေ
Garden.
နာရီ
ကျွန်တော်တို့
Talk
solid
about
လို့ရှိ
Hwanmie,
မှာ
he has a muse
Oh,
on his
Jedu-
shoulder
Jedu
that
sao cái này
often
như này của-
whispers the
như thế
most
nào?
genius solutions to his
ဟော
board.
သူတို့လည်း
But
AC ဆိုတာပဲ
sometimes
အဲ့ဒါဆို
it can also
A
be
back က
poison
လည်း
in
ညဘက်
lives.
AC ဆိုတာ
But
လေ
we saw in game
ပြင်
one
သစ်က
where
လည်း
he
AC
had
ဆိုတာ
commerce
အန်နီရဲ့လူ
scoring
အတက်လေပါ
and
မလို့လား
rush, and his muse was like, oh, what's the
And the
worst
other
that
way,
can
အဲ့ဒီ
happen?
မှာအဲ့ဒီမှာမနက်9နာရီ4နာရီခွဲလောက်
အဲ့ဒီ
ဆို
မနက်9နာရီ
For the
ဟို
next
3
two
produce
rounds,
ထားဆို
and he kind of implodes
Yeah,
on
also
the
the-
spot. I honestly felt like Hwanmie has played a very
Yeah,
good
but yeah, I
game
don't
so
live
far, but just that game one kind of showed you the
ညောင်စတော့ AB ကိုမနက်အစိုး9နာရီထား
We
ဆို
are going to be
Remember
going
that,
into the
yeah.
game.
Anyway,
Here it
nee,
is
dat
going
is
to
een
be
nee, ja, ja,
Soraka
ja, ja,
and
ja.
Varus.
ဒီဘက်နေညနေပိုင်းနော်
နိုင်ခွက်ပဲကွာဗျ
Number 3,
9နာရီပဲရှိတယ်
as we move in, we'll also see that it's upgraded champion. So our players are going to be starting with a 2-star here across the board. I'm
Tức là
Solid
surprised,
bài đây
but
là
certainly some
cho nó
players will
share
be
lên.
Yeah, our veteran players already know this.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's
Many of
it.
the chat, but for the new ones, the players that are
Solid
coming
lên.
in,
130တောင်မှ what the fuck
Aurelio,
Ah,
we
130.
have Varus, and we have also
အယောက်130တောင်မှမနေ့ကကြည့်တာ30လားဘယ်လောက်ပဲ
Varus. Normally we're trying to go for the duplicate, trying to go for a
Air
real line.
TFT
He can give you that, and he can give you other possibilities that we normally consider a miss. So a lot of players should go with the real line angle.
Yeah, especially comboed with that Victor encounter, you can get 2 small duplicators, lesser duplicators for your 1 cost earlier on stage. That would be a very fast runway into a Dark Star line. So you can see still Aurora here, already picking up the Lissandra, and then Tianlong, of course, maybe angling for that AP flex line with a very strong Leona. We'll pay close attention to that.
sorry checking
We'll also pay attention to Soju, of course, as he's currently building out those early boards. Something you always see on his board that I don't necessarily see on every other board is the holding of the meeple units. Something he is very akin to, as he does like to default into those lines of playing around the meeple, playing around the course of rhythm.
Watch him enough. His best position is going to be 3 meeple with the fizz and a 2-star Talon going onto the board. Talon is incredibly powerful, dodges, aggro,
checking you
out. Great holder for the death blade.
I didn't even call, we just said him Aura family was mountains are not
mountain နဲ့လုပ်ဖြစ်ရလားဖြစ်တော့ဖြစ်ပါကြာရမောင်တိန်ပစ်ထဲလာရောဟလားဘယ်ယူပြချက်စားတယ်ဒီတော့နေမှာပဲဆိုသဘောကျ
ကျွန်တော်ကြည့်နေတာဒီလိုပထမဆုံး augment တွေကတော့ ego နေပြီပဲသူကအကောလုံးထက်အမြန် level ကြီးသွားကြတယ်တိတယ်သူကအကောလုံးထက် level ကြီးသွားမယ်ပြီးရင်အမြန်ရင်ဖို့မယ်ရင်ဟစ်မယ်ဗျာအဲ့လိုစတိုင်းဆိုနေသွားနာပွဲဆိုကလီယာမိုင်းဆိုနေပြီတော်တောင်လူတို့ကလီယာမိုင်းယူမှာမဟုတ်တိတယ်
That is going to be Bensak. So I am
curious
if he sees the signs, but for now looks like it's going to be
လက်ထက်မှာစပီကလူနဲ့ရှက်ပတ်နဲ့ Oh my god
for Space Groove as well as Shepherd. So that's off the table now. No.
Normally you have to face Space Groove because he's stronger, but the itemization, the rest of the units are trying to
အဲ့ဒါတော့ပတ်စလန်ကမမဟုတ်လားအဲ့ဒါလောဆယ် AD ဘုတ်ဖြစ်နေတယ်ဆိုတော့မကောင်း
Big ကတော့ဖြစ်ဖြစ်တော့
and the units are not helping me. That's the difficult position.
ကိုတက်တာတော့ကိုတက်တာပဲ Big ကနိုင်နေတာကျန်ရှာပတ်တယ်ရှာပတ်နားကောင်မဆိုကြတယ်
ဟုတ်ကဘာဒီကယူကကျန်းနေရပဲဘာကြီးမှမသိအဲ့စပိတ်
တွေးဖြည့်ပြရအရင် strong ပြီးတော့ Raven ကအဲ့ Ambulance နဲ့အရင်ကျဲ
where you have the stargazers on the units like the Nami and the Blitzcrank. So but as I say that, Bensak obviously clears his board for the additional just the interest rates here. I really want to check what K3 Soju has gotten. He has playing 3's Legion of Thieves. Oh, and that's, you know, a perfect hit for him as well. Another bastion to go very nicely into a potential
I always want to see Soju and something else, but the stars are just aligning for him to go down this route. So I assume you guys are right. I think that's probably what we're going to see here. But I feel like we need to talk about the 2 players that are currently leading on points, and they're currently trying to maybe get some streaks going. Lee Sao is
Poppy မထဲပဲဆိုရယ် Poppy ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့လိုပဲဆို
Leona
ဒီရုပ်တွေ review မဟုတ်လား
I believe is where
Don't look at it.
that one from.
Yeah,
as
around
the
it.
artifact should pose a pretty big unit for that.
That would have
Talon to
also,
take down.
like,
Maybe
they
that
cannot
Sunfire's enough.
And for Soju, yeah, maintaining tempo is the name of the game, and if he managed to maintain the win streak,
Soju
that's so
tempo
important for him. If he doesn't, it becomes immediately into just a top 4 line. So he really wants to try his out, holding a lot of the units on the bench, and try to grab good angles here to maintain tempo and keep being strong.
အဲ့ကြောင့်လည်း contest ခံရမှာနော်
And for Lisa, that was a bit of an unfortunate matchmaking.
ဘာမှဆိုရင်အဲ့ final တော့ပြောနေလို့လေဟိုတော့ brain တဲ့တစ်ခုလေးရှင်းရသေးတယ်တရားရောက်စောနေမြင်လို့ချင်းဘန်းဆိုကောက်ချေပေါ့ဘန်းဆိုကောက်ချေပြီးတော့တယောက်ကနောက်တစ်ယောက်ချင်းနောက်တစ်ယောက်ချင်းတော့လက်ချင်းနေချိန်ပေါ့ထပ်ပြီး
လက်ချင်းချိန်ပေါ့အကောင်လုံး level လိုင်းနဲ့ဝင်လာတော့ဆိုတော့
He is a counter meta.
ဘန်းစားတော့တေးကြပါဘန်းစားတော့ speed group
CN really likes their high cap boards. They have 9 points in
to beat that.
places in some
ချိုးလိုက်ယူစက်တက်နေရပါချိုးရတဲ့
ရှိုး
ဘောကြရဲ
ရှိုးရင်ကာဝိုင်းနဲ့မိုက်တယ်
bro မှာလား view ဆောင်မှာလား
going to be viable for him this
ဖြစ်လာ
time around. He's going to have to find an off ramp somewhere.
ဟို crime ရ river လည်းပါ
Well, there's still plenty of options to find, of course.
ဒါပေမဲ့သူတို့ကတော့ဘာလို့ find နေပြီလဲဘာလို့တော်အမှတ်ကလိုနေလူတွေလေအဲ့အမှတ်ရတဲ့ဟာတွေပါနေဆို
In the pool for players to maybe find those.
ဆိုဂျူကတော့ကျွန်တော်ကြည့်တာဆိုဂျူကဟိုစား win straight ပါပြီဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဟိုဘာကောင်တွေက front line ပဲ DO9 နဲ့တောက်ကြ back line ဝင်နိုင်မှာဆို
ဟိုမှာတာလုံးအပြူလိုက်လက်ကျန်တော်တွေ
တာလုံး Sunfire ကြီး
တာလုံး Sunfire ရတယ်ပြီး item 3ခွက်ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
I usually like seeing them play from ahead of the lobby. I like to see them on those win streaks. I think that's usually where the
stream ပြီးသွားရင်ကျွန်တော်ဒီပြိုင်ပွဲပြီးသွားရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့အားလုံးပုံနော်ဟိုဖက်တဲ့အကြောင်းပါညာ
stream ဒီလေးထွက်ပြီလားသူပါကောင်းနေပါလေပါအောက်ကနေပါလေ
အဲ့ဒါဒီနေ့ပြီးရင်သိရမှာထင်တာပဲကျွန်
တော်မထင်ဘူးဒီထွက်မှာလိုက်သိရမှာပေါ့အဲ့ကိစ္စ
It's going to be lovers due
or
2 cost just yet.
Didn't be a
You're trying to go for the duplicator first, the small ones,
and
then the
middle
ones to really pop off. And if you don't get it, your game plan has to change a little. You have to play onto your
live ဟုတ်ပဲပြီးအောင်ဟို
and it's just
record လုပ်ပြီးပဲတင်လိုက်တာပုံပေါင်းတာ
fully open, just trying to brief if anyone wants to go to the animal line. And be sure to block
ဘောကြတယ်
that loose tip, but for now, just
ဘရိုဟိုမှာ
face နဲ့ကောင်း
possibilities with the augment that he had thinking
competitive ဒီမှာ
And that is exactly
what 8ယောက်မှာအမှတ်အများတော့ဂျီလူဆို
because both of these players are currently
ဂျီလူဆို
ဒီတော့မီလာနေရရောက် post ကြတာတောင်းပါ
ဟိုမေးရဒူတီရနေမှာကက်တူဆိုဂျီလူဘရိုအလုံးအောင် fight call စစ်
to bully the rest of the lobby and look for players
မနေ့ကပြောလေ affiliate ဆက်မြန်မာဆိုလေ
just to ruin them and
သူကအတန်းဆိုရဲသူရဲ့ဟို unit ဖတ်ပါတယ်ပြီးတော့သူကလူနာ unit ပြီးတော့သူက secondary trade က spare way ပါအလုံး
အဲ့ဒါလုံးရုပ်ဘယ်လိုတတ်မှာ
မရဘူးဘရို item လည်းကြည့်အောင် event shop ဝယ်စလိုက်တာ Sanfire event shop လေ
သဘောကျတယ် Sanfire event shop လောက utility အပြည့်
တကယ်
စောင့်နေရ rogue ပေါ့သဘောကျတယ်တကယ်သဘောကျတယ်
cocky run လာပြီ cocky run
physical ဆိုတော့ cocky မဟုတ်ရင်မာစာကြီးနှစ်ခုပဲရှိတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ function ကြီးနဲ့ဆိုတော့ cocky ပဲဖြစ်မှာပေါ့
bro focus နေတယ်တရား
ပြောမရအောင် Geo intro ထည့်လိုက်လို့ရ
We've seen a few 100 cash out maybe 200
ထည့်ပါဦးမဆိုင်ဘူးလေ
small items that give you
ဒေါ်လာလေးကောင်မစော
probably ရှန်ထည့်လို့ရတယ်နော်ရှန်ထည့်လိုက်
ထည့်လို့ရ
and of course in the space route line
ဒီကမလာမှာ
ဒါပေမဲ့ intro ကဘယ်လိုထည့်ဒီဥစ္စာ short ကြီးဆလန်မီတာ intro ထည့်ပါ
sorry
trying to go
hey
for the most
ဒီကစားရဒီကမနောက်ဆုံးရတဲ့ရှန်ကြည့်ထည့်လိုက်
point out also stage 3
Yep, the Spastic emblem is a terrific item for the moving into the later phases. This is a opening that we have
bro
seen
Tariq fight
Soju
calls
play
okay
time and time again. He has played the most quirky ribbon out of any of our players over the entire
okay တွင်နာမှာတော့တက်နေပြီဆိုပေမဲ့ဒီကြောင်ရှိုးလိုက်တော့
specifically there is a really good shot for him to just pose into
ဆိုကြတော့ဒီ state နဲ့ now state ကိုလည်းနည်းအခြေအနေကောင်းသွား
open with losses is where I start to get worried because that comp just cannot cap as high
ဒါပေမဲ့ဗျာဆိုကြဒီတိုက်တိုင်းဆလာနာနည်းနည်းပြီးအနေများတယ်ဘာလို့လဲနောက်ပိုင်းမှာအဲ့ဒီ item တွေကနောက်ပိုင်းမှာ 80 item တွေများဖြစ်နေသူ့အနေနဲ့တော့ရတော့အခြေအနေကြီး
ဒါပေမဲ့သူဓာတ်တစ်ချောင်းနဲ့ရတာတည်းတယ်
ဘာလို့လဲသူ 80 ပဲဆိုတော့ event shop ဆလာနာ
We talked with him in the interview.
raw ရတယ်သူ raw တစ်ချောင်းရတယ်သူ queen suit ဖြစ်ဥစား crown cap ဖြစ်လောက်လိုက်လို့ရ
I'm an ABP player. I want the points and this is exactly
သူ option ကသူ့မှာဓာတ်လေးရှိရဆိုတော့သူ
get pressure into a lowy. Get everyone low in HP. That we talk about
ဒီအခုကြည့်ရတော့ Monday down နဲ့ player 2ယောက်ရှိတယ်တယောက်က30လိုပို့တာနောက်တစ်ယောက်ကအလုံး
I'm just saying if still have the same game plan every time
ကစန်တေ4900 HP 329 armor 201 armor and sorry ပဲအရှိ goes all your way his airborne cooldown is only 1 second too it costs 15 mana 5 span
အဲ့ဒါဟုတ်အမောအဲ့ဒါကိုရီးယား player တယောက်ဟိုကလေးရှိရတယ်ကာဆန်နေထွက်လာတော့အဲ့ကာဆန်လေးမှာပါတဲ့အဖက်တွေဒီကောင်ကဘရိုဂရမ်တွေကြောင့်ပြောပြရတာအဲ့ကလေးရှိတယ်
ဒီကောင်တကယ် Monday down နေပြီဟိုမှာ Lessandra review ထိုင်ဆို
ဟုတ်တယ်ဘရိုအဲ့ तू ကပြီးသွားပြီအဲ့ဒါ तू ကထမင်း
wait ဟဲ့ပါ
present themselves a lot of times you can get away with not leveling for the Lissandra but the Cho
3-1 မှာဥစား3ပါနော်ပြီးတော့ဥစားပဲတဲ့90ကျော်တယ်ကျန်တယ် pro နဲ့
huge boost in permanent HP you gain and he's only one copy off very successful roll down for Steelo
ကောင်းဟိတာတပြိုင်
misses the tinny duplicators he is still on track
ယောက်ျားပဲဟုတ်တယ်
So important for this Cho'Gath is a unit that needs the scaling needs to
identity ရောပါလေတက်ကက်ခေါင်းကလေဟုတ်
and it will get so big we'll see him ramping up a same as League of Legends he will keep getting stronger I mean he's just a menace doing good damage and maintaining healthy the backline
ဒါမှရှောင်းနေတယ်ကောင်တယ်ပါ no shit
on the other side that Ornn with 3 items and of course
Cho'Gath 3 heavy ရှောင်းနေမေးတွေဝဲနေပြီ
going to be a pretty
တချို့ကသူကြီးကမစားနိုင်လို့ရှိရင်တော်တော်အနေအများ
really long time for him to get through if he can.
အားကြောင့်လည်းကြောက်ပြီးချိုးချင်းကြီးထဲတာဖြစ်ကျဲပြ
Of course healing from the spirit visage and the
အစား
short
လေ
does
အားလေး
help
ငယ်
with
တဲ့
the pass, but if there's nobody else supporting on this board,
တော်တော်နေကောင်း
unfortunately, that is going to be a loss for
ငိုချင်း
Silo
ငို
Bora
ငို
here.
ပဲရုပ်
But I
လာ
think
ဖြစ်
that was probably the worst player in this lobby to run into
အသင်ပြေးလာပြီ
for this Cho'Gath, so I'm
ကဲ
not
ဘူးက
too
game 3 ပဲ
worried
ရှိ
going
တယ်
forward, but we do have prismatics
တိုင်းရတိုက်တယ်
and that could take things for
ဝမ်း
a
ပါ
bit.
ဘူးလားဘူးပါလားအဲ့
ပ
လောက်
ရိုက်တာမလို့ဝမ်း
အော်စီစီကျွန်တော်ပါလို့3500ရတယ်
No, decides to mid max
တိုက်တယ်
here.
တိုက်တယ်ဟုတ်ဟုတ်
So
မင်းမ
he's trying to
ဟုတ်
pop
ဟုတ်
off
တခြားသူ
a full
This
combat
one,
augments
maybe.
here for Along, getting the
Maybe
Battle
less.
Slayer,
โอเค
full stats.
တရားရဲ့ကုန်ထူ
And of
မယ်
course,
တဘော
one
ချာ
is
ဆော့ပါ
thinking
တော့
about a
စာရဆောက်မှာလေစာရဆောက်
full,
မှာ
fully
Yeah.
indexing on total gamer and once again playing for the cap out.
We've seen Wamia do this so many
Did you
times.
have
There are a lot of good
Awesome.
3-2 win
Kraken, yeah,
augments in
right.
terms of the economy. Tiny as Titans. We
Kraken
have the,
DG တဲ့
investment funds here. And we also saw a win
Bro,
game for
Wamia,
Wamia yesterday
they get
where
all
he was
in, man.
almost full open. Anima went level 9 straight to level 10.
Hash
The
farm.
way he likes to play his AP lines is he doesn't tempo.
အာ
If you take
Ah,
the
balong
level
pop.
meta,
Balong
you
meta.
get
Cut off.
contested
Pass
and you
nine,
die.
ဆိုနာ
So
ပေါ့
Sona
if
Bazo,
you want to full
Sona
win
Bazo.
streak like Wamia has been
Watch out.
doing, he had a 1.83
Oi, oi.
AVP yesterday. A stunning
အဖေသား
performance.
လည်းပွားတာမဟုတ်ပါ
Certainly is.
ဘရိုဂျီလူဆိုကင်မရာဘာလို့အဲ့ဒါတက်
Stunning, but maybe starring is
Oh, yeah,
our
yeah.
Stargazer on the other
စောနာ
side.
လည်းသူ့
For
ဟို
Jet
မှာ
Azor
သူ့
as
သူ့ရုပ်ကြီးက
printing.
သူကျွန်တော် Discord က screen share ရာတွေကို
Already and
ကတ်ထားတယ်
already see on the items that
ကင်မရာ
confirm
ရ
that he is not
သူ့နေရာ
looking
တ
for
ခြားအခုအိမ်ဘွားမီးတောက်ကြီးဖြစ်
Instead is going for that Zaya
အဲ့ဒါ
as
အပေါ်ပြင်
carry
ဆိုရင်တင်
in
တယ်
the
like
later
ကြည့်ပါ
stages of the game, and for now his game
Come
plan
on,
is
Jack.
just going to
Oh,
be
the Leo
to
na cool
preserve
there, one
as
minute.
much
Pero that's
HP
it.
as possible.
အာ
And
ဆို
that's
ကြီးကမီးတောက်တယ်
exactly
နော်
what he needs to do,
ခုန
right?
ပွဲ
Keep
ရှိ
in mind,
ဒါ
15
တောက်ပါ
points,
ဘောသူ
5
အဲ့
points
ပို့ကြည့်
away
ကြည့်ပါ
from check. He doesn't
The boy
need
Jack.
a flashy finish. He will need it afterwards. But
လ
in
မ်း
this
ဆက်က
game,
လည်း
he can
consistent ရှိရှိ
allow
ပုံမှန်
himself
လေးပဲ
to
စော်
just
ရ
play
ရင်တော့
slow
သူ့
and
အတွက်လည်း
steady.
ဖြစ်လာနိုင်တယ်
Yeah, maintain tempo, good items,
Ako
as you
ang sana
mentioned,
machine,
and trying to find really the Saya.
Yes,
The
diba?
good about Saya
Ako
is not
na po yan,
contested.
siya, why?
Normally, only one player in the lobby is playing Saya. If you wait a little, maybe try to get 4
ဒါကြောင့်
out
မို့
of
တီးကြ
the
တယ်
pool,
နာမည်
and
ပဲ
then
ဟာ
your
လား
roll is even better. So for Jedusor, a
တဲ့
great
ပဲ
game.
တဲ့ပဲ
It seems like both of our Mountain Stargazer
Siya pa
players have
kumilay daw.
settled in. We have Along heading towards
မမေ့လိုက်ရ
the
ပါ
mid, and
ဟို
we have
တီမိုနာမီ
Jedusor
တီမို
obviously
ဆူနာဆိုလို့ရ
moving into the Zaya items already. The
Lower
other
GG,
things
yeah.
that I would like to point towards
ဒါပေမဲ့
are
ရပ်ပတ်
the
ကနေမနာသရီပလက်လေးပဲ
wave
ယူ
flips
ပြီး
that we
တော့ပုံ
have
မှန်လေးဆို
across
ရင်လ
our
ည်းပါပြ
lobby
ည့်
here.
သူတော့
For K3 Soju, he obviously took a golden gambit.
ကဲကဲကိုလူကိုနောက်ထပ်
I think that is
မိနစ်
probably
20နေစ
more
ပြီ
himself,
19မိန
so
စ်
he probably just got
Okay,
items,
the boy Jack.
a little bit of
ကျွန်တော်ပါကြည့်ပါလဲကိုချင်း
pin, and on
နှစ်
the
ခုလုံးကြည့်
other
မယ်
ကျွန်တော်ရဲ့
နော်
စီရီယာရွတ်ကြည့်ပါလား
Stilo of Bora trying to find a perfect item.
ဒီရောက်လည်းကြည့်မယ်
for
ကျွန်တော်ဖုန်းကနေ
his
စော
Shogun.
နေအောင်ကြ
Some
ည့်
mana
ဆို
regeneration
ယူ
item
ဆိုယူတော့တော့ကြောက်
would
တာ
be
နောက်မှ
absolutely
လဲကွာ
Yeah, so you
နာ
maintaining
တူရ
win streak.
တရား
Has
နေ
the
ပါအဲ့ဒါဆို
Kraken.
ကျင်မနေ
It's not a premium item, at least for the later stage of the
ဒါ
game.
မှပြောမရဘူးမိပဲ
Let's go
ဘက်ရှန်လေးကောင်လည်းဖြစ်
When
နိုင်
you
တာ
don't
ပဲ
see him contesting Jedusor, it's very
မီ
difficult
ပဲ
to
ပတ်ရှင်
navigate and
လေးက
figure out of it. Another possibility is here.
အဲ့လေရပါ
Once again,
ဒါပေမဲ့
no
သူ Kraken
duplicators
ဆက်လန်ထားရဆို
for
တော့
Varus. This is
အဲ့ဒါပြော
another
လေ
miss for the
နား
River
နား
players.
နားရှာလို့ရ
နား
Looking for
ဖြစ်
that
သွား
angle
ဟုတ်
to
လား
pop off.
Something we do need to keep in
Nah.
mind is
Kami nato akong
as
point
my
natin.
eyes
Oh,
dart
96.
to the right side of the screen is
သူ
currently
ကရာ
sitting
ကန်
on
နဲ့စောလေးရိုက်ကောင်တိတ်
100
မ
gold,
ရှိ
of course, on the back of that.
ဟိုနားတက်လာတယ်နားယူမှလားမေးခွန်းနောက်တစ်ခုက
နားတူးလားမသိ
Something big and flashy, and we
ဟာ
should
radiant predator ပေါက်ရ
တူ
တ
တွေ့
ယ်
တယ်ကူးလို့ရတယ်နော်
their choices
Jewel
from
Bora.
the gods, but I
ရရတယ်သူကသူ့နေရာပဲ
I think that missed out on the
Hello.
duplicators on the
Hello.
top two
Again,
players
Nala.
as well,
Again, Nala.
as generally
ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်နားစောတော့
ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါဘက်ရှန်လေးကောင်နား
from Varus
သဘောကျတယ်
and Soraka here both.
အဲ
I will
ဝါ
say
မော
for
တော့
the
မဆလာတော့ထင်
Soraka,
တာ
that's
ဒီ
a
အဲ
pretty
ဒီည
big
မှာ
boon to
Something
someone
like
like Stilo of Bora that is just feeding his T-Rex
နိုင်တယ်
right
နော်စလ
there.
မ်
The Cho'Gath is going to get even
ဟိုသူနဲ့တွေ့ရ
bigger
ကောင်
in
က
terms
ရှိတယ်
of
သူနဲ့တွေ့ရကောင်
size.
ဒါကြက်
bro bro ကြီးကနောက်ကျန်တယ်ကျွန်တော်မှ slam ပြီးသွားကြတယ်
Is and Jedusor now leveling to 7.
ဟောမင်းဆိုကျူးစီမှာတက်သွားကြည့်တယ်ဟာ
Maintain his
မဟုတ်မဟုတ်
strength.
ကျွန်တော်ဥစား
He does
ဥစား
have K3
robin ရကြည့်
in his pool and just found a
Robin နဲ့
Zaya.
Pro နဲ့တူတူ
သူ
တယ်
တို့
ဒီ
တက်ချက်
ကောင်
မြန်
တွေ
တယ်ထင်တယ်
သူတို့က POV
ပြက်တီဟာနေရ
Okay.
တွေ့လေအဲ့တွေ့ချင်
Decides
မြန်
not
ယူ
to
တူ
roll.
ပရိုဒန်တို့ဟာမြန်တာ
Level, as you mentioned, but
မစား1ကတော့မစား1
ပ ညာနေဝင်ကြည့်နေတယ်သူ
It's
တို့
a bad matchup against the rest. Should be strong enough, but this time only getting stronger here. Great front line. Has the Timo there in the back line with 3 items. So
ဟိုကချိုးကလည်း radiant prayer ဘောက်ရနည်းနည်း okay ပါစိတ်တကြကြတယ်
now will ramp up.
ကျွန်တော်
ကြောက်ကြည့်တာ
ကျန်နေသွားတယ်
ကန်
ကောင်းညာပဲ
ကန်တော့ကတော့
ဒီလေးဆိုတာလေနောက်ပိုင်းကျရင်ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဘယ်လိုပြောရလဲ TikTok ဖတ်တာလေ video clip ဘိုက်ဆိုပါနဲ့လုပ်ဖို့ရှိတယ်
စာရခွတ်ပေးနဲ့ကောင်းလို့လားဒါနဲ့ rapper အိုင်
ဒါပေမဲ့ bro ဒီအချိန်မှာတော့အကောလုံးအောင်စနေအောင်ဒီမှာသူရဲ့
ဒါနဲ့တိုက်တဲ့ disso ပဲရပါ
အဲ့တော့ပါ
ဒီစကတက်သွားပြီဒီစကနောက်ဆုံးကြမှာဘလောက်တော့
ဆွမ်းလာပဲပြော
နောက်ချက်အောက်ကနေကျန်တိုက်တာလာပြီးတော့
နောက်ပိုင်းကျရင် APU ကလည်း
ဆက်ပြနမေတိုင်းဆက်ပြနေရန်တိုက်ပါ
တရက်တွေကဟိုလိုမျိုးကုန်းနေကုန်းတစ်ခုကြောတာကြီးဘရိုဂိမ်းစောတက်စီမှာမဟုတ်ဒါပါတော့ထားပါတော့အခုဒီမှာဒီလီချောက်ဆိုတယ်ပဲကျွန်တော်မြင်ရပြီအဲ့ပဲလက်ဘလုံးသွားတယ်ကျွန်တော်လက်ဘလုံးကောင်းရင်တင်ပြီးလို့ချင်းဘရိုလက်ဘလုံးပဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တော့သိတယ်ပြီးတော့မတားအမြဲချင်းနေပဲလက်ဘလုံးပုံကလက်ဘလုံးကောင်းကဒီပိုက်တစ်ခုမှဒါဒီပုံစံဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နောက်ပိုက်ကျရင်ချင်းသွားပဲကျွန်တော်တင်တဲ့ကောင်းကပိုက်တစ်ခုမှတုံးရတယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့ကောင်းပို့စီရလက်ကိုင်းတော့အဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့အကုံစိုးတင်ဖို့ကောင်းအဲ့ကြောင့်အကုံစိုးတက်မဲ့စတိုင်ရိုးတွေဒါမှကျွန်တော်တင်တယ်ဟိုလိုမျိုးဒီကောင်းကကောင်းပါလို့ကျွန်တော်ဒီဘုတ်တစ်ခုလည်းမတင်တော့အဲ့ကြောင့်အရင်တော့ကျွန်တော် Facebook မှာတင်တယ်ဗျာဟိုကဘယ်လိုလဲဆိုဒါပါတော့အဲ့တော့အရင်တော့ဆို Yumi M ပါရှင်တို့
လူကျူရဲ့ Mr. 100ကတော့အံ့ပါ
အမေအဲ့ဒါကြီးအသုံးပါဗျာဒီအဲ့ပို့
ပြောမရအောင်နောက်ကဒီဇန်ကတေးနေပြီဟယ်လို
ကျော်ပါ
bro ချိုးကပဲကြံတာနိုင်လောက်တယ်
မဟုတ်နိုင်ဘူးကနိုင်ပါသူကနိုင်ပါ
အဲ့လိုရတယ်ဖုန်ဖုန်ဒီဖုန်တယ်
လို့
ချုပ်ကနိုင်ပါ
အပွိုင်းနေတယ်လို့
အဲ့ဒါချုပ်ကနိုင်ပါ
ကြိုးကြည့်ပြီးတော့ချုပ်ကနိုင်ပါလုံးနေတယ်
ကျွန်တော် screen share ပဲကြည့်လိုက်ပါတော့ share တော့ပြရတယ်
ပေါ့ဒီ
အာ
အား
ဘာ
ဒီအား
ဟိုအေဆိုးရှာနေတာခဏနေ
ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်
အော်ရိုင်းတယ်ဗျအေးဆိုရတယ်
အေဆိုးရပါပြီ sorry music လိုက်ကြည့်
အဲ့နောက်ပိုင်းတော့တယ်ပဲ TFT ပါကြဟုတ်ကဲ့
ကိုချက်ပပိုင်းကြည့်နေတာတဲ့
ကျွန်တော်အဲ့သူတို့ပေးတဲ့ link ပဲလေသူတို့ပေးတဲ့ link
ကျွန်တော် YouTube မှာကိုရှင်နဲ့တူတူအားချမှုရ
and he needs to hit one of those like bards and Aurelian souls
ကောင်းပါနားထောင်လို့မကောင်းအေးဆို emo ကလည်းအလားလားတယ်ကျွန်တော် emo က3လည်းမ3ပါဘူးဒါပေမဲ့လည်းနိုင်ကောပဲဆိုကြည့်လိုက်တော့မလဲက
ဟိုမီပဲအော်မီဘလော့ emote တွေကစောက်ကြည့်လို့ကောင်းတယ်တောင်းလို့ကောင်း
အဲ့မီဘလော့ဒီမှာကျွန်တော်မရပါဘူးကျွန်တော်နှစ်ခုရအဲ့တော့ day 1မှာမေ့ပါတယ်ဒီလို
အော်သဘောကျ
There's a pair of Azol trying to close the pair here. Azol, great, just to having that source of power. Trying to find a little more on a secondary carry, but he already has the support there on the Karma. And it will depend on the ambush. Will he maintain the LeBlanc just for the Shepherd and maybe...
Azol ဖန်ကကျွန်တော်အယုံကြည်မရှိဘူးတလားအဲ့ဆိုဖန်ကဟို solo တန် version မဟုတ်လေ team တန် version ဆို
ပေါ့ Azol ကအဲ့ဘန် version မှာ
front line ကို solo ထားလို့မရ Azol ရဲ့ value ကအဲ့လိုမကောင်းတလားAzol ရဲ့ game ကလေစာတန်းကြီးလေလေစာတန်းဆိုတော့နှစ်ကောင်လောက်ထိမှာ Azol ရဲ့ value ကရှိရဖန်ကအရှိမတစ်ကောင်နဲ့ထားလို့မရအောင်ပြတ်တယ်နော်
I feel like this is where his
Azol ကအဲ့ဖန်ကပုတ်တွေမှာ damage လောက်မထား
Azol ငါအောင်ပါ
online here we should expect a big roll down from Soju in the next round
ကိုရှာအောင်လားဒါပေမဲ့တွေ့ရဆက်တယ်ပဲကျန်တော့ဘယ်လိုပြကြလဲပြောမရဒိန်းဆိုတက်လာလို့တော့ဘာကြည့်ရလဲပဲကောတူ chaos မှာပတ်စံရတဲ့ပြုံးပြီးသွားတာ review တွေပြုံးပြီးသွားတာ
အကုန်ကိုင်းတာလေ
those upgrades as well before most of them out of the pool.
ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဘန်က ASO အယုံကြည်မရှိဘူးကျွန်တော်
သူရပါပြီမှာ
a little bit more than Corky aren't the premier forecasts for most of these players, so he should have a little bit of an easier time to find them.
ဒီလိုဒီနဲ့ကောက်လို့ကြရပါ ASO 3 GG
rounding out
မလုပ်ပါဘူးလေ
class ကန်လို့ရပါတယ်
class ကန်လို့ဝယ်ရပါတယ်
စောက်ကောက်ကြီးစောက်ပါလား
pretty soon as well 33 HP of course he has
electrolyte လည်းမစိုးပါဘူးသူဒါပေမဲ့ electrolyte APA မှာမကောင်း
there goes the level 8
လို့ပေါ်တယ်ယူလို့လိုက်
Soju also decides to go level 8 here as well. There's a chance for him to.
ကျွန်တော်ကပြောရဆိုရင်ပုတ်တွေအဆင်ပြေသွားတယ်နော်ဟို Leonardo Pressure Video ဟို
We'll see what one means goal.
Predator ဘာကြီးလဲဆို Oh my god
Jedusor
Okay,
finds the
Maria
ascension. Great
Nami
for
win,
Lulu. If he
the
manages to
Boja,
get the front line on place, still
Nami,
fighting the
Nami,
Jax
papa.
1. The Jax
We do
1
right.
really looking for that 3-star to pop off.
3 shops.
တော့ကြာ
First he hits Orin 2, then he hits Samira 2, then he
အကောင်လုံးက
hits
level 8
Nami
မှာအဆင်ပြေအောင်ပဲလုပ်နေကြတဲ့ပုံစံလေး
and basically gets it served on a silver platter here. Not sure Space Group was necessarily what he wanted, but if you get those upgrades,
So you are right,
on an AP line double
အဲ့ဒါလေးဟယ်လို
ကော်ကီမရပါဘူးကော်ကီရောစားမရဘူးပြီးတော့သူနားတော့ကောင်မှကြော်သွား
Pretty decent spot for him to continue his journeys is hold on to 30 gold. This is the biggest test to our
so you got Jamie,
players. You don't want to roll too deep because
Say,
you
bro,
only
that do your
pop off
downfall to him,
on
bro.
level 9. If he can manage
အဲ့ကော်ကီအဲ့နားပရင်သာအဲ့ဒါစောက်ရအနေနဲ့4142မဟင်းဘယ်တော့မဟင်းကားကြိတ်တာ
In the meantime for Soju he actually rolled really deep but unfortunately no Corky still on that Gnar.
That will be the one to
Set up.
go. It's a
Yeah,
good unit,
dependency
but
the
yeah,
army,
really needed the Corki. Not only the Corki 2-star, maybe
Napoli
being close to that
Malloy.
Corki 2-star, maybe finding 1, finding 2, not
Oh,
finding any, and being
Ang
into
Gao
0
ni
means
ma.
that it's
Kuba
very,
Mashi
very
ni ma,
difficult for
same
Soyu to
Wala
stabilize
mo
during
matigaw,
any
para
stage
mayaw.
of this
Three
fourth
side
round.
ano.
Speaking of not finding
Tija,
anything,
Tija,
Jet
Kill
is
go
down,
pale
Tija,
Tija.
Stagi
hits
da,
the
Tija
pair,
Tu
but
pale
still
Tija.
not seeing Desire to
The
come
Moja
on
is the
line
Bolong
here.
Liga.
He's also just sitting on a Nunu 1, a TK 1, a Morgana 1,
Ah,
so
Thai
all
ni
of
thôi,
these
lấy vào
score
mà tận
costs
là.
escaping our players. I'm trying to glance across the lobby to see
Saya
many of
best,
our
by the
players
way.
actually hit besides
Long
the
run
ones
rồi.
we saw from Kwanye and
Lulu.
Chanlong,
Anh đâu
but
ăn
for
Lulu
most
gì
of them,
Rô này là
the
bảo đâu nhỉ,
pretty
Thái này.
barren.
Rule เนี่ย rule เนี่ยမတွေ့ရ
Yeah, Along was the one going for the Lulu Mountain here.
အဲ့ဒါဆိုရင်တော့
trying to
ပြီးသွားတာပဲ
maintain
လုံးဝလေ
possibilities. Very far away from hitting. We see
အ
only
လုံး
the
ဘွား
Lulu
လုံးလုံး
Mountain
ပါပါ
here
ပါ
to help Clement. So if he doesn't win this round,
အဲ့ဒါ
Nami
တော့
2
ပဲရ
ပါ
တယ်
popping off a player that
Nami 2တရားသုံးလုံးနေဗျာပတ်စံလဲဟိုစားအကောင်လုံးတစ်ပုတ်လုံးနဲ့ဟဲ့တာပတ်စံ90ကျန်သေးတယ်
throughout most of the
Hash
tournament,
Valley quoi,
and
Hash
now
Valley
in a
ça
bad
amateur.
spot to stabilize with the Lulu.
And I just want to point out how
ဒီနိုင်ငံဒီပဲ what the fuck မိုးချိုးပြတ်သွား
to get none of the viruses
Nami
were
alone
actually
is saying,
that
"No, she might have gone
impactful
with
for him.
အာ
He
မိုး
did
ယူကျဲ
not
သွားတာ
actually find the
Mojo
duplicators,
Jewara.
and he also
Ha,
doesn't
ha,
have
ha.
gold. He has
What?
pure
That's
combat
a-
power.
Oh, you get
So
Nami ada
this is the
tinggal di
problem
Moja.
with a 3-cost reroll line here going for Lulu. He really needs some juice from this boon.
Super Bunny
Ano
gift
push yan
က
yan yan eh?
ကောင်းလား
Extra
Not
cover.
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
what you
Ay,
wanted.
pushing
Once
yan, yan.
again, the
Yan,
gods
yan.
are not very
Nene minute.
benevolent in this round here. Game 3 of the crown. They're just saying, figure it out by
Moda
yourself.
chat ထဲမှာ
That
စာရိုက်
is
တာ
not going to be helping.
By
As
that.
the lobby does choose the rest of their
Oh,
components.
ဒီ model chat ထဲမှာရှိတယ်
Blue conversation. We are now in the middle
Final
of
lobby လေ
stage
ဆိုကျူက
four.
သူ့ရဲ့မွေးထားတာ
That is
So you-
usually
so
where
you
we
look
need
channel
that
man.
Lulu to come
You have
online.
high win share in my
Yeah.
you have high win share in my head
That before you bleed out, and that is not necessarily something that
Oh, so
we
you
will
are
use
being
for a long,
So you
long at all.
Tu
So I'm
muy
a
data.
little bit worried about that one, as we do see a big
Lisata.
upgrade come in for Lisao.
Yeah, LeBlanc 2-star there for him. Still
Ah,
alive.
Soju
He
kwa
doesn't
vale.
find the Lissandra, so the Cho'Gath should be capping
Right.
off. But no
တ
additional
တိယ
damage
ဟို
will be
တ
difficult
တိ
for
ယ
him.
ကင်
He's
နာဂ
down
ရ
in
န်
a stable
ဘွား
place
တွေပြော
here.
တာ
Lacking a
Now
little
7 minutes,
frontline,
huh?
only everyone is 1-star there,
Yeah.
except for the
Tadi ya
additional
kinagawa
summoner.
na.
So the LeBlanc should have to
Huh?
to do the pop-off work here, and
ဆိုကျူ
shouldn't be enough.
ဆို
Not
ကျူ
enough
အ
time.
သက်တုံးနဲ့ main ကျတဲ့ကောင်
I
လေး
feel
လို့
like this is the worst position to be when you're playing into
Kita saw saya
contested
Yeah, look at the face.
board. Yeah, he knows he's not going to make it out.
Italian
Morgana is
Ay,
Tapi
tadi
lepas
ya, kina
lepas
kan
damage
boleh
apa?
ada.
Damage yang
He
apa? Hello.
doesn't really have the damage
Damage
necessary
bisa.
on this
ဟာ
LeBlanc
တတိယကင်နာ
too.
ဂရန်ဘွားရပါလေဆို
So
တော့
I would
Oh,
actually
set
say
up
this
one.
is
Lu biar
way
jadi satu tu.
worse,
Kada kada cawe apa?
someone like Guan Mie, and
Kada
a lot of it has
strike.
to
ဒါ
come
ပေမဲ့
down to
ကာ
one
ဂန်
player.
ဆိုပေမဲ့ Rebel ကလည်း main damage ပုံ
Well,
စံ
at
မျိုး
least
ဖြစ်
they're
ဟို
going to be able
ကာ
to
ရတော့
take down Jettis forward for now.
Hmm.
But I
ဘာ
agree
အကုန်လုံး
with
Strike က ပေးတယ် Strike ကစားအဲ့ဒီထက်ပိုတိတ်ပဲမရှိတာတဲ့
here.
အဲ့လိုပဲလောက်အောင်ဒါပေမဲ့သူမှရွေးရတယ်မ
But
ရွေး
the
ဘူး
shop Giveth, as the Morgana 2 that we were just talking about, does come online here. and
ဟွာမေးရ
something
နိုင်မှသွားလာပြီ
looks a lot better for
Yeah.
him here. Do keep
But
in
do want-
mind,
oh,
he
queen
does
will be.
need a high finish. He does need a second or a
Yep.
first place. So
So
for
you
him,
need
it's
Gang Lady,
really
try not-
level မှာ
important
ဆိုနာ
to
တူး
find
ဆို
a
ပြီးဟို
board that
ဟိုပါ
caps
လေ
as
နာမီတူး
high
ဆို
as
ပြီးနာမီ
it
တူး
can.
ရောင်းစားလိုက်
I
တယ်
do
ဟိုပါမေး
think
ရ
the LeBlanc board
အဲ့
is a
အဲ့
good
ပလီ
spot
ရော
for
ကျွန်တော်မ
him.
ကြိုက်အဲ့ပလီ
What the fuck hello hello ဆိုနာတူးဝယ်ရရပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဟိုဘက်ကောင်းတစ်ချက်နေတယ်
မဟုတ်လေနာမီတူးရောင်းထားတယ်ဆိုနာတူးဝယ်လိုက်တယ်နာမီတူးရောင်းလိုက်တယ်
what a
ကျွန်
decision
တော်တော့အဲ့ပ
what a
လီကို
decision
မကြိုက်
That's
မ
gonna
ကြို
be
က်
an
အဲ့ဒါကျွန်
interesting
တော်မကြိုက်
development for the board.
ကျွန်တော်
နာမီတူးက
ဆို
တာဝင်ရပါလား
အဲ့မဟုတ်လေသူတက်ကပြောလို့ရတယ်သူ့မှာ API တန်မရှိဘဲနဲ့ shop ဟို space ကူတူတော့မှာဘယ်လိုဆောင်း
He does need a
ဟုတ်
one
စပိတ်ကူကံကောက်
wish တော့ဝိုင်းနာမီရစတိုင်းလို
နာ
င်း
မီယူဒီတိုင်းကြိုက်ထားတယ်ကြိုက်
ဟိုမှာဟိုမှာကြည့်တိုင်း Morello voice refine ခုတ်တာခံလိုက်ရ
Also adapting to the items, right? He got the boy staff.
အဓိကနာမီရနာမီပဲလေဒီကအဲ့အမှန်တကယ်တော့အဲ့ဆိုနာတူးရောင်းမဲ့အစားဟိုနာမီတူးရောင်းမဲ့အစား
ဟိုအဲ့ချိုးကရချိုးကရဆိုတော့ဥစား5 minute refine
access to the backline, even though he has
တွေ့လား
Barcelona
ဟိုကမေးရ
he's
မှား
not
သွား
enough
ပြီတ
for
ည်
one
ရှင်
man,
ပါ
and this could be a rerun of
အဲ့
day
တော့
one.
ကြောင့်သူ
He
မ
was
လက်တော့
so strong, just missing a
အဲ့တော့
little
သူနာမီတူးက
power,
မရောင်းခဲ့
especially
ဟို
on
ဘ
the
က်က
front
ခေါင်းနေ
line,
တယ်
and
နာမီရ
missing
မှာ
out
ပေါ့
because of
တိ
the
50 minutes
placement.
อืมအဲ့ဒါဟုတ်နော်
Boons do come
Ah, yeah.
in here.
Nah, nah.
Something that
Mawa
would be
video on it.
really big is, of course,
ကျွန်တော်
help out that
အေးစ
front
ပုတ်ကို
line.
ယုံ လုံးကြီးမရှိရဒီမဲ့ဘယ်မှတည်မလဲမသိရှိပါဘူးသူတက်နဲ့ကတ်တယ်ကြတယ်
အေးဆိုရှိုး
ဆိုကြီးကတိုင်ပတ်နေရဲ့ကော်ပီတူးမဟဲ့တယ်ဘူးလေ
With those first places, you know how it is. First, second.
သူ့ဘဝချိုးကတဲ့ကောင်ပဲရှိတယ်နောက်မှာလက်ဆန်ဒရာတူခဲ့ပြီ
Points, but checking back in with Soju, we saw it there. One Riven, one Corky on the board. We knew that was going to be his plan into this. are you feeling about the state of his board? Because normally a
မဟုတ်ကျွန်တော်ပြောတာတကယ်ပြောတာလေအနောက်မှာစာခဲ့ပြတာလေအဲ့ကောင်
ကေတွေးဆိုရတော့တွေးများပြီဟဲ့လား
တော့ဘယ်လိုပြောမှလဲကျွန်တော်လည်းသင်ချာတွက်တတ်ပါတယ်လေ
40နောက်35ညီညာချင်းချ
His units are not
စောလင်းအခြေအနေရဘယ်လိုလီရှောင်း
only one Riven player in Bensac on the rest of the lobby
လီရှောင်းလေကျွန်တော်မတွေ့
so you know I feel like with
အေးပြောပါ39ဆိုကြီးထက်ကောင်း
maybe a greedier play would have been better.
So tough for him. Jedusor, on the other hand, finds the Tamkins 2-star, so now the front line together with Morgana will give more time for the Saya to pop off. Sniper is the name of the game for him, so he really needs to pop off. Has the good side, has a good positioning, very far away from the main carry, and that will be so huge for the Legends. The damage can be a lot more.
We could theoretically see a double elimination here if Juanmia is not going to be able to take down Jedu's board. We do, however, have seen Jedu's board before, and it didn't.
How many reaction? 3, 2, 1.
Does it happen here? Sona can clutch out. The answer is no. Juanmia is going to be eliminated here. And I believe it's an 8th place. Changlong able to hang in there.
ဟိုဆိုနာကကောင်းတယ်ဆိုတာဘတ်နဲ့ကောင်းတယ်ဘတ်က damage ပြီးပြီးဆိုနာအစိတ်ကြီးအဲ့ဒါကောင်းနေ
ဘယ်လိုရအောင်ဘယ်လိုရအောင်လဲငါမေးပေါ့
He wasn't near the check, but still, now he's even further.
Yeah, that was unfortunate from Juanmia. I think Jedusor completely broke his ankle.
Long đi rồi để bị chèn. Rồi chứ
against the carry fight.
Bro, long na long so na bwe dai ma ti da. Ne ma tui pin ne.
Placements not going to happen here.
Long na long.
Going to sacrifice.
9 ဒီကောင်မှာ level 9မှာပတ်တူခဲ့
အားလုံးနဲ့ကျန်းလုံး
Goes to
How long
0
is Jan
and
on
Laxa, Lulu here finds the
How long is
secondary
Jan
tank,
on
if you will, here on the Maka. He really needed the
ကျွန်တော်ကျန်းတော့အစကလည်းယုံကြည်မရှိဘူးအခုတည်းသက်ရှင်နေအောင်အဲ့ဟောလို့
So he's just trying to be flexible here, create if you will.
ကိုတွေး
ဟုတ်တယ်ဗန်က ASO ကိုတကယ်ယုံကြည်မရှိရဟုတ်ကျွန်တော်ပြောတယ်ဘောပေါက်တယ်မလား ASO ရဲ့ game မဲ့ကိုကလီဇာထိုးอ่ะကွာလက်ကောင်မထိရင်သူ့ဘက်ကြီးကပိန်းနေကွာပြီးတော့ဗန်ကလည်းအရှိမကောင်နဲ့ထားလို့ရဟိုဘာလို့ game ဟို trade မဟုတ်
ဟိုပဲရတည်5 million river နဲ့ PDF predator ဘောင်းနဲ့လှုပ်ဆောင်နေ
a boogeyman as this is
the
second player he eliminated once more.
ဟုတ်လားဘလို့ထက်လာပဲရှုံးလိုက်ရလေဟာ
too late as all
Toss
of
it
them
again,
in
right?
7th place.
ဟုတ်ပါ
This feels like deja vu. I feel like I've seen this in game 1.
Oh yeah.
Juanmia going 8th.
တူလက်ပါလား
ဘာဘတ်တလာလို့ဖြစ်မှာကျွန်တော်မသိပြောတယ်
ဘတ်တူးရောပါ
Now can Soju make the top?
Bliss ကရအောင်စဉ်းစားတာ
You have a love-hate opinion on that, Lulu. I've heard you many times, makes on the
Oh,
Lulu
yeah.
mountain,
Damn, I did.
especially.
Well,
We can
it's
see it pop up,
actually
but it's difficult.
the Lulu medallion
It's the
that
medallion
I
one.
hate.
Yeah, okay.
Lulu Mountain, I think, is the more respectable
Okay.
choice. But
Oh,
the
now that
problem
Sura
with
got
Lulu
full
is
quad
just
beat.
if you don't
Sura
have
got
any
fire.
other player in this lobby that's playing something like
Okay.
too tanky, any of the 3-cost rerolls,
ကျေးဇူးဆိုရ
then you're
ကာ
having a
ကန်
really,
နဲ့
really hard
ကော်
time
ကီရ
getting
တော့
it together. And by the time
အေး
you
အစနားစောမဲ့လို့ပြီးတော့ခုနကောင်ပဲအမကားကြိတ်တာပြီးတော့လည်းအရှိအထင်မှာ on နဲ့ on တူရဲ့ဘန်က၄ကောင်နဲ့သဘောကျတယ်
pressure with legendaries into the pool. They just can't
River
contest
Matera,
it.
yeah.
We have to keep watching.
No, no,
here.
River
So
Matera.
is one life.
River
Changlong
Matera.
is one life as well. We can see how much that Cho'Gath has grown since
He's
we
been-
last.
ဒီလူစောနိုင်ပါတယ်
He's been.
What River Fire,
fed
sorry.
Riven Rub ပါ Riven ပါလာ
11,000 HP.
ကျန်တော့လေ
သူ
တူ
ပါ
For Tianlong, he knows
Never
he
even-
made
Character ပဲရော
some expression,
ကျွန်တော်တို့
knowing
ကျွန်
that
တော်
he
တို့
striker UV character ထုတ်ရမှာမသိ
ဟို
ဘူး
ဟာစတဲ့လူကို
Frank
ပြော
က
တာတချို့လူ
ပြောတာပြော Kraken ကကော်ကီမှာအဲ့လိုမဆိုစက်ကစက်တလားသူ့ရဲ့ ability က multiple hit ပြတယ် လေးလားငါးလားမသိတော့ရ
ဒါပေမဲ့အတက်ပြရတဲ့ပိန်းနေ
What is 80
80
stat
Step first ရော Step first ယူလို့နားရ AD တွေများလား AP တွေပြောတယ်
If I'm taking a 4th place here,
Strike ကောင်ကောင်း
သွေးတောင်းတစ်ထောင်လို့ပြောရ
I
နော်
have
အဲ့
no
ဟို
chances of
အဲ့
going
ရ
to level
ရ
9.
ပါတယ်ကြားရ
Fight, fight.
ကြီးတယ်ဒါဆိုယူရတော့ပြီဆိုယူရက်ကိုရှိုးရဆိုယူ reaction
A lot more, but the Lissandra just never came. And of course, he's
ကြည့်ရတာ
စိတ်
နှစ်လာမသိပါ
ပန်
ဘူး
တို item အေး Prototype ဘောကြီးကြတာဂျိုကတ်အတွက်ဆောက်ရန်ကောင်းတွေ့ရ infinite ကော
Crimea River နဲ့ Crimea River နဲ့ကြိုက်ပဲကြိုက်တယ်
ဒီမှာ cry နေ cry နေ Riven နဲ့
Crimea River ကိုတရားသုံးလုံးနဲ့
And in total, Cho'Gath is sitting at 11,000 HP.
Lulu base
ကဲ
Lulu
တော့လည်း
base
လက်ပြီးသားမသိ
About as much as
Extension
they
မှာ
would
ပါတယ်
ဂျီတူစောနဲ့တွေ့ပြီ
have if they were
အေးပြီးပြပြီလားမသိအဲ့လေ
Yeah, he's
He
eaten
beat
the
him,
entire roster of
Oh my
Stargazer
God.
multiple
Mila,
times
Mila,
over at
Mila.
this point. And
ဒီမပြတ်ဘူးမိလာ
he has the highest path out of
Mila.
all the boards here. Of course, the
Okay.
other player that
Hello?
really wants
Hello,
to
Live.
take this game down would
ဘယ်လို
be
တော့
ဒါ
ဒီ
ရ
တော့
ပစ်
ဖိုး
ရ
သွား
တာ
တယ်
ရုပ်တည်း
ဆိုယူတော့ဖိုးသွားတယ်ဆိုယူတော့ဖိုးသွား character ကောင်းကြီး
Jedu taking out Lisa here. Once
ဒီ
again,
တက်ဆို
front
rapid လိုက်ရ
line
တယ်
is
ဒီလောက်ဆိုရင်တော့
going
rapid
to
လိုက်ရတာ
with
ဒီ
the
တာ
side
ပြီ
take a good possibility, and Soju's out in 5th
ကိုဂျေ
place.
လူဆိုတော့တော်တော်ကောင်းလာပဲ
I
ချက်
think
မ
he's
ရ
happy,
ပါ
but he
ရှစ်
could have gotten more.
More importantly,
Pero Mila,
Lee
ne,
Sao
they are
is
post
now
here, please.
unable
Bro,
to
Jesus
reach
are draw going,
check,
now
and
wait,
we
they go
do
9
have a
please.
guaranteed player
ဟိုအဲ့
on
ချိုးက
check,
မနိုင်တော့
as
ချိုးက
Jedusor
ပုတ်
has
ရမ်းချင်
broken
ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကောင်က
ဟို
ပေါ်လာ
နောက်
ပေါက်
ဝဲ
တော့
ဆိုတာ
တယ်
နောက်တစ်ပွဲမှာတော့ချက်မ
sitting
ရ
into
ပါတယ်ဆို
the
တော့နောက်တစ်ပွဲ
top
နိုင်သွားတယ်
three.
တော့ချက်
He
မပြော
will
ပါဘူး
be on check
Spirit
after
really
this
am good at
game,
that,
and that
Boja.
means if he is able to win game
Bro,
number
now where
4,
do
the
you
game
want
right
it?
after
What do you
this,
want?
Balu,
will be
choka
taking
jiyo.
the crown,
Oh,
but of
Subhanu
course
Baba,
Bensek
sorry,
could
that's
be
not legal
joining
machine.
him up there, and right now it's a duo of 4
Bro,
trying
I
to
got
prohibit
body guy in
that
that
with the chunk gap,
ခက်ကြီးလိုက်ပါလားလို့မထူးတော့ဟုတ်လား
giant
ဂိုင်စာကာမပါ
and
ပြီးထဲလိုက်
across the
တော့
board,
ကာမ
and
ထဲလာပြီ
everybody
လား
else
ဂိုင်
is
စာ
just
ချင်း
thinking, how do we turn this thing down?
ဒါတော့ဆက်16ရဲ့ဟိုစားဆက်17ရဲ့ဒါဟိုလိုပြော moment နဲ့ပါသွားပြီဗျချိုးကကြည့်ရ
ကော
တော့
င်းကြီး heavy တော်တော်ကြီးရကောင်းကြီး
တီးရလေးလုံး
ဟိုကျွန်တော်တို့ပြိုင်ပွဲမှာဟိုဗလာလာဆော့တယ်မျိုးဟိုအဲ့ဗလာလာ
trying to do additional damage here, but
တကီ
then
ပြီး
Choga
ပွား
is
လာ
already
သူဆော့တယ်မျိုး
challenging the back line and trying to eat everyone.
ဖေးနာနေလက်စန်ဒရာလေးဟစ်သွားတယ်မသိစိတ်ကြီးလည်းညစ်ပါ
fight ပဲဟဲ့တော့ listen right yeah
Lisandro directly onto
Hello,
the Nami.
Mamadi.
One more cast is going to take the main damage.
Guy
to
Chen,
Lord
bro အဲ့
Down.
ကောင်ရဘယ်လိုတော့မှာတော့
This is really critical. I feel like
They
both
don't.
Jedusor and Silo of Bora want to prevent
ထား
a
တော့
second
ထားတော့
player
ဟိုရော
reaching
ပါတယ်
check.
အာမ
We
ရှိ
don't want the
အာ
double
မ
kill.
ရှိရောပါတယ်ဆို
1 minute
သူရေးစိမ့်လိုက်တယ်ကိုကြိုက်နေ
For the Choga, he just doesn't die.
The
When
beer
whenever
dance
he's
chọc
hitting
အောင်
a
ပါ
little on the lower side
Oh,
and
fuck.
their
Beer
burn
cam
from the
အောင်
other player disappears.
ဟို
he
သူ့
just
ပုံမှာ
keeps
အဲ့ချိုးကနေ
getting
လ
stronger,
က်ဆန်ဒရာ
so
ပဲ
it's like he
damage
gets
တွေကြာ
more
တယ်ကျွန်တော်
health
အဖြစ်
throughout time and not less.
ဟုတ်ကွာ
Absolutely phenomenal
Can I have
round
a-
here as we do get
Oh,
more
yeah,
predictions
brawler.
of
Tree
that
boy in
Shogat,
here.
but we do need to check in with Bensek and Jedu. So over we
ဒီမှာ
go.
လည်းလူလူပဲ
Okay.
Take a look at this
Back
board.
up.
We
Nunu
are
best
already
guy,
going
Vale.
to level 9.
နင်းနု base နဲ့
Jin
ဇာယာ
What is
base
Jedu
ပတ်
missing
ဇာယာ
here?
base
What
နဲ့
can he add to make
ပြဂျင်
those
ဘစ်
Jin
ပါ
base
ပါ
လည်း
လေ
ကြလို့ရ
အာဂျင်ဘစ်လို့ပြောရ
He ideally wants
အကုန်
something
base
like
တွေပဲဒီမှာ
Ross
ဒီ
to
ဆိုတယ်
go
တိုင်း
onto
တော့
this board. He has a
Jin
lot
hit,
of active
Jin.
traits.
hit.
I think Ross
ချင်း
would
blaze
strike
right
are the
ချင်းရ
two
ပြီ blaze right
obvious answers, and of course he wants to
Right,
swap
bonfire
out the
blaze right
Samura
here.
for the Jin.
blaze right
Yeah, normally also
Blitz,
if he finds
correct.
the Mordekaiser, he can get free
ဂျင်တူက
Right.
blaze right မတွေ့ဘူး
Jin
company.
သဘောကျတယ်
2. Okay.
okay
Yeah, also has the Ross and roll down. I wonder if he swaps out here. Some players
Eagle
actually
Oh.
ပြောတဲ့နိုင်နေရှိရ
ရှင်း
နော်
ပဲ
damage.
ပြောတာပြောတာသုံးယောက်လုံးပုံက
And for
ကျဲနေပြီ
Bensak,
ဒီပြောတယ်ဘန်ဆက်ကလည်း
once
ကျဲ
again, the
တယ်
Blitzcrank is
အကောင်လုံး
great
ကကျဲ
news
တယ်
here, trying to disposition something and
The
get the
draw-
Nami out. We see
Body,
his
I
Blitzcrank
call on my
always on the
strong.
same side for the Nami to try to make the pop off.
အဲ့တော့ Ross မထည့်တာနော်ကျလို့ဆိုတော့ Ross မထည့်ဘော
ပါ
က
ပါ
ထည့်
Ross ပါ Ross ပါ
ထည့်တာ
အဲ့ပေါ်
မထည့်တာဟိုစား
ထည့်တာ
ဘောကထည့်
ဘောက
တာ
ထည့်တာ Ross မထည့်ဘူး
Back there.
Ah,
Has
volume
done
yan.
quite a lot. Doesn't
Ah.
reach Zaya and
Ano,
the
masahol
Jin,
din ako
so
dyan, oh.
Jin
ပြော
will be
ပြောမ
able
လို့
to
ကျွန်တော်နေ
get
Ross နဲ့
all
မော်က
that
နာပို
damage
ကောင်းဝင်နေတာ
for
မော်ကနာ
ဘောကနာသူကပြီးတာလို့ရတယ်လေတော်
ချိုးကရခံပြီးကာမိုင်းရစုပ်လာလိုက်ရဆို
reach first as that Zaya and that
Yeah,
Jin
that's front line
do
kung
get
biyawan, naging
tied
long
Bensek
up.
ကမနိုင်ဘန်ဆက်ကဘယ်လိုမနိုင်
Jedu will win this matchup.
Bensekကဘယ်လိုမနိုင်တော့
And Bensek
ဘရိုရိုးတဲ့ I am a saver တဲ့ am I caught
longer, but what's there in the end is going to be
Good
worth
eye,
it.
Saver. သဘောကျတယ်
Definitely prefers the long Kong. More time for his Cho'Gath to chomp up. And I was
Let's
waiting
bring it
to
away.
see if he could finally
ဒါမှမဟုတ်
find,
သူ
get the
ဒီလိုလေးလဲ
six-star
လဲလို့
in.
ရတယ်
It's still a
အဲ
lot of
Ross
damage
တူရ
for
ပါ
his
မော်ကနာတူ
backline.
ရောင်
I
ဆိုင်
think
Blaze
the
Red တူနေဆောက်လာ
problem for him is
အဲ့ဒါ
that
လေးလည်းတစ်
he
မျိုး
just
လေးပဲ
doesn't have the damage
Boom, boom.
amp necessarily. There are situations where I think
Kama tu wala.
Jedusor's
Hey, go,
3
tu
snipers could potentially take
အော်တူအောင်
အေးသူသူချိုကလာဝီရောဖုန်းနေချီတော့ကြီးနေ
ခြေထောက်ကပြဖြောင်းနေ
directly above the snipers. I would say
လာဝီ
to
ရော
ခေါင်းမှာခေါင်းမှာကြောက်လုံးနေ
prevent
ပြီး
most of their damage increased by range.
ကြောက်ကြတယ်
ပမာဝါလို့ပြောဟုတ်တယ်ပမာ
Very
How
close
much
to an Uno.
bigger can it
My
get?
God.
Is the question. It's already bigger than our screen.
တက်တယ်လို့ပို့တာ
as
သိ
this
ကြည့်
Cho'Gath
ဒီ
chomps
ဒီရောင်းရှုံး
through
နေကြတယ်
Jedu's board one more
ဒါပေမဲ့ bro,
time. A
ဘာ
little
လို့
bit
အဲ့
of
တေ
healing
စပုတ်ပြီးပြ
ပြီး
ပြီး
တော့
ဖန်ဆက်ပုံပဲ
together with the
Ascension
ascension
ကနေ
on
ပြီးပဲ
those
game changing တွေဖြစ်တော့
sides,
မှာ
but
ဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့တော့ဇာယာရဲ့တန်ပင်းနဲ့ Listen သေးသွားရင်တော့တစ်ခုဖြစ်သွားလိမ့်မယ်ငိုတော့ငိုပြီး
ဒီစန်ဒရာလည်းခွဲပြတာပဲ
Listen ရှော့ပါပြီတို့နေရာမှာပါ
Kill
ရ
everyone off and
Okay,
just
one
try to
v
find
Yeah,
the
but-
good
Yeah, but-
possibilities here. He's just
No,
too strong.
kaya
You see
meron,
the
meron,
light
meron,
bulb
meron,
being
meron.
burst now.
ဘရို တို့ VTuber တွေပါပြန်ပြီဗျာဘယ်လိုလုပ်ကြပါ
has been taken out. Great. This
ပိ
for
တ်လိုက်ရော
Benza
တီး
because
လိုက်ရော
he was in a win streak and now
ဝင်ကြည့်လိုက်ရပါ
the
လိမ့်မယ်
other player that you mentioned makes
TV လိုက်တယ်
needs a top one and he
အဲ့ချင်းတို့ချင်းတို့ဒါကြောင့်အောင်ဆောင်
the Cho'Gath will only be stronger and
Okay.
stronger, so this is not the end of the road for any of the players.
သဘောကျတယ်
ဟာ bro pro player တယောက်ပါတယ်တွေးပြီး tradition cup player tradition cup player တယောက်ပါ
listen တော့ကြည့်ပြီးလိုက်တယ် okay
online right
tradition cup player တယောက်ပါကျွန်တော်ခုတ်ပြီးတယ်
tradition cup မဟုတ်လေကွာ TPC player
he can definitely stall in the
ဟော tradition cup player တွေမှာ
that
ကြီးတယ်
has been the issue in these two fights.
tradition cup အဲ့လေက TPC လေးဟုတ် TPC လေးရ
And it's on the
Dibe.
same side here as Dynamic, so
Tu
now
saca
Dibe
de-
no lo sacamos ya.
indexing on the Cho'Gath
Na
with
mea ba.
full damage and burst. So it will be very important for Cho'Gath to access the
Dibe ba,
backline
go
if he
train
wants
die.
to win and not man
Time
down
only
himself
ကျွန်တော်တို့လုပ်ပြီ
in the front. If not,
EME
then we will
ရ
have a
ပြီး
clear
တော့
way
အိတ်ပဲကျွန်
for
တော်
chunking it out in the later stages of the game. There's the Ascension,
Ma
but
pero
is it
die,
enough
yeah,
to give enough damage here?
I mean, that Cho'Gath is just tanking everything.
ဒီပဲစကောက်နေတာ
The
ရှယ်စကောက်နေ
nine
တယ်
stuck onto it is probably the best thing that could happen to Steelo of Bora here, which is also why I don't think we moved.
စကောက်
He
တော့
is
ဒီပဲ
able to
master
just
bro ဒီပဲ
pile up
master
the entire damage from Bensak
Riven 3
as
ခိုးချနေ
Esports
လို့
finishes out the rest of his
Yep.
board, right? So really heads
Challenger.
making sure that
Bro Challenger ကြီး bro ကျွန်တော်
he's working on his own win
Yeah, yeah, Challenger ပါကြည့်မယ်ဒီက
ပြန်ရမှာဘာမှမဟုတ်ချင်တယ်တော်လာ
တော့ဆိုရင်Challenger
တိတ်ပြီးသုံးကဲနေတယ်
ဘာမှမကြည့်နိုင်ပါဟွိုင်မေးတယ်ဘယ်လိုတရုတ်ပြည်အေး Riven 3 white
စောက်သိပ်ပဲမရှိရခွေးကဲ
Oh my god ဘယ်ထွက်လာတော့ဝေးဝေး
We are not going to be ratting this one out. We will buy it as
တဘောကြ
စောနာပဲ Riven 3အောင်6အောင်ပဲရှိရ
Now
လေ
the bad thing about this is that's a ribbon with one item, one
That's not
emblem. We also get the
Challenge.
Nami back in there. I
Korea
think we have
challenge.
to sell to actually get the items off.
Ah,
But
man.
that is itemized, and it will be
Oh,
Bensack
man.
slicing
Bensack
through
yeah,
this
mà cái này
board
mà.
by the
Chịu
power
giống như hầu là
of
gì
the
à?
3-star 4-5.
ခွေးကဲ
ဒီလိုရုပ်ကြီးอ่ะ Riven ပြတ်ထွက်လာတယ်
ပြတ်သွားပြန်ပြီ
bro
တော့
lobby
တပါးပြချက်ချက်တော့ရအောင်အေးစေးပါ
ထွက်ရပါတော့ဒီမှာပါနေတဲ့ကိစ္စတော့မရှိ
အဲ့ပြော Russell လည်း Bench လည်းချက်ရသွားပြီပထမဆိုရှစ်မှတ်
It's very difficult to beat
အဲ့လို
those
ပြန်ဆက်ရအောင်
အော်ရုပ်တရက်ကြီးချက်ရနှစ်ယောက်ကြီးပေါ်လာရုပ်တရက်ကျေတော့စောပဲရမယ်ထင်ရတယ်
ဟုတ်တယ်ဘန်ဆက်ကအဲ့လိုကောက်လုပ်လိုက်တာ
ဘန်ဆက်ကစကန်ဟောချက်
bro အဲ့ Riven 3အဲ့လိုမြန်မာလိုတက်လာတယ်အဓိပ္ပာယ်မရှိ
You have to miss position for that to happen. There's already tanks in the front. You have a good time to protect her. And for sure,
အဲ့တော့ပဲလေကိုရီကို level 1 rule နဲ့ level 3မှာ rule နဲ့
right now, both
ဟော
EMA
shot တော့ဘူးပဲ
players
မှာ
in
၄
check.
ကောင်ပါလာ
At least,
Hello.
okay, let's not jinx. He's still not. He needs to
I
win
was
the first
gonna
one.
say, please.
And
ကဲဆက်တဲ့လို့
the
ပူတာ
Cho'Gath is getting
Riven
bigger and
3
bigger. I
နိုင်
have
မ
to
လား
say, he's already almost full string.
စတယ်လို့စကန်ရမယ်တင်ကြီးရ
We'll have
ကျေ
to
တော့စော
see
နှစ်ခါ
how
ပြည့်
this
ပြတော့ဘန်ဆက်က
matchup goes. I believe
Hello,
it is
Amionia.
Steelo against Jedusaur, so Bensak is just getting the ghost copy here.
ရတာတော့အမှန်လေး
Still
နိုင်
နေ
has
ရာ
a
ပါ
chance
မှန်အောင်
to
ဒီတစ်ခါ
take down Jedu.
နေရာမှန်မှသူကအချိန်မှာ
Met though,
ဒါမဲ့
Jedu
ဟို
did
ဟာ
win that
ဒု
one.
ဘက်ကပတ်လိုက်နိုင်နေတော့ဟို
Yeah,
ဖြစ်
the
တယ်
position
This
this
got
time is
cool,
not
yeah.
good for Jedusaur. He really wanted to be
So
on the
now,
opposite
I mean,
side of the
like,
Cho'Gath
the
to get
boat
more value
man.
out of the sniper.
လေဆန်တော့
So
ကြည့်ရ
let's
တဲ့
see if
တိုင်း
this is just
ချိုးကောက်
good
ကြီး
enough for him. Cho'Gath still maintaining good health.
အမေချိုးကတော့ကြည့်တော့ damage ပဲတက်တာမဟုတ်လား
Just popping off the
damage ဟုတ်တယ်
protector
သူ
now.
ကြိုက်တဲ့ damage အရင်များ
When the Jin is doing so much damage, there's a chance that
No,
the
the AP
next
skill
cast
isများပါ
will
ဘူး
take down
များတယ်
this Lissandra.
Yeah,
From the back.
No, doesn't have
ဒီစမ်းတော့ကြောက်
it.
ရေးစီများရှင်းမသိ
သူကကြီးရ bro
And we will still have a steal.
Cho'Gath
of
boat.
EU the best
is going up against Bensak. What can he actually find?
Even
to
pro
get
player
rid
can
of
hold
that
every
ribbon? I feel like he
တဘောချာ
needs better crowd control to kind of deal with it.
မဟုတ်ကျွန်တော်သိအဲ့အလုံးတွေဘယ်လောက်ရှိနေပြီအဲ့အလုံးတွေအရင်များနေပြီတက်တောင်းလောက်ရှိတယ်
Cho'Gath လည်းကြီးတယ်
Yeah. Problem
ဒီ
is,
အများကြီးဆို
three Blitzcranks are sitting on
Yeah,
the board
Riven
of
နိုင်မလား
Bensak
Riven 3
already,
ဆိုတာ
as
ကို
he
ချိုး
is,
က
of
ကြီး
course, playing
ဖြစ်နိုင်ပါမလား
around that space
သိရ
boost, so he
Step
is
is right hand,
trying to
Cho'Gath တဘော
deny
ချာ
that, of course, and if he's smart enough to know
ပွဲရဝင်လာ
that
လို့
Riven is his out and
Hello?
lobby that looks
မင်းဝေးပတ်စားပြီလား
ကျောင်းနေပြီ
ပွဲစားပြီ
he's going to be on top of
အဲ့
that,
ဒါ
but
ကျွန်တော်
let's
နောက်တစ်
see
စကောင်းနဲ့
if
စောနေရှိ
Steelo of Bora has
ကျွန်တော်
a
နေဝိုင်း
chance
ကြည့်ပေးပါမယ်
to maybe
Challenger နှစ်ယောက်နှလုံးရန်နဲ့ဆက်
get
တက်
an upgrade onto the HP of Cho-Chong.
User တစ်ထောင်သိ
right now
ပြောအဲ့ဒါပါလေ
unfortunately,
beginner account နံပါတ်
with
ဟောမသိဘူးဒါပေမဲ့တိတာတစ်ခုကတော့
health. That is
ဒီကောင်
such a
Challenger
giant HP bar.
တီးလိုက်
ကိုရီးယားပဲ
Riven 3
ကိုရီးယားပဲတယောက်ပါ
ကိုရီးယားပဲပင်နေရပဲရာအဲ့ကောင်လေးဂယူးဆိုင်စရာမလို
ပြင်နေရပြင်နေရ
ကိုရီးယားလိုရေးရဖြစ်တယ်နည်းနည်းပေါ်တယ်
She can just kill you with her AoE. Her third cast is
ကဲကဲ
travel
ချပြီချပြီ
two
မ
extra
မောင်းတူ
hexes into the
နိုင်ပါလား
backline. So I like
Cho'Gath
what he's doing right
3
here. He's
စတာ
trying to center the
အာ
Cho'Gath,
Riven
making
3
sure
စတာ
that there are
Cho'Gath
no
က
laps,
heavy ပဲ
possibly
Riven
happening. But
ဒီ
Riven
Cho'Gath
is still
ကို
on the
ခုတ်
right
နိုင်ပါ
side.
လား
There's a very good chance that he
Riven
drops
ပတ်လာ
aggro
တယ်
and just
Cho'Gath
flies directly
ကြိုက်
to
တယ်
his back.
Cho'Gath ရှင်နေအောင်မယ် Cho'Gath အော်
Riven
ဒီ
3
Cho'Gath
တ
တ
ယ်
ယ်ပါ
Absolutely
မရတော့မရ
decimated.
တော့ Riven 3
Steelo
ရ
of Bora
ပြီ
still has
Cho'Gath
enough
လာ
HP, but I'm not sure
But
there will be an
ဆက်တယ်လို့
answer
ပူ
to
တာ
this.
I mean, he was so healthy right now in 13, so it should be the final fight. He needs to find something, not much gold to navigate.
Yeah,
Right, find the
yeah,
Sona
double
2
strike
star.
Cho'Gathကြီး
The modifier from the Sona should
အပြောချိုးကကြီးကြီးလိုက်ပါလားဒီချိန်ကြမှာလူကြီးလေးတီးကောင်ဟုတ်လား
positioning shift, maybe
ချက်လူကြီး
ပြောတစ်ချက်ကြိုက်သွားတာ
see it happen,
လူ
but
ကြီး
of
လည်းတည်
course,
ရော
we we have to try something.
ဟုတ်တယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကြည့်မှာ bro အကြီးရွယ်ကြီးရော
လေမထူးတော့တေမထူးလေမထူးပဲဟုတ်တယ်လား
မောထဲတာလှနော်ပုံမှန်
refrain ရတစ်ချက်ကိုက်လိုက်တေးတေးများတေးပါမလားပေါ့
that much to get to my Lissandro last time. Let's see what happens if I swap to the other side. 9 out of 10 situations, I still feel like that Riven just comes charging through. She didn't really take any damage last time as well. Of course, the groove emblem healing up repeatedly after each and every cast right here. I feel like we might be heading into a situation never being so close to a championship yet in a final.
Wait
That Riven is under attack, but
Riven
else
Riven
remains on the board besides this chokeout, and he will surely fall. Bensek guaranteeing his checkpoint.
ကိုစောနေထားတော့တဲ့ song အငယ်လားဟုတ်ပါ
points as well on
ဟုတ်တယ်ဆိုတော့ Brian တူဒီ auto ရ
in case you're wondering what he's doing, he does rap on his stream quite a lot.
လူရတစ်ဆယ်စီလာကျွန်တော်တစ်ဆယ်စီလာ
fast. It's very, very impressive to watch. It's also very impressive to hear, and I believe he was just rapping along to something probably there as he does take his final fight as a bonus bow. Just Riven 3 taking it all.
A beautiful game overall. Maintaining flexibility. In the start, he got the emblem, so we knew he was going for the space group, using the meeple just to get additional value, and then finding the out.
Yeah, Solid Wine, so yeah,
the other Riven player was
shit man
မရှိရမှာ contract ကြီးတာဒါယူ
he was pinned, so he really needed to spend.
ဝိစားမဆိုင်
ဆောင်းလိုက်တာပါလေ
was just popping out,
ပိုက်ဆွဲလိုက်
dying.
ရှော
He managed to find the
Fall-
spot and the
fall-
angle.
ကြာရမရှိရမှာပဲကောက်
Thought
ချာ
he
ရ
was going to go level 10. He actually hold on to all of his cash, did it in one single roll down, didn't have to sell any of his
ကဘာတော့ကြာမှာဒီ
any
နေ
of
ရာနေ
his, for it. And I want to commend him for saving some bars for that
Okay.
situation. Just dropping it into chat like that. It has to feel incredible for EMEA to finally be this
Sounds
close.
like
It's been set
1500
three
200
since we've had that championship.
တဘောချာ
It has been
Feel right, yeah.
specifically
Well, he was on it.
Tactician's crown.
No?
There has been so much doubting on
there you
our
go.
players saying
Shit.
we're sending the weakest squad ever to the global stage, and I feel like the two of our players making it here and making it to check. I think we're sending a message, but EMEA is not done. 21 points for Jed.
ဟုတ်တယ်
20
EMB
points
နှစ်ယော
for
က်ကချက်မိ
Benzak.
မှာ
Both of our
ဟော
players
hello
now on check. Let's remind
hello
everybody
Andy
on
ဖန်ဆက်ကချမ်းမဲ့ကိုစကန်ဝါတလား Riven 3တဲ့စိ
On
တ်တွေလည်းညက်
the
ပါ
moment a player gets to 20 points and we have these two players, Benzak and Jedusor, they need a first place.
That's fine,
If
that's
they
Game 4 ကလည်း
manage to
ပြီး
get
သွား
a
မလား
first place,
Game 4 မှာပြီး
then
နိုင်ကြရ
everyone else
Nova Fast 9. where you are on big
ဟောကျွန်တော်တို့
and
ပွဲတွေများကြည့်ခဲ့ဗျာပွဲတွေကြည့်တဲ့မှာပရိုပလီယာတရားမှမရှိရမှာမရဘူးဆောလင်းကမရှိရမှာရပါတယ်တခုတော့မှားတယ်
All right, so some
ဒီကျွန်တော်ပေးတဲ့ဟာလည်းဒီပိန်းနေရော contract ကြီးတာတွေ
အဲ့
ပဲ
ဒါပြောတာဟာလို့ပိန်းနေ
ဆော့လိုက်ပေါ့
like a hero augment.
Oh, giant one.
Jax, you know, Jax.
ဘာပြောလဲက contract ကြီးနဲ့တော့ဘူးရ
Quite
မှာ
on brand, saying he's
Sorry.
addicted to that augment. He just
Sorry.
can't help himself. He
Contract
loves
guy.
clicking it. I feel like
ကောင်းကြီးပဲ
လက်ထက်မှာလည်း BT ရှိနေမှာ contract ကြီးလာမဆော့ချင်ဘူး
ကျွန်တော်ပြောပြသေးတယ်အဲ့ user တောင်းတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အကောင့်တွေလေအဲ့ဒါတွေကချက်ချင်းလက်ငင်းဘရိုအစ်စ်လုပ်ပေးတဲ့အကောင့်တွေ
maybe the last time in this
Bro,
set.
bro,
as
bro,
there is
I
a
shall bow
chance
through
that
that
it
many a
could
buy
all
more than one.
end
Yeah,
after
so
a once more historic 4-game run. Not many of the
ပါတယ်နော် bro
champions
ရှောက်
have
ပေါင်း
been
တရုတ်က
able
ခဏလေးခဏ
to
လေး
get through it
This
in
off
the
the
least
ပါတယ်နော်
games possible.
ပါတယ်နော်ရှောက်ပေါင်းဆိုတာ
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the players are
မ
ready.
စောလင်းက
They are here for a
လက်ရှိ
reason.
လက်ရှိ
They have been
ပ
the
ရို
best
နဲ့တွေ့နေတာ
throughout
မသိ
the competition.
မရှိ
ဖိုင်
မရှိ
ပေါ့
မရှိကို
They
ချင်း
have to pray to
ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒီ
one
မဲ့
of
နဲ့
these
တွေ့
nine
ဘူးလေ
gods for their
ဟိုကျွန်တော်
offense
ပလေယာစာရေးမှာ
to
တွားပြီးတော့
go
ရှာလိုက်
into
မရှိ
a
ပါ
first play.
မရှိဘူး
စောလင်းစိုက်ဝါတက်ထဲတယ်
You have to go for the space god
မမမ
to find a
ဟိုနမဲ
possibility.
user
And
အကောက်
the
တွေက
idol
လည်း
to
အဲ့
get
ဒါ
the
တွေက
first place.
You
I
have
did
to
look with
think
that, but
ahead
got it,
so
yeah.
hard, just as Benzak is doing in our backgrounds right here. I want to go over the
I mean, easy.
compositions
Come
that
on.
these two players
Down in
have
I'm saying
actually
go
won,
so yeah, so
in day one and day two.
Yes,
And
please.
for Benzak, it's actually that Lulu variation that you do not like. He actually won 2
ကျွန်တော်
games.
မေးရှာမှာပြီးတော့ဒီကော
Okay, yes,
တက်လိုက်တယ်ဒီလိုယူ
Benzak has permission.
Come on.
အာ
ဒီတော့
Yesterday, I
ဒီကလော
apologize,
တော့မ
but
ဆို
he
ပါဘူး
has
နာမီ
permission.
He did
Yeah,
win
mate.
2
နာမီဆော့ကြအောင်
ဟုတ်
ဗျာ
ဟုတ်ငါဆိုလိုကအဲ့မေးရှာမှာ backline item တွေပဲ
That
အ
is
များကြီး
one
ရှိ
of
တယ်
those
ဆော့
off
ကော
ramps if you are
တကယ်
in an
သူ့ရဲ့အ
AP
ထွေးရ
kind of congested situation where if there's a Varus, very likely he could go for that line. I think the other options that we have seen from Jedusor recently has been that Kindred Nova line, where you get a Nova emblem like
Tanga Boga,
Song was talking about, and you
Tanga
play
Boga.
around the Fiora in the late game.
ကောင်းကွန်တက်တယ်
Achieve
ဖိုင်
it
က
on
တော့
level 8, very good on level 9.
Also, the Jax you mentioned.
ဒီကင်းမဲဆော့လိုက်မယ်
They
မေးရှာ
have
မှာ
got
လည်း
this
တိုက်တော့လိုက်ပါ
tactician crown,
ဒီကင်းရဒီမှာ
with a Jax hero armament reaching for the
ပြောမ
stars
ထဲနဲ့
and
ပါ
got a
ဟို
first
အကာလီ
place.
နဲ့ဆော့
And we see many of the players looking for
ဒါမဲ့လည်းသူနဲ့ content ကိုထားကိုကီပဲဆော့လိုက်တာကောင်း
You need to have good tempo and everything has to go
ကော်ကီလည်းကောင်းမယ်ကော်ကီမှာလည်းမေးရှာမှာ value ရ
One more look across our final lobby. All of these players having their own game plans in front of them. For Soju, for Lisao, for
Oh, that-
Soju,
may not have been
it's
true.
about
Okay.
extending this tournament.
Don't come, you
getting
could
to
be
check themselves. They need, of course, different
Penny,
results. Soju needing a top 2.
ကျွန်တော်စိတ်ထဲမှာလေ
and,
ဒီပွဲမှာ
other
game ပြီးသွားလို့
players
စိတ်ထဲမှာ
also
တွေးနေရသေးတယ်အဲ့
needing
ဘန်းဆက်မော်ရင်
results
ကျေးဇူး
to
နိုင်
get
ပါတယ်
to 20, but we do see
That's not legal,
our
she's
heroes come on in, and it is going to be
နိုင်သွားလောက်ပြီ
and
Kiri Zone
there is
e Panza
no
ne avere
Rebellion
un naiwai.
soul, but with Thresh, there's always the possibility
အဲ့ပြောလေ
of
ပွဲပြီးနိုင်ကြီးက 1x4
Rush
ကြီး
is one of those
Chelsea.
champion boons that
How
if
is it?
you have enough
Ain't that going
tempo,
on,
you
bro?
can continuously
Wow.
power up throughout the
The
game. The Thresh boon
ပွဲ
is
စားတယ်
incredibly powerful.
ဘောတခါ
If
မှာ
you
ပို့
get
သေးတယ်
past 6 rounds, then it's typically stronger
ပြီး
than
တော့
some
ဟွာ
of
မီ
the
တို့ပါလို့ဆိုပြ
other
လုံးဝဝင်တော့
potential
လို့ဆိုပါဗျာ
options
ဒါ
right
ပေမဲ့
here. So
သူကရှင်းနေထွက်
I
တာ
think
အဲ့
there is
ဒါ
also
ဖိကျဲ
a,
နေတာ
you know, outside of the
Hey, buddy,
emblem
yeah.
or the, you know, Fast 9 econ game, there might be a tempo game plan.
ကိုထက်ကီတာဆော့လိုက်နေတယ်
contract
ပိုက်တူ
တွေအပြော
can be possible. We see
by
it
doing
throughout
it. Contract
regionals,
game as well,
people, players trying to tempo it out, as you mentioned, Clement, and of course the additional
အဲ့လက်ကောကီပါရတယ်
resources.
ပါ
It
ရ
could be random, it could be not helpful, but it
ဗ
could
ဒီ
be the value of
reunion
the things that you're getting
ကော်
is
ကီ
strong enough.
ပိုက်တူ
we're seeing
သ
those
ဘောကျတယ်
component
ဆိုတော့
Gragas too.
mentioned
Well,
there.
Gragas too.
I know
I done
ဒါ
it,
က
but
သဘောကျတယ်ဘေးကဘေးကနေခူးလာတယ်မသိဘူး
Before we get there,
Back it,
we
back
do
it.
want to
Allows
quickly mention the Stargazer. It's
Sorry,
going to
sorry.
be the fountain here.
အဖက်
So that
ဒီ
ကောင်းကြီး
ပြိုင်ပွဲစောနေ
not
တူတယ်ပြိုင်
necessary
ပွဲစောနေတူ
game.
ဟိုပါရပါအဖမတူတူတော့ဟိုကောင်မှာဆွဲချအောင်
Well,
Be mad that I don't like it.
maybe our players are going to be able to find as Augments are wide open with this portal. It could be anything.
အဖက်လို့မရဘူးပြောရမှာ violation again ဆိုပြီးပါတယ် rule violation မှာပါတယ်
segment that we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, but you don't know. Hey, doesn't matter.
8-Trox, you know,
ယူတယ်
this
အရှုံးဆောင်ပါ
is a
အရှုံးဆောင်
competition
ဟိုပဲ
that really
ဟုတ်ပြီ
originated in CN, started to get some more
Yeah, yeah.
traction. If you have these 3 copies here, Benzak is thinking about it, and I feel like this is the
ပြောလို့
toughest
ရတယ်
of Benzak. He's
ခက်
not
တိတိချင်းစီ
typically
လို
a
ပြေးစော်
first
လိုက်
place
Right, like
So-
player. It's much more about re-rollings and top 4s. So
bro
he
ban
does
ဆက်ရ
have
နိုင်တာ
that
ဆို
extra
ဘန်ဆက်က
switch,
ရနိုင်
doesn't
ရှိ
know which
ဒီ
comps
ဘွဲ
to
ကူ
actually
သူ
target.
ကဲနိုင်လို့ရှိ
He
ရင်
just did it
သူက
in
နိုင်
that
သွားပြီ
previous game. He
နိုင်
needed
သွားပြီ
a
တော့
first
ချက်မြင်ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
first.
အဲ့တော့ချက်မိမှာ point ပြေးသွားပြီဘန်စနဲ့တူဂျေယူဆော့လည်း point ပြေးသွားပြီဆိုတော့
ကောလုံးကော်ကြီးရတာကြာ
ဂိုက်ကြီး TFT Academy မီတာ TFT ကပေါ့ဆိုတော့ TFT Academy နဲ့မီတာ TFT ကမတူဗျာမီတာ TFT နဲ့ TFT Academy ကကျတော့ကုန်းနေပြောပြရတယ် bro ကုန်းနေပြောပြရတယ် bro tire list တွေပြထားတယ် item tire list ပါတယ် artifact tire list ပါတယ် tire list တွေအများကြီးပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ तू ကမတူပုံစံချင်းမတူမီတာ TFT ကကျတော့ bro stat တွေပြရတယ်तू ကလည်းကုန်းပြရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့သူပြရဲ့ကုန်းအောင် bro ခိုင်းမှာပါ TFT Academy မှာ bro
နာမည်ပဲဆော့လိုက်ကောင်းလား
state 2 3 4 5ဘာတော့မလို့ကုန်းပါ
ကျွန်တော် econ တော့တော်ကောင်းတယ်နော်
ဆိုတော့နှစ်ခုလုံးသုံးတယ်ကျွန်တော်ကတော့နှစ်ခုလုံးသုံးဟုတ်တယ်နှစ်ခုလုံးမတူ
one of the best finds that you could potentially ask
နာမည်ပဲဆော့လိုက်ကောင်းလား
line ပြောင်းနေမင်းမရှိ
as his early item things lining up quite well for him gets an extra boat for his kindred items
ပို့တူကြည့်တာအောင်အပလန်ရအပလန်နေရမယ်တဲ့မင်းချင်း
also with a great find
နာမည်ဆော့ရင်ဘယ်ကောင်ထုတ်ပြီးဘယ်ကောင်ထည့်တာ
having front line finds the right side to start so he should be able to maintain tempo it will be important which of the two maintain the restart is it one me is it Bensac these are the strongest
တော့ကြောက်ရမယ်တဲ့
Keep in mind, we do have Thresh in this lobby. There
အဘယ်ရူတောင်ဟိုဒီရအဘယ်ရူတောင်ပို့
separated ဘုရားကျွန်တော်မကြိုက်
အဘယ်ရူတောင်ပို့ကောင်းတယ်ဗျာဒါတေးကြတယ်
စပရင်းကြောင့်မင်းဘာဆော့မလဲပေါ်လာတလား
ပေါ်လာတယ်မင်းပြတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တခြားတွေပေါ်လာ
ထားပါအဘယ်ရူ
ညာ
တောင်
ဆုံးနဲ့ကြိုက်တယ်
Have in mind as we do hop across our lobby and see what everybody else
ကွန်ဆာကိုပနီယူပြီးတော့ Lissandra 3နဲ့ဆော့ပါဒါမှချိုးက3နဲ့လည်းတက်စား6ကောင်
We can see that there is an anima
Line ball
as well as Bastion and Meeple. A little bit of an awkward combination.
ဒါဒီမှာတော့အခုနာပြီးတော့နာရတော့
Jedusor did get
Yeah, but hit by
what we just saw from him is a very strong option as well. Forged in strength is one of the highest value prismatic augments you could get. Typically a prismatic only gives you 2 upside. You are getting 3 artifacts just off of that. But it is a low health option.
ညာကောင်ဆိုဘယ်ကောင်ထုတ်တော့
You know, so many attack rounds.
ခုနပုတ်ပဲလေဟုတ်တယ်ဟောနုနုနေရာမှာဟိုကထည့်နေဆက်ထည့်
Lala going for the artifact possible route. He's lucky with those though.
And he did it. I mean, he opens almost fully.
Pro နုနုအကေထည့်ခဲ့လို့ရှင်သူကစမေဂိုင်းကောက်ထည့်ရသေးတယ်
There's people with 3 stars. There's people going for full tempo. I saw you also.
အဲ့ဒါကမထည့်အောင်
Fifth goblet.
ဒီ
So
ကေမထည့်
I'll play slow. I'll try to
Come on,
ramp
let's
up
have a
late
bow.
into the stages again when I
You
get
do
my
that.
start.
ကျွန်တော်ဆိုတော့
You mentioned it. I'm also thinking of Tidal. Tidal was also one of the
မတူ
players
အမလန်ပါရသူတို့ဘာလို့တင်နေသေးလဲကျွန်တော်ကအမလန်
played
မရှိ
a similar game. He was waiting for
ကြည်ရရ
everybody
ခဏ
else
တင်
to
တာလား
pick
တိတ်ပြီးအကောင်
their
စလန်းနေ
lines
အကေမင်းမ
to
အော့
then
တက်လာ
decide
ဒီရ
what
နဲ့
he wants to do,
စပိတ်က
which
လို့
is
လို့
play
ရတယ်
something completely different. We are getting info on
အိတ်တော့တဲ့ဗန်
the
ကြတယ်ဗာ
minute
နေရရွက်လို့
and,
ကျန်းလောင်က
that's
လက်
a
သွား
very
လာပြီ
interesting
ကျန်းလောင်လည်း
one.
မိုင်းတဲ့တောင်း
Can
ထဲမှာပါလာပြီ
and Nar.
That's the
Oh, yeah,
easiest
Chelsea.
adventure.
တွေ့သေးပါဒီဘက်ကမတွေ့သေးဘူးကန်ကောင်းတာခရီးပါဆိုပြီး
Straightforward Milo reroll game.
ဆောင်းနေစရလာပေးပြီးတော့ရမှာထိုင်ကြည့်
Yeah, I just say it.
Yeah, we like to play with you.
အားပြကျွန်တော်သာပတ်ပါအဘယ်ရူတောင်လည်းကျန်
Important fight right
Huh?
here.
အခုဆော့တာဗာတစ်ခါမြောက်3ခါမြောက်4ခါမြောက်
He has 6 units on his
နှစ်ခါမြောက်
Any break
မနေ့ကမဆော့လိုက်ရ
မနေ့ကနှစ်ပွဲမှာ
Break it.
and it looks like he
break မပါပါ
knows
ဘူးမပါပါ
he
မ
has
ပါ
been
ပါ
dealt a bad hand in this fight RNG.
တပွဲတော့ဖူရလို့ဒီနောက်ပွဲဆက်ဆော့လိုက်
ဂိမ်း1မှာထွက်တာနဲ့ဂိမ်း2တော့ထွက်တာတစ်ပွဲလीမဟုတ်လားဒါတတိ
ဟုတ်
ယ
တယ်
နေ့
နှစ်ပွဲအခု3ပွဲမြောက်ပေါ့
အခု3ပွဲမြောက်ပေါ့
Is Recombab going to be in the pool?
မခရီးတော့ပဲကောင်းတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ခရီးတယ်ကျွန်တော်ရှုံးပါပဲရှုံးတယ်လို့ခရီးရပို့ပါ
To see
သွေးစိရပို့ပါ
တော့ကြတယ်
စဉ်းစား
ပြီးတော့ငါလည်းမသိတော့
keep you updated on what exactly happens.
I feel like there's a lot of
Riva?
Destructor companions here just because they
ရိဗန်လာရာမတ်ရာမတ်ကိုကောင်း
damage item မလူချင်ဘူးလား
game.
ငါမျိုးဆိုရင် FP ကနေလွဲကောင်တိုင်
I
နေပတ်
wanna
ကောင်
try that myself, but
front
unfortunately
line
for
front line ကိစ္စမရှိ
one
သေးလို့
player,
ဆိုမချမှာရှိတယ်
Bensac
မင်းက
not
အဲ့
gonna
front line အ
get
လုံး
it
လောက်
here.
ရှိသွားတယ်
ဒီကဘယ်လိုဖြစ်300ကတ်ချောက်လို့ပါ
Yeah, they will get a random boom, and of course,
Seven and Bushi in a
you
okay,
can
yeah.
here, you can get any value, you can get rerolls, you can get items, you can get stats, and of
You
course,
can
what's
get
most
everything.
important is the goal right now to get to your threshold,
ကော်ကီလေးပဲ
get
ပြန်ဆောက်လိုက်
economy,
ကြမလား
and try to then ramp it out in the later game.
နစ်နှစ်ကောင်
အဲ့ဒါကိုကြီးကိုပို့ဆော့တာပို့
အပရိုတောင်းနဲ့ fine တွေဘာမှဖြစ်သေးဘူးအရင်ကိုမှမဖြစ်
One
သေး
of the
ဘူး
most important things
We
that
share
can
them out
happen
of
in this lobby. He currently only has 3 units on his board, but it doesn't look like our lost
Oh, I don't
players
want to
are
hear the
actually
message on Korea.
trying to slow him down. They're all going for their own game plan. So Jedusor is going to have a lot of gold. He's going to have 4 artifacts when it comes down to 30
Gabriel
HP.
Gabriel.
It's going to put him in a very strong position. I wonder what
Gabriel
composition
da open da
has
open
to
da
rededicate
Gabriel
his composition towards certain units, right? Typically, artifacts, we have seen the things more of a melee game composition, I think does pretty well. So you can deal with like
ဒီပွဲကတော့ loose နဲ့တွားတယ်အကျေတခြားပွဲတွေတော့ဗျာ all in တော့လေဒီလို okay win out ဆိုတော့ all in ပါ
doing exactly what you mentioned.
Pass on that game to both
ဟုတ်တယ်
ဘာမှရှင်းတဲ့ထွက်လဲဒုံလို့ခဲ့ရတယ်မဒီက world champion တက်ကောက်တော့ဘာနေစရီးရအောင်
they will be in a very difficult position.
သူ green မှာဆိုလို့တော့အကောင့်တစ်ခေါက်မထည့်တာမရှုံးခဲ့မြန်မာလို့
on 100 HP they want to guarantee that win streak of course.
World champion mindset. That's
cool. We're looking for the losses. Is Along going to be selling? We know that our win streakers are going to be going up against each other. So they will have their streaks snapped,
bro, hey, TFT World champion နိုင်ပါလေပွဲပြီးကြလေးဆိုအမြဲတမ်း prismatic final လို့သိတယ် prismatic မဟုတ်ဘူး prismatic ပါလိမ့်မယ်လို့သိတာ
front line is not good enough.
တမင်သက်ပွဲကို heat down လာတာ
The key thing for playing at what cost is just getting those lucky 4 costs to maintain your streak.
bro မမြင်ပါအရင်တစ်ခေါက်ကလည်းဟိုတော့ပါ
ဘောရှိတယ်ကကောင်းကြောက်သွေးစီ
coming down here should be just the deal breaker for Steelo Cora, and he knows it. He can't even pick his future augments. Doesn't get the
streak.
ဘာလို့ပါလဲကျွန်တော်မသိဘူး၄ရောက်လုံးဖြစ်နေကောက်လို့တော့တရားတည်ရတယ်
exactly the moment you want to win streak in stage 3
ကျွန်တော်ကောင်းမသိဘူးကောင်းတယ်တွေ့နေရရှော့အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်ပြောလို့ပါနိုင်အောင်ဆုံးအောင်နိုင်အောင်ဆုံး
အဲ့ဒါတွင်းနေတယ်
It's over what you got.
Something from Soraka. There's a lot of them I don't really take. The extra shields.
You know what Bensek got?
Extra shields.
Yeah,
yes.
A little
bit of a low roll there.
Throughout the days, the casters have said that the shields of Soraka are very bad. I agree, but they were buffed, so they're not. We can get out of them.
For Bensek, I feel like he just is a little bit his win streak was snapped. I feel like it's time when you get a free Aatrox is a head straight to fast 9. You want to play around the Vex that you were talking about earlier in the day. Slashes everyone, and then you have a super powered Vex stealing all of that.
Oh, Bensek got it,
so
Bensek got bro.
Here, and indeed, you see 2 of Vex's best items already being built.
Yeah, great transition, as you say. You go for
Bensek got a win away.
It's very difficult to get there because normally you have to roll, you have to do something for the Ectros. Having him already, maintaining tempo, pressuring now the lobby, perfect spot here for Bensek.
Interesting Thresh boon for Along, who's currently not in the best spot in terms of overall standing, as we do watch Hwanye go up against Bensek.
Bensek. That's not very good for him.
So we go into augments. He did get Wealth Quest from Thresh, so he needs 350 gold, and then he will gain a component anvil and 4 gold. So just a little bit of extra items there could be helping out Along in assembling the board here, as we do get silver for our augments.
The highest cap, I would have to give it to both Qianlong and Along. Both of our players with dragons might be the one to save the lobby. Qianlong, of course, has that very easy path into the Lulu reroll, but Along does have the anima in. He's hoping that he doesn't run into Jedusaur in this spot, doesn't get his streak broken. But he does have a ton of gold to work with, extra calories to go, so we'll see if they can save the lobby.
Lisao with an additional
Jedusaur
telling us what will be his plan. He finds so he will have a big buffy front line already with good tank items. So now starting to build what will be the final composition for him and committing to AP. In terms of
he's paying rebound, Sonya rebound.
Right, it is telling us already what
Sonya that capital like
Sonya
Dane target လိုက်မဆို Dane target လိုက် Dane
video
maybe I should start at least taking down 1 or 2 units here, so those losses are getting too brutal, and of course Qianlong is in that loss streak situation. He has won his previous
bro Rio ပေါ့Vita Rio တို့တခြား Miss Fortune ဘာညာအဲ့လိုမျိုး Ilawi နဲ့တွဲဆိုရ Rio 3 cost တက်ကောင်း
level တင်ဖို့ပဲစဉ်းစား
Robo က Ilawi 3ဆိုလို့ရှိရင် Ilawi ရပို့ strong ဒါမှမဟုတ်လို့မဟုတ်ပဲ Ilawi 3ကမြန်မာလိုဒီတိုင်းရပြီးတော့ဟို Morgana 2ကိုကအရင်တန်တာဆိုရင် Morgana 2ကပိုကောင်းနေမယ်ဒါပေမဲ့hypothetically ပြောရမယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ Ilawi 3ကတော့ပိုကောင်းနေမယ်
ရပါအားပြီး order တော့ပို့တော့ဆိုမရှိအာမ value
ဗီဒီယိုကတကယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်ဆက်တိုင်းတန်လို့ရတယ်ဒီမှာဒီ
မလို့မင်းမမရှိအာမပါမင်းရဲ့အောက်ကမှန်အဲ့ဒါပဲမင်းအောက်ကမှန်မင်းရဲ့တက်အိုက်တယ်ထည့်စရာမလိုဘူး Ramas ဆိုတော့ဘူးရအောင်ဟိုဟာ
level 9လို့သွားတယ် level 9
7 တက်တက်လို့7တက်ပဲလို့မှာတကယ်
level 9မသိနိုင်ဘူးလေအရင်ဆုံး level 8မှာပဲ strong
ဒီပဲဖြစ်အောင်
level strong နေပြီကျွန်တော်ဘာမှမရှိတော့ကျွန်တော်ပေါ့ကြည့်တယ်
position ဘာညာ position play တို့အောက်ပတိဘာညာအဲ့ try ညာပေါ့
စကားမှ
Era 2ကိုဆိုတာ
ဘာလို့ပလိုင်း rack ခံရလိမ့်မယ်ဟိုမှာပလိုင်း rack ခံရလက်တော့
ပုံမှန်ဒီဘက်ပဲရှိတယ်ဒီဘက်
What are you going to be choosing? Bears offers a copy of a 3-cost champion, very low variety. All of our players are going to be going for Thresh for the most.
လက်ကတော့လုံးလို့မရတယ် Morel လုံးလို့တာ
as well.
ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကောင် against ကအဲ့ဟိုမှာကောင်းသေးတယ်ဘာလို့ကျွန်တော်ဒီကလောမှာဒီကောင်ကမရှိရမှာလည်းမပါဘူးအဲ့တော့ဒီရင်
work here for our all the information
ဒါဥစားမရဘူး Fira 2က
yeah ပြီးတော့တည်ကတ်
ဒါကို loss ပဲပြောရမှာ
single loss from cashing out. What can he find to keep himself alive right here? It does look like he's potentially angling for the Mecha Asol as well, kind of a pseudo anima cash out for him. He does have the hex right in the center. It's a cryogenic hex, so decent for Mecha the Galio as well.
River
review ပဲယူလိုက်တယ်
Yeah, that will
Barrow
be
revamp.
watch, and yeah, I love it. That's
Like
up.
the most sense. If you cannot find your center, the mech is the next one.
ဒီလိုတစ်ချောင်း
Transforming it into the carrier one.
ဒီလိုတစ်ချောင်းပဲ
yeah မရှိရ
အောက်ကမှန်အောက်ကမှန်မင်းတန်အိုက်တယ်
Right now with 35, he can manage to do 2 more,
မရှိရ
but he will have to do a big roll down on stage 4.
ရှားပဲကြည့်ရတော့အကောင်လုံးကတော့ဒီဘက်ကြီးပဲ
To lose much
Jeruso.
more. He's cutting it very close, and you mentioned it at the start.
Jeruso level 7
coming into this game.
state 3 5 3 nesatto
Sounds really good on
not
paper,
very
and
good,
you've seen it excel really nicely in the later stages, but only if you can
2ရ
actually
မှာ
get
ပဲ
there.
okay
That is
don't know
starting to be
Rebound ထိ
very,
နိုင်ဖို့က
very
ဒီ item တွေက
The cash out.
as we all
ဘယ်အနီးကပါကွန်ရနေပါ
ကရှောက်ရပြီ Jeruso
You need some AD.
oh Ari alright
Ari is
holy
very
shit Ari
good.
item နဲ့တာကောင်း
One of the best ones, yeah. A lot of damage coming through and helping so much here.
Jeruso နိုင်တော့မှမသိဘူး
Doesn't actually have enough econ.
okay
ဟေးမီလာနေပြီဟေးတယောက်ယောက်ပေါ်စရာ
Any of his units right here. He's
မမ Jeruso ကျန်လိုက်တာဟုတ်က
very
produce ဆိုတာသူ့ရဲ့ပထမဆုံးအောက်ကမှ RD ကျွန်တော်အောက်ကမှနာမည်မြင်ပြီ RD factory ရွက်ထားပါဗျာ RD fact ပေးရဗျာ RD fact 3လုံးပေး RD fact 1လုံးရင်ပေးရင် Fortune ဆိုတာဗျာအရင်ဆုံး RD fact တစ်ခုပေးမယ်ပြီးရင် bro တွေး25အောက်ရောက်လို့ရှိရင် bro RD fact 3လုံးထပ်ပေးတယ်ဆိုတော့ bro ကအရင်တွေးရောခံနေတာအဲ့တော့ bro တွေးရောခံပြီးတော့ပြန်နိုင်မယ်စတိုင်းမျိုးအဲ့တော့ Jeruso ကျန်လိုက်လားဆိုမဟုတ်10မိနစ်တည်းအချုံးခံပြီးတော့အချုံးကတော့ရပါရဆိုတော့ Lucy ကိုရဗျာတခြားလူတွေပို့ပတ်ထိုင်များတယ်တခြားလူတွေပတ်ထိုင်ပို့များတယ်တခြားလူတွေပို့ hit တယ်တခြားလူတွေပို့ပြီးတော့ eco ပို့အောင်တော့ Jeruso အန်ဂယ်ဒါဝင်အောင်အန်ဂယ်ဒါတိရမယ်အန်ဂယ်ဗျာဒါ top 1အန်ဂယ်ပေါ့
ပြီးကျင်တာတခုပါလေဟိုဒါဘာလို့ဗီဒီယိုတူးမရတာလဲခုနလည်း rule အောက်ကျနေ
He might have just given
Million က solid အတွက်အတတ်တယ်ကြီး
His board was not upgraded. He didn't roll for that
It was
that he
easy,
was holding on to. Now Jeruso
Mission
does have the chance
No, the
to
River
get
level
some
up, level up.
life
We are
here,
in
and he
back
gets
to the
econ on 4.
မဟုတ် river ကမရှိမှာပါရဲ့ကိုချိန်အရှိမမာနေမှာ damage မထွက်တာကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒါပုံတော့
Opponents
ကြာ
are also pretty good.
လူတွေရပါ
ဟိုဘက်ခုံဒီဘက်ခုံ damage ကလည်းတန့်နေတယ်တိလား
Here on their radial
brain
side.
damage ဖြစ်တယ်
Anima လည်းပေါ့ဆို
Good setup here.
ဒါပေမဲ့ Anima ကြောက်
Just
bro
not to
grief
miss
ကန်
out. Really
Anima
important
ကြောက်ပြန်
that
တော့
you
လောရ
follow
ရင်ပြကြ
for
ဘ
one and be
final
sure
lobby
you're
မှာ
not committed or
bro
trying
Anima
to
ဆောမိရင်တော့
space
ဆောမိရကောင်
out
တေ
and
ချာ
roll
ပေါ့
for
grief
two
မှာ
with more
အားကြောင့်
chances, but
သူ
you
က
know
Anima မ
someone
လုပ်ပဲ
else
အနေ
can
နေတာ
get
ပဲ
the
သူ
units
ရဲ့
out of you.
ဒီ fortune ဆိုတာအရာကိုပဲအတိအကျတင်ထုတ်လိုက်တယ်
force
Fortune strat
IN
Fortune strat okay Fortune strat okay အရင်တော့ augment ရှိ RD factory ဆိုတာကိုယ့်ရဲ့ item ကိုတော့ RD ပြောင်းလိုက်တယ်အဲ့ရတ
Good
ယ်မှာ
thing that Flamir wins this one, and
bro အောင် BI တန်းဆက်ဆက်လိုက်
ချင်းဖက်ချင်းဖက်လို့
You tell
Team
yourself
Vessel.
that.
Maso, Maso.
Flamir is sitting on 9
Team
points.
Vessel,
There's
yeah.
a couple more games for this to
Maso
actually
do
work.
take
in
it.
You let it,
his
you let it, you let it, you
favor.
let it.
Count it,
you
count
let
it,
it.
count it.
Crown ကနေ stereo ရပါ Video တူ
ဟိုဟိုမီလီယိုတူးတက်တက်လာတယ်ဘောချာ
no အဲ့လိုလား
အန်ဒီမရှိ
ဆ
ဘူး
န်ဖာရလားဆန်ဖာရ
is giving him
မ
every
လုပ်ပါနဲ့ Sanfire လို့သေးလို့လား နောက်ပိုင်းယူရရ
the
ဘူးလား
rest of the units he decides to wait a little.
Crown က
Sanfire
တက်
က
တယ်
မကောင်းဘူး
ကောင်းတာတိုက်တယ်အပြည့်
Alo, another very
that's
weak
that.
board for Jesu Sword. Just
Eddie, he မပါသေးဘူးကိုယ်တည်း
4 to augment.
အဲ့လေ
ပြီးတော့ Ramas မှာလည်း idea တစ်ခုတည်းနဲ့
Two lines
idea တစ်ခုလည်းနည်းနည်းပို့တိတ်တယ်မရှိဘူးလား
at the minimum.
Crown က
There you see
Gambit
that gold
Sanfire
coming
Gambit
in from the
Sanfire.
blessing of wealth
ကမ်ပလေး
ဟုတ်လေ
as he's just straight up
Sanfire
printing
Gambling အဲ Sanfire Gambling ပိုကောင်းမှာဆိုလဲ
ဟုတ်တယ်လေ
ဟုတ်တယ် Sanfire
ပြီး
Gambling
တော့နောက်ဆုံး idea တစ်ခုကိုတက်တယ်မထပ်ယူ
ဟုတ်တယ်
ဘူး
အဲ့ဒါကဟုတ်တယ်
ပြမီလီယိုအလေလေးမှာထားကောင်းလား
Everyone will
ဟုတ်တယ်
be
ဥစား
grabbing
ဟုတ်တယ်
the heroes that he needs.
တင်ပြလား
Is going to go
Hey,
for
okay.
straight combat, and here might be the
Okay.
roll down to
အမဟိုဘ rap မှာဒီဘ rap ဒီဘရောက်ဒီဘ
Ace
ကူတာ
God, set 17.
Hold on.
Double
Mighty
dominance.
Diamond ထားတယ်
That's
ဘောတူ
the
တယ်
ace
ဘောတူ
Great.
pair
Gamma.
going in, but still no Gallios. No Gallios
Galio.
have been found.
ချီစောနေတဲ့ဂါလီကို
Mech is missing.
ရမှာလား
Sells the
ဂါလီကို
sells the
Okay,
Leon
Galio
and
ကောင်တက်လာပြီ
one mighty
ကောင်းပြောင်းမယ်
mech, so important because he left without a
တိုက်နေ
carry
တယ်
here and a tank.
ပြီးရင်ပို့လိုက်တယ်ကိုတင်းရောက်ပြီးနုလူကြီးတွေသူမအေးစီ
ဒီက RFC ဘာလို့
ချီစော
Really needs the mech units.
အကျေစောပတ်ထဲတော်ရတယ်ကောင်းထဲတော်ရတယ်ကောင်းမထဲတော်မှာရကမှာမှန်တယ်ဗလီပဲထဲလိုက်မလားဗလီ great ထဲတော်
ဂရိထဲဂရိက RFC နဲ့ဆော်ပါဆရာ
ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ RFC နဲ့ rubber နဲ့ဆော့ပါ okay တော့ကြာ
RFC တခြားသူတွေထည့်စရာမရှိ
ကာမာကိုပိုက်ချက်ပေးမယ်
I believe
ဒီရိုက်တော့ဒီရိုက်
ပြီးဆိုပါတူပါ
Aurelion sold to
Shiba.
last
Shiba.
second. But there is another scary player in this lobby that has just sneakily
Okay.
အကုန်လုံးကလက်ချင်းချိတ်ဆော်နေတာဆောင်းနေလို့လို့ပြ AP ဆို
နိုင်ဝိုင်းကျွန်တော်ဖူဝိုင်း
at that
ပြောလို့မရဘူး
place. We'll need to take a look.
ဟာတသက်ကြံနေရော
ခြေစောကကျောင်းဆောင်းနေပြီ
မေဘောက်ကကြောင်မေဘောကဆောင်း
I
မေဘောကဆောင်း
believe he is assembling
အဲ့ဒါတော့ခွင့်မလူဘူး
10 meeple.
level 10 level 10ပြီးတော့
Double emblem for Lisao,
Dora
and
did
that
head
could be a chance.
Oh
He's
my
very
God.
difficult. You need to perform.
Oh.
You need to get to the level
Bro,
10.
Li
It's
Xiao
not
က
like before
တပည့်
they
အမှန်
had
ရ
the
ပါ
dummy
သေးတယ်
with the
ဒီ
additional
ပေး
one
စိတ်
and
အောင်
one
တော့
ဟုတ်
is on level 9.
ဟုတ်တယ်
Oh
So
my
that
god
could be the angle to
Win out with
outcap
it.
him.
Can I tell you a funny story about 10 meeple that happened
ဒီဘက်တော့ AC နိုင်မှာဘလို့စား
ပြင်းနေ
ဒီ
ပြီ
ဘေးကြောက်ရတယ်
in this set?
Please.
မေဘောတော်
He
မြောက်
was
နိုင်တယ်
playing
တ
in
ခု
one of
အဲ့
the last events, part of
အပတ်ခံရမှာပဲကြောက်
regionals. He found 10 meeple, and then he lost every single round.
ဒီကောက်နိုင်တယ်
That was
AC
not
နို
a
င်
very
ကြည့်ပါ
fun story,
ဒါယူ
Clement.
ဒါယူမှမနိုင်ဘူးပြောတော့
ဟော
People sometimes
bro
isn't
ဒီကျောင်းက
enough
fan
to
fact
do
တစ်ခု
it,
ရှိ
but,
ရဲတဲ့
you know, I think
တမ်း
if
မိ
he
ပဲကို
has
လည်း
the
စိတ်
angle
ဖူးမှ
for
ရ
it,
ပါတယ်
definitely
တဲ့
go for it.
ပြီးတော့တိုက်ရှုံတာစိတ်
We'll
ပေါ်
have
ပြီး
to
တော့သူပြုတ်
see.
သွား
We're also getting word as we did watch the
What was that?
roll down the very sad one.
Yeah.
4 mighty mechs are sitting on players bench.
အာစတယ်လို
So
ဟုတ်တယ်
they were
bro အဲ့
smart
အောက်ကမှ
enough
မ
to
ကောင်း
hold,
Ay,
and they
Stelo,
were smart enough
Juve,
to slow
Ogman,
down
Prisma
Jedu
Diha Macau.
here, but we might see our first
David.
player
သူက win
eliminated
fee ဖို့အတွက်
in
ယူလိုက်တာဒါပေမဲ့သူက
Alon.
win အောင်မ
Has
ဆွီပါဘူး
won
နဲ့
the
တူပါတယ်
previous
ဆို
game.
တော့
Can he do
သွား
it
ပြီသူ
again?
သွားတော့ပြီး
Carrying
ပါ
a Vex 1
အဲ့စတယ်လို
in
အော်
the backline
ဟိုတာ
here as he does go
သူ့
up
အခြေအနေမကောင်း
against Lee Sao's board.
သူတို့က
This is
ကောင်းမ
looking
ကောင်း
pretty
Not very
good
good.
here.
Okay,
We're
now
able
I'll
to
start
do just that. No
ဟို
econ.
ပြခဲ့မှာပဲ
Rascal
လက်ချင်းချိတ်ဆော်
Great for Alon.
အဲ့တော့
လုံးဝ
Ramas ရောက်ပြီးကောက်ပြီး
Fine.
ဝယ်ထားလိုက်လေ
Someone is
Ramas
very
ကဘာ
decent in
ငါကောင်း
frame.
ဆုံးဘူးလား
I know လည်းမှတ်လို့ရတယ်တော့လည်း first time
Ramas ညာဆော့နေတယ်ပါ
Popping up.
ဒီကောက်မှာဖြစ်တယ်
Alon starts to be one of the players that can also pop off in first place.
ကျွန်တော် Ras ပဲထည့်ပါ
great 2ရ
ကြည့်ကြည့်လိုက်ပေါ့ Ramas 2ရ
Bro,
အောင်
ဒီဆိုတော့ level မှာ grade 2
This
ရမ်းပြီ
is sort of the Nova
Yeah yeah ကိုကောင်းနဲ့မတွေ့သေးအဆင်ပြေကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒီပါတယ်
အော်
Few run
မင်းဒီလိုဆိုချက်မှာဟိုအလင်းပြနေပြီအစိမ်းအောင်နေ
He's jumping up and down.
Great dude.
ဒီကလောကတော်တော်အတိတ်ပဲရှိပါဒီကလောနဲ့နောက်က campaign နေတာတော်တော်အတိတ်ပဲရှိ
Does have
Oh, no, 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 no.
waves and a
Hey, hello.
mighty mech delivered by
Oh.
Pedro
Wait.
personally.
အဲမရှိရမှာရှိ
No
တယ်
holding can stop
Hey,
this
make it
one
up.
from
Maybe River,
appearing
maybe River
to
is
so
operate
sweet
in
and
the
yeah.
front line. That was
So what do that?
so important.
Do it,
Gets
do it, what
found
do?
by Jedu Store.
ဒီကောင်တော့ဖုန်းဝင်ရပြီ
Huge find from Varus, and we can see that he's smiling right now. He knows that he's so close.
ဒါပေါ့ဟုတ်တာ
ဘက်ခံရမှာပဲဆိုရင်
Into
ဒါပဲ
the
ဒါပဲ
front
မဟုတ်လား
lane, you know, just the
Right?
second place behind
Okay,
someone like
Dobby
Jiso.
Jiva.
He's
Like Jiva.
felt
Hello.
it slip
Right up,
past
hold
his
on, but
fingertips
yeah,
before.
Yeah.
Now can he grab onto it? This is his fellow
Okay.
Frenchman that also has a chance to clinch
စ
this
နစ်ပြီနော်
championship.
စနစ်ဆိုဒီကောင်ကိုကောင်းတယ်
Take a look at Ben
ဟုတ်တယ်နော်
တပွဲရှုံးမှာ
Fantastic.
ဆိုတော့
Already
Jidu Zhou
does
နိုင်ဘူးလား
get into the
ပြီးတော့အီလောင်းနေနေလေ
ရှန်ဘာရှာလေးလာဒီ support ရှင်းဆောင်းနေ support
မရှာဘူးကျွန်တော် rad ဆိုတယ်
It's
ဆို
too much damage. I mean, he's in a great spot right now. No one is even close to contest him. Alon, the only one that
Other
could be
back
close,
at
but
the
he really needs to
cocky
get
one,
everything
but
on
not
place
Piao.
from now on. And Jedusor has the additional win more. He has the Graves that normally is not a unit that goes into the comp, but because of the rapid fire cannon, because he got them early, he can stack up
Yeah,
and get an
I do it.
additional carry for an already capped comp.
Huanye at the very top there.
Oh my god မရှိအာမ revive နောက်မှာပတ်သိသွားပြီသဘောကျ
တွေးရပြေးပြီလားဒီဟိုကောင်နေ anti heal မပါဘူး
has been just playing tempo
Right, yeah.
around this Vega
Yeah,
three
yeah,
that was
kill that
picked
guy,
up
kill
by
that guy,
Kultuba
kill that guy, you can do it.
so early. Has a decent
shit,
front line.
man.
Can he
Oh, wait,
actually
you can't get on.
maybe
Yeah.
ဘူးမမသေးသေးဘူးစတေးခါ
that
ပြီးရော
Jedusor has built as it's running through this
Level 10
lobby.
သွားတင်လာ
He's not going to be fighting him on
Then
the
die
other
button,
side and
now we
instead
got-
will find Along. Might be eliminating him, although I feel like Vex 2 should be able to clinch this one.
对 feel right
ဟိုမင်းကတွေး
ဒီ
ပြီး
က
တော့ level 9
Getting
တွေး
chased
ပြီး
on.
Vega 3မရှုံးနေဘူးတော့မှဟိုဘာရှင်ဟိုဘာလဲ Ramos လို့ပါတယ်
This is what we
အလုံး
see from
တန်းသွား
Vega.
ပြီးရှန်တယ်ရှန်ဝင်ပေါ်လာတာ
အလုံးဟိုမင်းနိုင်သွားလားပြီးတော့တယ်
And it's still not
ကျေတို့
really
တော့
a top
အဲ့
one
နိုင်ပါ
top
လား
one
ကျေတို့
board.
ရဲ့ support ရ
On
ပြ
the
စ်တယ်
other hand,
ဘရိုဂျေလူဆိုနိုင်ပြီဒါ
Lisa
ပေမဲ့အလုံး
might
ရှိသေးတယ်
be
အ
the
လုံးက
savior we need. We
one
know
life,
he's had
ဒါ
some
ပေမဲ့
very
first
bad
night ကုန်ဟိတယ်
experiences with Meeple 10 this set,
ဟုတ်တယ်
but it might, looking across the board,
ပွဲ
I
ကကောင်း
feel
နေ
like
ပြီ
he is
အ
the
လုံးနေနဲ့
only
ဂျေလူဆို
one
နိုင်တော့မဆို
that
ဘူး
can actually stop it.
အဲ့ဒါတော့
Well,
ဂျေ
you
လူ
know,
ဆိုက
actually,
ချန်ပီယံ
အ
ဖြစ်
လုံး
ပြီ
I'll make you an
Okay.
offer you can't
Found
refuse.
just in a double
Jedu gets stopped,
rub up ကို
but it's
ကောင်းအောင်ပေးလိုက်
Benzak
ပြီ
that stops him. I would be fine with that.
ကောင်းသဘောကျ
Deal or no deal?
I think it's a little hard for
He-
Benzak if I'm
he-
being completely
Ah,
honest.
don't worry, don't worry, don't worry.
All he needs is a
ဒါပေမဲ့
player.
ရှေ့လို့ပေါ်လာတော့ရ
go let's go အဲ့မင်းပေါ်မြင်
Let's go, let's go. We win though, we win though.
အာ Nova ဘူးဆိုကြရတာ
So
bro
far, he
နှစ်
doesn't
ခု
have
ဗျာ
the right
အ
items
ချက်
for
နဲ့ချက်တော့
Aatrox, and that's really what
ပထမ
makes
တစ်
the
ချက်က
composition work. So that's why I'm
Kindred
I
ရဲ့
have to say
Nova
that it's a
က
little bit hard
strong
for
တယ်
him.
Kindred က
Look at
ပြီ
Lisa
ဟို
here.
တော့
ပြီးတော့သူတို့
Everyone,
အခုဆော့နေ
you
ဒီ
know,
Nova
make
တွေ
your
ဒီ
board
ပြိုင်
a
မှာ
little
မြင်ရ
bit
Nova
weaker.
တွေက
You know,
Etro
move
3
aside
Nova
for
တွေ
Lisa.
Etro
အေး
3
ဒီ
က
ချပါလေဒီချလည်းပြီးပဲ
သူ့ရဲ့ step ကို
Take us
မူ
to
တည်
the
ပြီးတော့
promised land of
He does
game
Hey,
the
yeah,
number
yeah.
five.
saving. It
အဖျက်
doesn't
လို့ရှိရင်
need
ဒါမဲ့
to.
ထွက်တယ်
Yeah,
အဲ့တော့
can't
Etro 3
name
က
it round.
Nova ရတယ် strong
It's
Etro 3
been
က
so
စတန်နေပဲ
long. We
ပြီး
didn't
တော့
even know we
မောက်
could
ခိုင်းရ
do
လက်စတန်
that.
ပါတယ်ပြီးတော့
Three
ဒါမဲ့
other
လို့လို့ရှိရင်တော့
regions that want to see
Kindred က
another
အရင်
game,
ဖိုင်
okay?
အဲ့တော့
We'll
Kin
see
အဓိက
if he can do
Kindred
it.
ရဲ့
He's
Nova
definitely
ဘောက်ပြ
angling
အဲ့
for
ဒီ
that
Okay,
Nova
position.
အောင်နေ
ဒီ
ကြ
ချမ်းမှာ
Have to
Ramas
do a
မရှိသေး
quick check on if he's missing any of the
Licha or
meeple
Ramus လို့
units
Ramas
right
ပါ
now.
မရှိသေး
7 meeples on
Alors,
his
Kuro
board. He
Balo
still
Valley,
doesn't have a
yeah.
bard. That is
Revive
gonna
item
be
is in
pretty
that.
huge.
Revive item is
And
in
there's
that
no
one.
bard.
Revive item
Oh,
is in
there is
that
a
one.
bard.
Doesn't
Revive.
have a
Double A.
Rammus and
Double A,
he
double
doesn't
A.
have a bard.
Those are the easy ones, especially in
Oh.
the later stages of the game.
Right.
So
level
the
down
plan
level
is
down
set up.
for level down
Goal
Level down,
is
level
only
down သွားပြီပါ
70 goals away, so
Okay.
two
level down
rounds
သွား
for
ပြီးတော့
getting
ရှန်ပြီးပါလေ
into
တဲ့
that level 10.
ရှန်ဟိုဝါလေးရ
The
ချင်းလေးရ
Vaz and the
ချင်း
Ramos
ကြီး
to make a possibility,
Okay,
but
yeah,
he's
yeah.
very low
တော်တော်လေးပဲ
HP
ထည့်
right now.
မော်ဂါနာထည့်ရတယ်
There's a lot of Ramesses out of the
Yeah.
pool, though. Huanye has
Yeah.
3 of them.
ဒီချောင်းရာမှု
Shenlong
တော့ကောင်းလို့လေ
has at
ဘရိုဘရို
least one.
အာ
might be having
ဂျီဒီ
another
ဆို
one on
တား
his
နေတဲ့လူ
board.
တွေကဒီချောင်းရဲ့အီလောင်းရဲ့ရှိတယ်ဆိုတော့
อืม
ထည့်သွားနိုင်တယ်
Jedu on a 7-win streak. Okay, come on.
Jedu
Some of
Zoa-
these players gotta chill, right?
Level
If
10.
you're not beating Jedu,
ကေဒီဆိုရ
move
လေပဲ
out the
နိုင်
way.
ဒီချောင်းက
Lisao take a
ရာမှုစရာ
shot.
ပြီလား
He's going
Lisao-
level
Lisao ပြ
10.
ပါဦး please
Lisao is level 10.
ဒီချောင်း
We need
That
to see his
means
board.
level 10နော်
he has the
bro,
chance
be
to
better, no?
assemble it. Does he
Oh,
find
let's go.
a
Keep
bard?
right. Be
Does
better,
he
no?
What if you want
find
to have it?
a
Keep right, keep
bard?
right.
And it is
Okay,
there.
okay,
The
okay.
meeples have arrived at the
Oh,
Tactician
let's go.
crown.
Let's
Are
go.
they any good though?
So,
They're beautiful and cute for sure.
okay,
Not
ဒီလူ
what
ဆို
I asked.
ဒီလူဆိုသူတားနိုင်ပါ
I want to see game
What, me?
5. Don't leave it at that.
Good
We're
luck.
getting
me
a
the
little bit
thing,
of a power check here against Huanye, and you can
Can
see
he jump
what
down, see,
our
Naimara?
beautiful
Did he
green
not?
friends are able to
Boy, I
do
can't believe it.
as they just cause a lot of
why
chaos
not?
and commotion
He
all
why,
around
he
the
why.
board. And it will be
I
good
can't
enough to
believe
deal
it.
with Huanye, but we did
Okay.
mention his board is
Okay,
probably
Kusol
one
and
of
Bibi
the
Sega.
weaker ones in this lobby right now.
ဒီပဲကောင်အရင်
Where
တော့
do
မ
you
ဆို
like
ဘူး
the
Prisma
meeples?
Trade
You saw the game.
I mean,
do you have enough
Prisma
damage,
Desert,
enough
Prisma
tankiness,
Desert,
or
yeah.
is it a
Yeah,
mix of
yeah.
everything?
ကျန်တာ
So
ကျန်
the
တာ
meeples
Prisma Desert,
themselves
Prisma
are
Desert.
not actually that tanky, and what we have seen
ကေ
is
သီ
if
ဆိုယူ
an enemy
ကေ
has
သီ
a
ဆိုယူ
great
ပြုံး
tank
နေပြီ
and
သူ
a
နဲ့တွေ့ရ
backline
မယ့်
that
လူက
you
အ
can't
ကျန်းနေ
hit,
ပြီ
Oh, that's
Fading
the one
Prisma
I'm
Desert.
can actually lose
The
to
boy
the
yeah,
fights.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
actually seen 10 meeple lose to Space Group a lot of
Hey,
times
don't go on, yeah,
throughout
yeah.
this set. The meeples themselves, you really want combat augments.
I'm away though. Hold on, damn down. I don't
know.
For Lee Sub, this is definitely a losable
board.
Right?
Hold
if
him
Lee Sub can roll into Jedu,
well, we have to lock in right now because Soju is on the brink of death. 30
points. He
wants that top finish to bring himself into check as well, and he's fighting for his survival on 5 HP, 3 losses
fucking
down.
loser, fucking loser, wanna greet me, suck my dick.
Hey, level up.
And he's contesting Benzak just a little bit, as we do have 2 eliminations come in. Stilo of Bora will not be reaching check this game. Chanlong is out here as well. Eliminated 1 round prior to this, or a top 5 are locked in.
Yeah, and with Alon
Raven 3 ကိုချနေရ
is open up here for Bensack.
Raven 3ချနေ
Has done it already once, trying to do it again, just holding them there in the bench, but no gold right now.
ဟောမင်း Raven 3မရတော့
chance here to do something different just to pop off. Decides to sell.
မရတော့
Ripper Fire ပြီးပါ
သူက
got scared.
Did you solve it?
Didn't have much to do here.
ကျန်ရနေဆိုတာကျန် so strong
Was a valiant effort. You could have been lucky here. Let's see.
Artifact အများကြီးပဲလေ Fortune Strand
justified,
Fortune Strand ရရင်တော့တကယ်ဥစားဆော့တယ်
on the other side. I'm not sure if it's a ghost copy
Fortune
or a
တွေပါ
real thing, as we did see Bensack just peek up there. I think it was a ghost copy
So you
based
both
on
jam,
spawn and animation.
ဟိုသူတို့ကျန်တာမဟုတ်ဘူးအဲ့ဘန်ဆက်ကဟိုဖြစ်နေပုတ်ရောင်းတယ်
Yeah, just very unfortunate for
Riven 3
Bensack because
Riven 3
he
ရှာနေ
didn't
ပုတ်
find
ရောင်းတ
his
ယ်
items until stage 5.
Holy
Okay
what the
ဂျေလူ
fuck?
တော့နိုင်တဲ့ဒီချောင်းအဲ့ဆိုရင်တော့ချက်မိတ်ဝင်တာကိုမြင်ရလိမ့်မယ်
Lisao gets a big win against
okay
Bensack is down.
Bensack
so you didn't know
has
about
been
that, okay.
eliminated. Fifth place here
So you
will
are a chow,
not be
yeah.
in a
Di da do di chow,
position to
baby.
maybe end it all here. All eyes on Jedusor, on what is the best EMEA player in this entire crown. We saw Juanye holding 2 of those graves, but Jedusor does get it regardless. The question is that good enough to be content with those 10 meeples that we are seeing from Lisao?
Not
Very
enough
question.
sample, Clement. We don't know what's going to happen. The meeple have
So you need to
တော့ဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့ဆိုတော့အကုန်လုံး1စတားတွေကြတာလီရှာပို့
on
တာ
the right.
One million naira, boy.
With the semi-pop, they are not facing now. This should be the end for Soyu.
ပွဲကောင်းနေပြီ
When Lisao failed to win with 10 meeple, it was
10
because of
meeple
a
bro.
triple
Yeah, so you are
prismatic
the
lobby.
guy.
This time around, it's only single prismatic. These 4 guardians of
So
the
you are 30
galaxy
လို့ရမှာလေ
might be able to extend this series right here. Soju goes down. In the meantime, Jedusor
ကဲ
looking
ဂျေ
very
လူ
worried,
ဆော
but
ဂျေ
doesn't
လူ
have a
ဆော
plan
လက်
B
တီ
to
ချီအေး
counter
နေတာ
this.
ပြီ
This is a huge round, okay? Lisa could
nah,
even get
nah,
stronger
nah.
here if the
We
Bard
just take
gets
out that nine
something
Lucian,
like the Drake,
two
if
door
he
watch
can
him, yeah,
upgrade the Bard
Hello
more. There's a
Hello.
lot more power for him to
နောက်ပွဲ
still
မှာဆင်း
achieve.
နောက်ပွဲမှာဆင်းဒီပွဲရအောင်
နောက်ဝဲနောက်ဝဲမှာ
People galore
Now
on
we're back.
the
Well,
board.
we let them.
What a
Media
way
man, di ba?
to
Di ba media man
throw
ba?
just a
Media
wrench into the path of
Media say
someone
on, mahin,
who
tunay
is
na.
on his
Kanya-
path
kanya
to
ma-
Ah, tiyaw na yun,
being
tiyaw na yun.
Lisao with that trickery. And I mean, we were talking about it. We were saying this is such a good way to approach a game where somebody needs to get checked, because you can find those niche routes that are just uncontested. Nobody can hold 10 meeple. If you get it, you get it. And that's exactly where Lisao is standing. But take a look at Juanye. He is looking for his own win condition here, trying to assemble a Morgana 3. None in shop, but 2 copies are
going for it.
missing. He's going for it.
7
Are we going
copies.
to sell? Are we
Yeah.
going to sell the
Morgana
entire
three,
board?
Morgana
He
three,
is
yeah.
doing it, but
Yeah,
it's too
yeah,
little, too
yeah.
late. No chance to find it,
Yeah.
as he does
Don't try.
take rather big
သူ
loss.
အများ
I
ကြီးကြံနေ
assume,
တကောင်
coming
တီး
up
မှ
next.
ဟောတကောင်တကောင်
ဒါပေမဲ့2ယောက်လောက်တူမနာဘူးလေ2ယောက်လောက်တူမနာဘူး
49 still HP for him.
Wait, Jason 9 ရော Jason 9 တယ်
Going up
Jason 9
against the 10 meeple board. The
Kalong
upgrades
nine,
have been
kalong
found on
nine.
the other side. Bard 2 is in. A great knock right into the
Di ba sa
galley.
kalong nine
Sends him
na?
into the
Nine wala,
back.
kalong nine wala. Three ah,
Nine,
side
nine.
mo.
Brilliant,
Di ba sa
so
kalong nine?
very exposed
Nine,
here,
eh, agree
but maybe
with
the
you,
damage
agree
is
with you,
enough.
agree with
I think
you.
Jedusor might be able to take this one.
Okay chance
A
ဂျေလူဆော
massive win.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Oi,
a massive
oi,
win
money,
against
money,
Lisao,
money.
but it was only the
Because of
ghost,
Lila, malam
as we
siya,
did Lisao
Ah.
fight against Juanye on
Okay,
the
so now
left-hand
this is
side. Juanye still chasing that Morgana 3. He's still
Okay.
2 copies off. Both of these players doing
So now do that
everything they
identity.
can to stop
Morgana 3 တယောက်
Jedusor.
ရှာတယ်တယောက်ကမိပဲတဲ့ကနောက်တယောက်က lose ကတ်ချ Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Same for Jedusor.
ပြီးတော့လေအဲ့အကောင့်တေးလေးရလေဘက်ကလိုက်မှာထားရတယ်လား front line ထားလို့မရဘူးအဲ့ကောင်တွေက
ပြေးသွားတယ်ပြေးတကောင်းနဲ့ပြေးသွားတယ်
On the threat of the enemy as soon as possible.
ဟာဒီမှာဒီဝမ်မေးပေါ်လေ
Everyone
ဒီ
is selling
စိတ်တယ်
everything,
ည
trying
မှာ
to find the Morgana.
သဘောကျရဲ
That's a nice
Oh,
and easy
Morgana
win
three,
for
yeah.
Jenny. He says, thank you very much. I appreciate you trying your best to stop me, but I will yoink this win out of your
Okay.
hand. It doesn't mean that Juanye is out just yet. He still
Juanye.
has a shot to
Juanye,
maybe
yeah,
find
one
those
more,
2
Juanye.
copies in any of these next slots. But
Ah.
on the
Lisao
other
siya,
side, Lisao wins against the ghost copy of
Oh,
Jenny,
siya,
but
siya,
does
siya.
come down
Hey,
to
Amalia.
everything.
ပေါ်ဖန်ဖြစ်သွား
Here,
တယ်လားဝမ်မေး
players
က
on
လုံး
their
ပြဘူး
last
တူတူတူ
live
ဘွားတာပဲ
hand
တူဘွား
they
တဲ့
hang
တာ
in there. Is there a world where Jedusor takes this?
Kwame doesn't have
Grave
any gold. He has
bro
to chuckle for himself. His
စပယ်
journey
3
is
နေ
over. I really want to check Jedu's
ကွန်တူ
Source,
ဆိုတာရှိတယ်
Graves
အခု
right here. That's
ဒီ
going to
ဂျီ
be
လူ
an
စောပေး
important,
တဲ့ဟာ
important thing. He does have to set
absorb
some
frame
power frame
power frame power frame
so
power
can't do a
frame
lot
ရဲ့
of
coolant
damage.
coolant
That
blast
front
ပြီး
line
တော့
coolant
white
coolant
efficient
အဲ့ဒါစ
together.
တိုင်းတစ်မျိုး
So there is a world
absorb
where
frame ကြ
Jedusaur
တော့
could wipe
fighter
off
ပုံ
the
စံမျိုး
entire right side of
နောက်
the
တစ်ခု
map.
နောက်ဆုံး
But
တစ်ခု
here
က
we go.
နောက်
This
တစ်
is
ခု
the
ကပါ
fight
လေ
everyone has been waiting
Mass
for.
frame.
What
Oh,
are
mass
the
frame,
odds
mass
on
frame.
this fight? It looks like tank TG, so
Okay,
might
mass
not be
frame.
enough
Mass frame.
damage.
That's
Damage is what he
Okay.
needs to get
Woman
through
through.
those
Jedu
massive
saw.
meaningful space gods right there, and a very quick takedown.
Wait.
This is
Great.
finally what we've been waiting for. Lisa,
Great.
the actual board, Aurelian Soul
Great.
is down, and the
No,
Graves
no
falls
time.
as well. Lisa saves the
Lisa
lobby.
very
We
good.
are going to another
against
game.
Royal
Lisa with that
Good
win
try, good
there,
try.
stopping
Good try, buddy. Good try,
Mia
buddy.
in
Good try,
their
buddy.
tracks. Jedusaur only a
Check out.
second place, but a valiant effort
Turun niya wala
nonetheless.
lang
If Lisa hadn't had access to 10 people in this game, it would have been a very different story. But that is just the beauty of TFT. And now more of our players are going to be getting
အဝယ်စားဒီပဲမှာစကောက်လာကျွန်တော်ထိုင်ကြည့်
The
ကျွန်တော်
final
စကောက်ကြည့်
Meeple Door was the one to stand alone. We have another game and more
mean, to me, that's
players
a
now
good
with
idea.
possibilities to get to a
ဒီကောင်စကောက်နေတာဒီကောင်သူများရဲ့ပိုက်စကောက်ကျွန်တော်ထိုင်ကြည့်
Just shaking. How many things had to go right for Lisa
Sorry,
to
I'm
stop
Master
it?
48
He
every.
had to
Eh,
get a
Todai, hala.
reforger for
Master
this French guy.
Todai.
He didn't start with the two
Anyways,
equals. He
it's,
reforged three of
it's
his
not-
emeralds to
don't we
do
do
that.
yeah.
And when he was level 9, he was still missing on Rammus and Bard. Gets to hit them instantly on level 10. And when we saw the fight RNG, that Graves was powering up over and over again. He couldn't reach Jedusaur soon enough. Still, finally manages to take it into the end. I think this game shows us the best of what Checkmate has to offer.
It was absolutely a treat. There's no other way
Right,
to
no, no,
say
no.
this. And I will make a promise we're going to continue just like that. We have more games to come as our tournament is going forward. We will be going into a teeny tiny break, but don't go anywhere as the action is just going closer. You're watching the Teamfight Tactics Tacticians Crown. We'll be right back.
Where they are sound ဒီမှာဒီဘက်မမီသေးဘူးကျွန်တော်ဒီမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ lobby ကထွက်လာပြီ EU တွေပါကြ
of the Tactician's crown for Space Gods. I am back on the desk alongside my friends to bring you the action in this next game. But what a barn burner for that fourth one on the edge of my seat.
Another game, another goal.
Alright, another game, let's go.
Oh, yeah, I feel like those meatballs just owed Lisa an apology, right? They actually let him down in the regionals over and over again. Usually, if you don't have combat augments, it's not that surprising to see it lose before. And that Graves we saw in the mirror matchup did take him down.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I feel like if there's a world where if Jedisaur could get a
so
little bit
another
more
game,
goal and get another frontliner, I could actually have seen that, but you're right, the 10 people was enough to pull it through, and now we're in a position where we have 3 players in check. Last game, we saw Jedisaur angling towards the Acel. You scout around, everyone's got a Mighty Mech. He gets 2 airdrop from him, from the God and from Pengu there anyway. But this time around, it is way harder to grief 3 players in the lobby.
It's going to continue to get that way because as we continue to see our players approach that 20-point check mark, it's just going to make the lobby that much harder. But as we take a look at the standings, you can see very clearly here, Bensak leads out Jedisaur, all of our players at that 20-point check. Soju, they should be able to hit check in this game unless they go 8th, and everybody else is really playing catch up.
And for a lot of our attack rounds, the point leader has not
James
the championship at the very end. When you think about set 16 and set 14, it was those latecomers into the series that held their composure, that picked their moments to strike, that did walk away. So nothing is settled just yet.
Or even at the regional finals, you really could be behind in points, but it'll be that one game.
What scares me is Lisao currently in 2nd place. We said it before. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He has been 2nd at so many events. TOC finals, TOC events, has yet to find that single solo crowning moment for him. And I'm so afraid for him that in 2nd place, what if he doesn't get there again?
But there is a reason for that. And that's because for most TOC players, they want to play for the 1 million TOC, 1 million RMB, 1 million RMB championship gold right in front of them, so they try to play very risky. Lisao purposely always had his odds on top. He was actually playing steady top 4s instead of winning the TOC Crown Championship because he wanted to come here. He wanted to restart the dynasty that CN has almost faded ever since set 7.
There really has been over CN heading into the Tactician rounds. It felt like there was that one moment where CN was at the top of the world. But as we continue to see regions sharing tech, sharing more data, sharing the statistics, we saw CN really take that step backwards. But now it really is their time. After Hwanmie ended up winning the Paris Open, I felt like that was really the moment where people said, oh, wait a minute. That's right. And CN is a dominant region.
We almost saw it last set, right? We've talked about that across the weekend. Saya looking so good across the entire weekend and barely coming up short. Lisao was the player that most of us have had our eyes on. People have said he might be actually the favorite from CN, even over Hwanmie, which sounds crazy to say. Everything but some of the resume list that Hwanmie may have. But Lisao not only has multiple Tacticians Crown appearances, he's the only person left in the field that made it to the last finals and is here once again. He's in a very strong position to get that top 1. But we would be remiss to not talk about the elephant in the room, which is 2 checks coming from Emilia after a 6-year drought of not winning the Tactician's Crown.
So close now, because it's already been within arm's reach. When you think about Jedisaur getting that 2nd place at Tac Crown the last time that he was here, you have to think about that and go, what if? And it must weigh on his shoulders heavily to know that he was 1 game away. And it felt like it slipped out of his fingers because of the charismatic meeple trade. But he's got to brush that off, get his head back into the game, and approach this the last one he'll play.
EMEA has been a lot stronger than they appear.
Think about the
no. 機呢路嘢機要嚟補，喺講下就操嘅就甩嚟補講，操嘅實際見補出嚟講，好講一年話一年咪咯，對啦。第四嗰度嘛，操嘅三嘅，操嘅都補講。
已經補講嘅，
因為已經係咪真係咯？話就點解咁所謂？已經都係路灣啱講所謂補講。路灣啱我見到啲，係補埋啲，已經咧。
即係入到嘅。
finish line. The prayer for Jetasaur is that
Oh,
he
they
has
pay
what
back
it
on
takes to break that
yeah,
gap.
yeah.
He plays a very interesting composition to the first place.
Yeah, front line
Maybe
one,
it's
front
going
line.
to
Step by
take
yard
that
and we are
again
loser,
as we
yeah.
head into this game. Number 5,
Easy.
3 players could win it all
Type
here
B-ball.
if they're able to get in
Nine,
first
nine,
place,
nine.
and it's going to be
Easy,
top
easy,
10
nine,
in
nine.
our encounter.
Get what's up?
A lot of randomness coming in, even more shots for the meeples going to appear. And I think this is one of those encounters that Hoopestong talked about. If you want to win out emblems is the most undeniable strategy.
Because you can't grief it. You are looking at somebody else also having
Random 1 star 4 個情
ဆိုတော့ကအမှန်ကြောင့်ဘယ်လိုထားပါတော့ချိုးကဲလက်စားလက်စားချိုးဆိုမှဆိုတော့ကောင်းတယ်ဒီစားချုံမတော့မကောင်း
ဘာရင်ကောင်းလဲဒီကလောလက်ဆန်ရာ
ဒီကလောလိုက်တော့
ဒီစံတော့တူတယ်ရဟလား
ဒီဆန်တော့တူဒီကလော
Taking a look at our gods here, they are going to be
ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြော
very
မိုက်တယ်အဲ့ဟိုဟာနိုဝါအောင်
Yasuo
โอเค
bring immediate combat
Come on,
power,
Luba,
and then you have something
အဲ့မှာလေ
like
အမြဲတမ်းလာတာ
the Evelyn that can give steamroll onto the lobby.
ကျွန်တော်မဆော့ဘူးလို့ကျွန်တော်မ
We've
ဆော့
seen
ရဘူး
Steamroll
ကောင်း
particularly
တယ်
very,
ကျွန်တော်တို့
very
Nova
strong
Master တိုင်းနဲ့တူတူပဲ
through the entirety of this tournament where
Oh,
some
right.
players it actually does
Oh,
lose them the game almost on the spot if they can't get any value, but on the
Yeah,
other hand,
yeah,
we've seen
ဒီက
players
လောဆိုတဲ့
who
နိုင်ဒီ
get
ကလောဆို
really
တဲ့ပြီးတော့
9,
လေဝယ်တင်
10
ပြီး
win
တော့
streaks off of the
အဲ Raz ရောင်းပါ
Raz ပဲရောင်းလိုက်တာ
Raz ရောင်း
Well, here's one
နိုင်
way
လို့
that
ရှိ
you
ရင်
could make use of that Bensac
Sorry,
as
I
an
am
option
memory
here
and
to
editor.
upgrade the talent. Kind of one of those sneaky
Yeah,
win
easy,
streak
easy.
champions in the early game that we've seen a lot of competitors using. Bensac's been very good with
က
starting
ကူသုံး
to
နေတော့ရှိတယ်
right ဒီပွဲချက်မိတ်3ယောက်
Lulus that we have
လီ
seen
ရှောင်း
in this
လီရှောင်းလည်း
tournament
ချက်မိတ်
over and over
ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့
again.
တရုတ်
Now,
စော
this
လ
is
င်
a really fun part
ပြီး
about
တော့
Lulus subscription.
နောက်တစ်ယောက်က
Everyone
အော်
wants to
ဘန်ဆက်နဲ့
pick
ဟို
up
ခြေ
what's
တူစော
last
နဲ့
and scout to see what the actual
ကော်ကီပဲဆော့လိုက်ကောင်း
original စောနေရတယ်
someone shows their hand.
Tactician
ကော်ကီပဲဆက်ဆော့လိုက်ကောင်းနော်လို့ထင်
someone else to
Thì
scout
ကျွန်တော်
it
ကီတလင်းနဲ့
out
ကော်
for
ကီ
you,
ရင်
and
ထည့်လိုက်
then
ကျွန်တော်
you
ဥစားရပါလိ
pick your
နိုဝါနဲ့ဥ
output
စားရပါလိ
accordingly.
နူဝါကော်ကီ
But
လား
we'll see who's
More
first to pull the
Cocky
trigger.
there.
Juanpe just snapped
ကော်ကီပဲဆက်ဆော့လိုက်ရတယ်ဘာလဲဆိုတော့ကော်ကီရနေပြီရတယ်
or a
Oh,
farming
Hey,
win.
but Sonic
That's
ကော်ကီ
what
ပဲ
you
စောနေရ
expect
ဆိုရင်တော့
in this game
ဆို
with
ကော်ကီပဲစောရကွန်ဖောက်ဖြစ်မယ်ဆို
နူ
ရင်
ဝါကော်ကီ
ဖိုင်
ပိုင်ရှာ၄ကောင်လေ
tons of
မသိအိုင်ကျော်
အာနိုဝါမကော်ကီပိုင်းနဲ့ပြန်မလုပ်ပါနဲ့
Along, no scout, no
အေး
pick.
ပါစလာကြီးပါ
လစ်တက်လာပြီ
Wow, I hope he has.
Must believe, must believe.
Valve that's
Level
fun.
up
We
thing
have
is they know,
seen,
yeah, Kogi
I
Yang.
think bra go into this
What is
line.
a bear
Nova.
Gonna be denied.
Nova ဟို
You
ပဲ
could be
Nova
going to some
ကြီး
other lines.
Yeah.
Nova
Although
ကင်ပဲ
we
တော့
have
တော့ကောင်း
three
ရ
of our
တော့
tech players
Pro
still
လား
holding on. They're still waiting until
မကောင်း
everyone.
မကောင်းယူနောက် level 7ပါထည့်ရမှာ
Guard
ဆို
training
စစ်မှ
picked
ထည့်ရ
up
မှာ
for
ဟုတ်တယ်
Bensac.
ကိုင်းတော့ကိုင်းတော့
Anima
ကိုင်းတော့
Commander.
ရရင်ပဲကောင်းတော့
Anima Commander
Medium
found
account,
to
medium
Lee
account.
Sao.
That's a G game,
Whoa,
no?
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
oh,
a
Lee Sao.
little bit of a scary
ကဲကျွန်တော်တို့တိတ်ဆော်နေရတော့
mainly
risk ကြီး play ဆိုရင်
because
အဲ့ဒီရောင်းလိုက်တော့မနော်
what it does is
ရောင်းလိုက်
it
ရောင်းလိုက်ကြီးကင်းလိုက်
gives
ကြီးကင်း
you
လိုက်
access to the early
ပင်းနေပြီ
Anima.
ပင်းနေပြီ
It
ပင်းနေပြီ
forecasts your game plan.
ကျွန်တော်တို့တရုတ်စောလင်းရတော့
Everyone now
okay.
jumped onto the board, and all it takes is one person to open fort. 3 people
Anima
is a lot of
Commander.
people in check. I said it's very hard to grief when there are 3. It's very
Original
easy
စောလင်းရ
to
တော့
grief
ကြီးကင်
one
ပါ
person when they're
တ
playing
ရုတ်စောလင်းရ
very
တော့
clear
Anima
Anima
Commander
line
ပါ okay that's
Well,
all
it
What's
won't
that?
be long because
What's that?
you're locked into the
ဒီတော့အဲ့
champions
လောက်ကျန်တာ
that
လေ
are on your
တရားတစ်ခု
board.
လောက်ကြပါ
But it would be
Ah,
very
you got
easy
Kinroa,
for
yeah.
somebody that might be trying to lost streak
Yeah,
here
yeah.
to go ahead
ချက်တဲ့
and
လှပ်လိုက်ကို
sell
ကင်းရွယ်ကြည့်နေ
everything. Like,
တော်ပြီ
Juanpe only
hello
needs a top 4
Kai,
minions
kai,
for
kai,
the
kai,
game
kai, kai,
themselves.
Wow, game ဘယ်လောက်လဲ bro ချိန် game ဘယ်လောက်လဲ
Because of how
Okay, yeah, တော်တော်များတယ်
Oh, fight,
fight
yeah,
ရအောင်
sorry.
a lot of them are going to be playing
Right.
for
အမှတ်တရဘယ်သူများနေ
for the potential
Don't
of
yeah.
that
Don't yeah.
steamroll
Don't
here.
yeah.
So
And
there
you
needs to be
win,
some coordination
အာတရုတ်စောလင်းရင်
Everyone's
ဂျီတူစောရဲ့
gonna
ဗန်
be
ဆက်တော့
visiting each
များ
other's
လို့ချက်မိတ်
boards.
Đúng rồi,
Everyone's
anh yêu
gonna
quên,
be
anh yêu
here,
quên.
going like,
အတူအ
"Okay,
ပြည့်ပတ်စံ
buddy,
ရ
your board.
ဝယ်လို့ရ
You be the one to
ဝယ်ရဝယ်ရဝယ်
Yeah,
Well,
you,
it
you
will do
want
all.
to do the
Yeah, you could.
lobby
ကလာဆောက်လို
က
က်
တိတူရမေးလိုက်
This is
မေးလိုက်
amazing
မေးလိုက်
if you
ဘာ
want
လို့
other
နံပါတ်8ရလို့
players
ရှိရင်
to
ဒီပွဲ
check,
မှာချက်မိမရဘူး
right? Because
နံပါတ်7ရ
now
လို့ရှိရင်တော့ချက်မိရနံ
we
ပါတ်
have
ရ
one player who has made a villain of
Oh.
themselves for the rest of the
ဆို
lobby
ကြည့်ရချင်းမ
and
ကော
is
ဆိုတော့
diverted
အလုံး
the
အနေနဲ့
gaze
လိုက်
of
ပြီး
the
တော့ပြီးပါ
lobby
ရဲ့
from
ဟို
those 2 other
ဒီ
players,
ချောင်း
Bensac and
not
Jetasaur,
bad.
and now
Good for you,
everyone is
mate.
looking
Lisa,
to
yeah.
Lee Sao to
Not
figure
the
out
other.
how or
ပန်းဆက်ကြ
who
ည့်လို့ဆို
is going to grief him.
You could
Oh.
grief in a different way. If you know that maybe the
Yeah,
expected
right.
cash out is going to be
Ah,
for
bye, Daniel.
Anima or
Hello?
for Mech, I mean, just
တပ်ဖို့
hold the
လို့ကျွန်တော်
unit.
ပြစ်တွေ့ခဲ့ရ
If there was someone at 19,
ကျွန်တော်ပြောတယ်ကျွန်
next
know,
of 18.
Nova
I think that's a
King
super
so
valid
sorry.
way to approach it.
Rage
My
Blade,
concern
Rage
is
Blade
Kuna's
character
lobby
banana
is
so
giving up their own game at the tac
Level
crash.
10
It
မှာ
has
ဒီကောင် level 10
to
he
make
can
sure
Nova
one
King တွေက
person
ပုံမိုက်တယ်
doesn't win.
But to
မှန်တယ်
your
ပြောတာ
point, Bensack
Level 10
actually
မှာလား
got
ဆို
in
တော့
third place
ရှ
playing
ရှုံးမဲ့ကောင်
ရှိ
ရှိ
တာ
တာ
ရှိ
ရှ
ရ
င်း
တ
တင်
Aesol earlier
ရှုံးမဲ့ကောင်
on
အရင်
today,
လိုက်ဆက်ကောက်
and
လိုက်
that
တော့
was enough for just
Okay, go.
points.
That's true.
Nine,
But
nine,
it depends, I guess, on lobby complexion. In that spot, it was a
nine,
super low cap
Uh,
Take
lobby,
on nine,
and
those
so
are low.
playing
Take on nine,
the
low.
Mecha Aesol did work. I
Which
wouldn't
place,
expect
which
that to
place,
be
man?
normal,
Get
though.
to
I
the
think
hole.
in most lobbies, playing a line like that without Anima to support it will give you a bot 4.
Yeah.
do have to worry when it comes to the tempo that there is a birthday reunion player, Soju, so he's definitely going to be looking to go faster and get that 2-star legendary in. And there is going to be a 2-star bard that hits the field on the point because that was the champion from Orifar.
I love the flavor. Birthday reunion for Soju. Dish Soap, of course, being his study partner. Birthday reunion being the Dish Soap augment that was given to him after the tables win. There's actually a handful of our Tactician's Crown winner augments coming through. I believe it's Bensack that might be playing the body. Hailing all the way back to set 6.
Saver ကိုပြီးရင်
We are getting
ဘာလို့ on မှာတော့
ဟုတ်ဆိုကောင်းတယ်မဟုတ်လား Nova မှာ तू က flash scale နဲ့ပါဘူး
a game Nova very interesting strategy where we see one of the players in check trying to grief Lee Sao.
ရဖိုင်ပို့ဆော့တယ်လားကဲဟိုကလောက်ရခက်ခက်ပြေးတယ်ရ
So that's kind of awkward, right? Because if Jetty then it almost feels like you have to
let's go lah.
No.
Yeah, I think that's certainly
second one you can follow
you don't have anything on your board, you're going to lose. I feel like for Jedusaur he looked at his augments, none of the augments were a clear win out for him. But he still needs to get he doesn't run into Lee Sao.
ပုတ်ခဲ့ရတိုင်းပဲပြဿနာပါလဲဆိုအေးထွားမရှာမရမှာစိုးရိမ်နေငါ
players in the lobby that did take steamroll. I believe it's Hwanmie and K3 Soju. On the other side, though, the question is there anyone else that could be joining Jedusaur?
တရားတော့အဲ့ဒီကင်းဘုတ်တဲ့ဒီကင်းရက်ဘောက်ကတော့ပို strong တယ်ပြီးတော့ကင်းရက်ကိုဟိုပေးရမှာဆိုတော့မော့ပေးရမှာ
might take a couple of friends holding hands in order to make it possible, but it's going to be tough.
အဲ့ကိုမြမနဲ့လည်းပဲသွားတယ်ဆိုတော့
he has gone 6 and that's just to keep the steamroll active.
ဆိုတော့အလုံး
and Jedusaur does find Lee Sao. This was the action
ဒီရှောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီ
နေရာမှာလည်းneverတင်တယ်လား He knows exactly what he's done there.
The hero that this lobby wanted.
Zach, you got me, right? I did this, don't win this one. We got to go to the next game.
ဒါပေမဲ့မတန်ဘူးမတင်ပတ်စံအများကြီးပေးရမှာဆိုတော့မတန်
All the players cancel each other out.
ဟုတ်တယ်တင်ပြီးရှုံးလိုက်တာကတော့တည်ပါအကုန်လုံး strong ရမတင်နဲ့တော့ထားလိုက်
That's my prediction. I predicted it. Soju and 8 baby.
So Along will win this one, and then we will keep extending the game.
That's right.
Asia ဆော့ရကောင်3 by တော့
3 day last round playing around the MF and Urgot. You know why this surprises me?
စတယ်လို့ဘရိုကမိုက်တယ်ဗျ
I feel like most of the time you're not actually holding these units. I guess it is because through getting the challenger emblem up front to make the MF a little bit easier to hold, but generally speaking, don't do all that until you have support for them.
မနိုင်
Yeah, I also think it's position. He only needs 2 points, so he's just angling for something that has steady top 4, you know. We have talked about challenger and that's averaging like a 5.5
That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I would take it.
You know, that's 3 points.
Maybe we remove
more than 2 that he needed.
Up against Bensack.
လူမိုက်လို့
And it's actually pretty close, but it looks like Bensack's Gwen is barely not able to get over the
ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်စာရှုံးမှာကြောက်တွေးလေးပဲယူပြီးစိတ်ကလား
Okay ဗျာတွေ့တယ်
Palace ဖြစ်တာပေါ့ခေါ်လဲဟုတ်တယ်ငါလည်းကြိုက်တယ်
တွေ့
ကျွန်တော် top 4 လေးစကား
terrible. So Soju got no value out of this.
correct.
Well, at least some gold.
You get 3 gold. So if you think about it like that, it's
သူပြထားတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲနော်သူပြထားတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲအဲ့ပူတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲဆိုတော့ easy
compared to other guys.
ရှန်ရလေရှန်ထည့်လို့ရတယ်
It's definitely not good value, but it's
Morgana 2မရဘူးနော်
I don't think any player playing stage 2 from 3 to 6 gold down.
ဒါပေမဲ့တင်ပြီးတော့ပါထည့်
Yeah, it could be a really rough situation for some of these streaks that were broken, especially a Hwanmie that leveled aggressively to
ဒါပေမဲ့တင်ပြီးတော့
ရှုံးတာတင်ပြီးပါလို့ရှုံးတာဘာမှမတူဝင်လူစီတယ်မဝင်စီတယ်မဟုတ်
ဆောင်းလေး level တွေးတရားပြန်ရအောင်သဘောကျတယ်မပြည့်ဝင်စတိပါလား
ဟွမ်မီရတယ်ဟုတ်ဟွမ်မီနဲ့စတယ်လို့ဘယ်လိုပူတာကွာစတင်လို့ရပဲဟဲ့လို့
but not really just yet.
front line တက်နိုင်မှာဆိုတော့
rich နဲ့ blue back ကလည်းစိုက်နေမှာဖြစ်
some of these items apart though.
အဲ့ဒီဟာ
ကြည်တာစနနာပြောလေဂိမ်းပြန်ပေးပြရဆို
Hwanmie the freedom to just slam anything that you want. If he just wants to play for tempo, he could actually play for Sunfire plus Morello if he really wants to.
ရိုက်ပါတယ်
streaking.
တော့တခြားတော့နောက်တော့
He's
Nice.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not gonna do it. Let's not get crazy. Says I don't need it to win this fight.
Don't give my boy bad ideas, please, Gang Lee.
Nice. Full way up.
Whenever Gang Lee's cast
ကျွန်တော်
with this
တို့မပြတ်မတတ်သေးတယ်တက်တက်ရှင်ခေါင်းလောက်ကျွန်တော်ကိုရှင်နေအောင်နဲ့ဝင်တော့ထွက်နေ
I don't care.
ကိုချ်ပြီးပါဦးရဲ့
ကိုဘာကိုကြီးပါပါကျွန်တော်ကိုရှင်နေအောင်နဲ့ဆို don't look don't get it
Bongmia continues this win streak, and let's see what this second augment is
လူ
going
ဘာ
to
ကင်းတွေက
become.
မင်းစော့မယ်ဆိုမှအကုန်လုံးဝင်လာသဘောလေးကြာအဲ့ဒါ
and
အဲ့စတိတ်လာကိုဘိုတမလည်းလူဘာကကောင်မယ်စော့ကျင်နေ
to look for.
လို့ပြော
I got
ရ
roll.
ပါတယ်ရပါတယ်လို့ပါ
Why yeah, why? So no, can you yeah.
Epic roll down.
No, this is our no scout, no pivot player.
A lot of pretty weak options.
I don't
I
know.
wonder if it's feed the flames because you get at least a
Don't
little
put it-
bit
don't,
of
I don't
get it.
advance.
You don't
That's
know
too
how you
much
are,
on
can
top
you?
of what you might be getting from.
I don't even know how
Prior?
much the Omni Van
ပြော
is
ပြမ
really
ရဟို
doing
ဒီနေ့
for
ဝိတ်ရှိတယ်
like a lot of the board. You know, it's good on
နော်
the
ပြောရ
belt,
ကင်းတွန်းနေရတယ်တော့
but
ပြည့်ကြည့်လာပါရတယ်ပြရရတယ်
ends up taking just the
Wait,
Spirit
I win.
Visage
Let's
augment
go.
instead.
မကောက်ကအာ
Gives you
Rapid
a
fire
little bit
cannon
of
နေ
outline.
ပါလေ
It's not the
ကောင်း
worst,
လိုက်တာ
but
အဲ့ဒါ
it's
ကွက်တီ
certainly
ပဲ
wouldn't
တော့
consider it a premier augment for the Jinx
Afghan
reroll.
bit.
ဒီကောင်းစားဆော့ပါ
All right, so
နေ
full
ရတယ်
pivot
ဒီကင်းဆော့ပါ
Lulu
အဲ့တော့ကင်းတွန်းရတော့
reroll
ကျွန်တော်တို့
for
ကတော့
Jadusor
တ
after
ကောင်းတကောင်း
Jadusor
ဆော့
filling
ပါ
his board to stop that anima cash out.
ဒီတော့
We are getting a
စတ်ဟို
Scarlet
စတာကြီး
here,
တာပါ
and it's going to be 7
Sagi
four
da
copies
ba,
of the
sì.
Lulu already. I would
စတာကြီးတာ
consider
ပါ
him
ကြီးပြီ
a
Five,
healthy
Huntress
actually.
schedule. Yep.
Five with two tiny
Seven,
duplicators
from
from the team builder that he just took.
ဂရိပဲ first night ဆော့လိုက်မယ် idea နဲ့လည်း
We'll have a lot of items to tank
and
as
yeah.
well, but with the
Exactly,
serpent
as a
that
review,
strips MR resistance from the enemies, you really want a great
Yeah,
one.
and
It's
yeah,
a huge stalling version of the Lulu reroll.
အာမင်းရတယ် first night စီရကြီးဘာမှကြောက်ဟုတ်လေဆော့စီရ support မင်း rose
ဒီမှာဘူကထပ်ပေးနေပြီ
Forward thinking.
ကိုင်နာစားပါကွာ
You see
ကိုင်နာလို့
that
မ
sitting
မ
there right now with just 6 gold there.
That seems so risky
That was
to
one below.
combo both of those
Wow.
together,
Wow,
but
that's
since you did
Detroit.
lose your lost streak with the anima cash
Foul,
out, I
no?
wonder if you kind of have to
Foul, that's
take
foul.
something.
ဘောင်းလာ
from
step
the
first တာ
table
ဘောင်းဝဲဖြစ်ဖို့များနော်ဟုတ်တယ်
ဘောကွာဒီကတီးရလို့ရ
Needs another high cap augment, and forward thinking is one of them. The problem
that's
is
a bad
that
deal.
it just forces him
Why
into a very
you
low
wanna
cash
do
out.
that?
I thought he might be still angling for, you know, one of
ကောင်းတယ်ကောင်းတယ်ဒီကောင်းတယ်ရိုးရောနိုးဟိုဆောင်းနေပုတ်ကွက်ထုတ်ပြီးရကောင်းဆောင်းနေရအောင်
အော်ဒီကောင်လည်းမဆော့ဒီကောင်လည်းမဆော့ပါ rapid fire က
မဆော့ရင်ကောင်းတယ်မဆော့ရင် AC ဝီချီ
အမင်းလက်ချင်းထိတ်တာ
ဆော့ပါ
ပြီး
ဆော့
တော့မ
ပါ
နေပဲရှိတယ်
See, I mean,
ဆော့တော့ခဲပြောတယ် AC ဘယ်လို
we are
ကျင်းနေ
still
နိုင်အောင်
expecting 400 then, no, right? I think you still can get to 400 here.
တော့ဖို့ဝယ်ဆို
With a
ဆောင်းနေ
226 here, you have 2 losses.
နောက်ဆုံးပွဲမှာပဲ
Lulu
နိုင်
on
ဖို့လို့ဟုတ်တယ်မလား
4-1.
နောက်ဆုံးပွဲမှာ
ဟုတ်တယ်
let's go
I think it's possible. And 400
He does
with
so
forward
good, that's a
thinking, I
good
mean, does sound pretty strong.
ရောက်ဒီပုံကြီးနဲ့နိုင်တယ်ဆော့တယ်
And
လို့
Dr. Forward thinking as well with the bodyguard training and is angling towards something like
ရှရက်ပါလား
the
ပုံကြီးကောင်းသွားလားမ
If
သိ
you take
ဘူး
a look at our
ပွဲ
next
လေး
god
အဲ့လို
offering,
ဖြစ်
you
သွား
can
တယ်
either take some gold,
ရှရက်စံတာ
which is
ပါ
instantly picked
I
by
quite
some
wait
of
if I
our
didn't get red.
competitors as a
for
trade
sure
or
man for
AP.
sure
Yeah,
Never
and
think
also
rule
just think about it in conjunction with
after
forward thinking.
လူပါပါလေ
You take forward
ခရစ်နဲ့မ
thinking,
လား
you
စိတ်
lose
ပါ
all
လေ
the
တီးတာ
gold,
မသိ
you're losing interest
ဟုတ်တယ် ခရစ်
everywhere.
နဲ့
လက်တီရတယ်လက်တီ
စိတ်ပါကတည်းကချက်ဘူး
ဟုတ်တယ်
Some
ကင်း
that's
ရ
worth it
ကင်းရ
in the
လို
end.
င်းနဲ့တူအောင်
But what happens if
Mm,
now
kita
we
lihat
can
aja
actually
dulu,
kickstart our interest for a handful more turns?
Oh,
You're
oh
getting
my
the
God.
12, which
what
is
the
already
fuck
a
ဆောင်းနေ
huge
ရ
number of
ကျန်
gold.
ရှင်းရှင်းရှင်း
Oh my
To that, you're getting an extra 1,
ကျန်
Yeah,
တယ်လို့ရတယ်ဟို
3 gold of interest
ကတ
for
လ
the
င်းနေမှာ
next
ရှင်း
3
တယ်
turns.
ဟုတ်တယ်ရှင်းသွားတ
Also,
ယ်
just a small update there on
ရကောင်
the
လောလောကြည့်မယ်လောကြည့်မယ်လောကြည့်မယ်ဘာရရရရရ
Kita lihat dulu, Lindu Bangkok orang yang
still
dulu.
on the steamroll.
Good
Wait,
job.
come on,
He
wait, come on.
actually breaks
ဘာလဲ
Cornelius' streak here.
ကိတ်တင်းထုတ်မှာကိတ်တင်းထုတ်
kita
မှာ
lihat ထောက်ပါလေkita lihat
And as
ထောက်
we
ပါ
were talking about, he's not looking
Emblem,
at
emblem.
first place, but if he
Emblem,
can
emblem,
tempo and
emblem.
put enough pressure on the lobby,
Do it.
someone
Go
else
ahead,
can
come
help
on.
him finish the job.
ရတယ်ကောင်ရကောင် remover ရအများကြီးပဲရေးမကြည့်
Just think about that in terms of raw value. That's 15
Get rid of
gold,
it.
a 2 cost plus 1 gold coming through every round for
ဘော
Steel
ကြရ let's
Aurora.
go အဲ့
That
တော့
is
ဖို့စပေါ်
more
ဒီ
than the
ရ
other
ရတော့ဖို့ရ
gold
ရ
that
တော့
players just traded their HP for.
I
So,
think that's silver augment.
yeah, basically,
အဲ့ press ပါ
Lethal
Yeah, man.
cash out is going to
Yeah,
be
take that
massive
for
right
you.
here. Can he actually make it to 400?
Yeah,
That's
great
player
because
story,
because he was broken before. He's only
Yeah,
getting
great.
50 per round.
kita ni chola
So it
Ross-
looks a little bit
Ross-
difficult.
Ross-
actually.
ပရောင်းအဲ့
အကောင်တော်တော်အကောင်ထဲလို့ရတယ်ကွာ
HP
တော့မော်ဂါနာမရတော့တော့ထင်တယ်တိတယ်မော်ဂါနာဆွဲကောင်
I
နေ
don't
တောင်း
know.
မြင်
I don't think.
37
မော်ဂါနာ
not
ကောင်
very
တော့ထည့်လို့ရတ
much.
ယ်
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact numbers of
What
what
do
his
we do?
next
Roma
losses will be, but to get to 130
Roma.
does
တော်တော်တစ်ခုခုလိုပဲ brother ၄កောင်2កောင်ပြန်
I
ချော့
think
လို့
he
ပြ
actually might
မ
just
ဟုတ်
be
ရင်
a little bit too short.
တော့ရိုးတယ်လို့တရားမလို့ထားကြတယ်
So
ပတ်ထန်
close.
နေ
I
ဆို
wonder if he tries to trade some
Three
units
days
off the
he-
board here. He should have a lot of
ကင်းရ
items
လည်း
to
တူ
do
တာ
so.
ဘာအဲ့တော့လု
အ
ပ်
ကုန်လုံးစိမ့်ဆိုင်လောက်ပါလား
အဲ့ကိုရှစ်ချက်ကြီးမှာထိုင်ပြီး donkey လို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒါပွဲပြီးသွားတယ်
Good.
He also took the Evelyn boon, right? So he can't buy champions, and he's still streaking despite not having to look at anything in his shop. He is rich.
So swimming enriches so much that he's holding copies of Lulu so that Jedusor
ဒီကောင်တူး
actually
လို့လား
can't
ရောင်းလိုက်အောင်လား
get
ဆက်
that
ပြီး
as easily.
I have a tear of appreciation rolling down my cheek right now. Steal
You're mere
Bora,
apple,
he's a real one, you know? Getting everyone low HP,
That's how you
holding
do
out
it.
on the players in check. That's how you play check.
ជីជីတော့ဖို့ပြောလိုက်ရောချက်တယ်
And I'm really surprised
တွေးတယ်အများကြီး
he's
တော့
been able to do
ကြ
this
ပါ
since, you know, he only played 6 competitive games
နောက်ထပ် solid ရဲ့ win out ကိုလ
before
ည်းမစ
this
င်စားရအောင်
set.
နောက်
One of
ပွဲ
our youngest finalists.
ဒီကောင်ပြန်လာနေကျွန်တော်
Say that again.
He played 6 competitive games before this set.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
ဒီကောင်နိုင်အောင်
That's it?
ရှင်းနေတော့
At the regional level, or
He's
the,
like
the
a
Back
prodigy
on that.
then.
ပြီးတော့ first night ကတော့
What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
heck?
yeah, he's had a very, very impressive short period of time. Oh, we are just going to take the
What do we
300, or we're being offered the 300.
တိုင်းတယ်
Okay,
မယ်
so
okay.
hear me
Letting
out.
it ride.
I have the plan. We're losing on
Kraken.
4-1.
Yep.
And we are winning
ကရကန်မရှိဘူး
4-2.
ပိုးရှိရ
က
တယ်
ရကန်ရပြီ
We
ချိန်ရရပြီ
got 50. It
Ah,
looks like we
Titan.
got
မဟုတ်
50
ပါ
for
ဘူး
our
တိုက်တယ်
last
တိုက်တယ်
loss.
တိုက်
We
တယ်
need
တိုက်
to
တယ်
get a
Titan.
little bit more than that. Is it 60 maybe for the next
Where
loss?
is
ဟုတ်လေတိုက်တယ်
Wherever it does
ဟုတ်လေ
give
တိုက်
us
တယ်
and put us,
It is, it is.
အဲ့တော့
it should put us
ကောင်တွေတွေးနေတဲ့ကောင်တွေ
within
ပိုးပြီးနေပါ
16
တော့ပါရှိ
of the 400 threshold.
Yeah,
If we
pressure
can get
actually,
within
yeah. Mira, Buna,
16, all we need to do is beat a level 8
Mira,
board
Bisa, Bisa.
on 4-2, and we'll have the forward thinking. We'll have more
ကိုကျဲမှာ
than
crack
anyone else.
တိုက်တယ်
I see a world where
Titan,
Lisao
Titan,
gets this 400 cash out.
ရထည့်ပြပါ
I think you're absolutely right here.
ကောင်းတယ်
actually.
ကောင်းတယ်
You-
ဒါမှမဟုတ်စောင်း
ကောင်းတယ်
တယ်
ကောင်းတယ်
စောင်းလိုက်ရပို့ကောင်းတယ်ထင်
and once you get the 4-2, you
Hold
on.
have to keep your
Hold on, level
Emma
9 toilet.
in, but
Level
there's a
9
very high
ကျွန်တော်အခု
chance
ရောင်း
that
လိုက်ရ
he
မှာ
can
ဒီ
pick
နော
up
က်
a
ကောင်
couple
ဒီနောက်ကောင်
kills.
ရောင်းလိုက်မှာ
As we were
ဒီနောက်
talking
ကောင်
မ
ရေး
ရော
ပါ
င်းမရောင်းမရောင်းမရောင်းမရောင်းမရောင်းမရောင်းပတ်စံ
ဘောကနာရောင်းတာ
ပတ်စံလည်းပုတ်ကပို့ရည်ကြီး
should be able to
မော်
do
ကနာ
it.
လည်းမရောင်း
It's
ထား
just about how much HP he has.
ရောင်းမဲ့
ငါ
ကောင်
့တူ
ချင်း
စားမ
မ
ရ
ရ
ဘူး
ဘူး
ကျွန်တော်တို့က
Huge roll down from Steel Bora, who wants to continue
Tight damage
to
over there,
steamroll. He
Bora.
still
Now,
has
when that
outlaws
Shan
since
Bora
first
played,
picking
yeah.
that up, finds the Master Yi,
Yeah.
has no item slam. Oh,
ပြီးမှ
wait, he can
component
actually
MV နောက်ပိုင်းမှာရ
briefly
လို့
sour
ရ
it,
ရ
right?
အိုက်တန်လေးတ
No,
ခု
I
ကြည့်
think
လိုက်
his
ခင်
board's
ဗျာ
still a little too
Yeah,
strong.
yeah.
အဲ့တော့တိုင်မမ
Actually,
ဟုတ်ပါဘူး
by not
ကပ်ပရိတ်က
slamming-
ခုနဲ့ဆိုနေကင်းတော့
Is he going to give away any free kills?
I don't know
Nah,
if
nah,
it's
this
going
board's
to
not
be
killing
enough,
anything.
though.
True.
Go
Have
get
no
us back
fear.
Ooh,
actually-
Lisao knows this is a tough one. It's still
Wait.
Bora doing
Lisao,
everything
between
right.
That's 18.
တော့ဖို့ရပါတယ်
He's 18 short.
Holy
That means
shit.
He needs to
ကောင်း
either
ကောင်းလေး
lose
အ
the
ကုန်လုံးမင်း
next
ကို
round
တာ
or
ဖို့
win
လေ
two.
ဘယ်နာလေကင်းတို့ဝင်လာ
Because
လဲ
you
ဆို
get
ပြီး
two anima stacks per kill.
But they're getting their forward
Bro, that
thinking
Liga on
right now,
top
so I
video,
think you do
Morgana
actually
net on
have
it.
to like level and roll just a
Yeah.
little
ဟို
bit.
ဝီပါလား
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you
Holy
need
wow.
to. I think you
Holy
need to win.
By the way,
I don't
Brass
know
ဟုတ်တယ်
if
pro လာ
it's
တဲ့
the
တူ
most
ကြိုက်
perfect
တော့
loss
ရှိ
of
ကောင်းနေ
HP,
ကျွန်တော်ကောင်းနေ
unless it's the most perfect loss of all time. That with that's a 3-unit loss eliminates you. I think it needs to be 2 or better.
ရှန်ကိုတိုက်တန်
The
နဲ့
base
ဒါနဲ့
damage
ပြီး
you
တော့
take is 7, and
Giants
every
really
extra
have to
unit is
be-
အဲ့
1.
ဂျင်း
Okay,
ဆောက်
so
လို့ရလား
3
မင်းတို့စ
units
ကန်
or
စတာပါ
less, and he'll live.
ဒီ
ISO 3ရောင်းတယ်
That's
I have
asking for a
see
lot
who
for
care right
perfection.
you hold
He
I
does
don't
he has
hold
Early
to roll.
Fiora.
ဒီကောင်နိုင်လား question
Always
မနိုင်
not
တော့
enough.
This
Yeah.
is huge because he can actually heal back.
ဒါပေမဲ့ဥစားနှစ်ကောင်ပဲတူးစရာရှိတယ်တခြားဘုတ်ကအရင်ဝီးတယ်
And it's an anima as well. So
Mate,
one of
you
the
get it.
best
Oh, yeah,
units
I
to hit in this roll down, but the
I
irrelevant
don't
skills are
allow
still
people-
missing. He
no,
doesn't
I
have
don't
anyone
think-
to
Don't
feed
let Raz
the
do
items
that
just
going
yet.
to.
The karma's there. Karma 2's there.
မော်
Ace
ကနာတူ
can
မရ
get-
ခင် rad တူနေဆိုတယ်
Is he putting it in? Oh, he's just going to mech his front line instead. Oh, is
Did he
able to-
remove? Did he remove?
He couldn't remove, and this is
Yeah,
not
that's
the
what I
board
did
you want to
that.
fight. Along's board
Yeah, there you
is
go.
gold, and we have a 3-star Jinx and a 3-star
ဒီက
Akali.
350တွေကိုအဲ့လို
They're
ဖြစ်
going to
နေ
be ripping
Yeah.
through
You got the bottom
that
hit
front
that.
line. Oh, he
Go
did get the
on, yeah.
remover off in time. Question is, does it buy enough time? This 3-item Akali should be able to just break
Yeah.
through.
There's
ကောင်းလား
Hold on.
အိုက်တန်ကြည့်
4 units, gotta kill one more. Kill
He
one
shot
more.
you, right?
Kills the He's going to lose.
လို့နေတယ်
Oh my goodness, only
ဟို
one HP. Oh
Tao cũng
my
giảm cái
goodness,
Evelyn
Lee
của-
Sao
White.
still has an opportunity, still has life
Số
left
lượng
in
mà
this
số gì cả.
game.
ဥစားရှန်ကိုထည့်လို့ရ
တိုက်တ
That's good. That's good. For
Searing
Aurelion
Shortbow.
Soul.
Searing Shortbow, one of the items that can be used on Aurelion Soul.
He just needs the A Soul right now. Once the A Soul gets in, it's good.
ဘောဘီဒီကောင်ကိုစမ်းဖားရထည့်လိုက်တာပိုကောင်းနောက်ပိုင်းကျရင်ရှန်ကိုဒီကောင်ကို
Oh, wow.
ရှန်ကိုစမ်းဖားရ
Finally.
ရထားထည့်ပြီးလိုက်
The 3 lesser duplicators that we saw that Juan Mie had in the first game of the day.
Oh, he's gonna.
Oh no!
No! He risked it all, reforging it, trying to get a front
No,
line
no,
item.
no, no,
Oh,
no, no.
no.
He wanted a tank item for the Galio, but no, settle for it, please.
Wow.
Oh, that, if he loses this fight,
我先都往家，真係
That's
要
so
啲咯。
horrible. And Kwame ended
ဆော
up
နေရပါတယ်
hitting
သူ
the
9
Nami
ကျန်နေ
too.
ထိုင်ကြလာ
မ
ပြီ
ဟုတ်ဘူးမရဘူးကျွန်တော်ဘာလို့မလဲဒီ
Hitting
reverse
the
ဝယ်
mighty
လို့
back,
ပြေကောင်း
and
ရော
it's about to
350
start to
ဆို
target the back
FLA
line.
မော်ဂါနာမ
Even
ကော
though
င်း
the
ပါနေကြည့်တယ်
Aurelion
မော်
Soul
ဂါနာတွေ
has
အရင်
the
များနေ
stun
ရှင်
blade.
rush လုပ်လာ
အေး
ပါ
လိုက်
Nami's gonna catch in.
တွင်းကျွန်တော် Evelyn ဘူးနေကျွန်တော်ခီးရောမယ်ထင်တယ်ဟိုကချင်းနေ
What
ပါ
a
ရတယ်ဗျာ
razor's edge here for Lisao.
Soul Awakening helping out here, but he looks so deflated. Why did he go for that reforge?
Oh my goodness.
That was a good enough item. It gives you mana regen. It gives you lots of damage. You don't want to.
Oh my
ဒါ
goodness.
Evelyn
I
ပုံ
think he already had red buff
Plus
slam
one
going
damage.
on Karma, so Solar
Oh,
Fist
okay,
not
but they
going to be
don't.
necessary.
တင်းတင်းပြီထင်တယ်
Or actually maybe he
They
didn't.
got
No,
the
it looks like he did
okay.
take the Yasuo.
Sure.
If he didn't, that's a
He's-
တော်တော်များများ
great
Evelyn
pick.
အော်ဟိုအဲ့ကောင်မော်ဂါနာကြီးလည်းခိုးတာတတိထား
Oh, I think it was
Don't
asking
have
for
one
a
for
little
the
Raz
too
as
much.
well.
He does want to
Oh,
win
well,
this
that's
game.
right.
I think that is the sort of
But no, you
risk
gotta-
moves that you
you gotta
start to
do
get
what
every
the fuck.
year.
You're completely right. It's all the second
Damn,
places.
damn,
You
now we're
can
not
just
damn,
feel
damn.
haunting you. What if I didn't go for it?
You
and I
gotta do
came
what?
Wait
up
a
short?
minute, easy, easy,
And
easy.
unfortunately, this does feel
TG,
like a
that
moment where you
guy.
didn't need to. At the very least, you didn't need
Yeah.
to now. It gave you an item to plus
Don't
put at
worry.
least on your Karma too.
Ciao.
If you didn't want to move
Don't
anything off your
worry.
Aurelion Soul.
Wow. In the
Raz,
meantime, we
shit
do have a
your
very
mind.
strong board coming out from Jedusor on 30
အဲ့ရ
HP.
DK ရောပါအောင်ပါလို့ရရှန်ပေါ့
Soju already with the Graves too.
Wow, great transition from Soju. Super impressive, high APM. Up against Juanmei, so definitely needed to be fast on that turn. Problem is, he does not have a
Okay,
lot of
you know,
front
Ma,
line. Does have the Shen
Game
on
with
the
the
left-hand
Yaga,
side, but
နည်းမှားပါ
just a little bit short on the pieces there. The Graves 2 will be nice, but I don't think you're ever beating the stabilized
တော့နေ
stage
ဂိမ်းအာယုံ
three
ဆိုင်ဂိမ်း
board.
အာယုံဆိုင် hello
Not when
Don't worry, don't
the
worry.
Riven goes after you like that.
That's it.
Things
That's it. So don't
is,
take that. Take that.
မင်းတော့ဖိုးရမရမသိကြအောင်တွား check in လုပ်
But
တော့
I feel like there's still time for Soju to turn it
အားကြောင့် check in
around.
လုပ်လိုက်ရတယ်
HP totals are pretty close together. Soju, Jedusor, Benzak, kind of all within each other's reach.
တွေးဆောင်လို့မရဘူး
But
ခွေးမရ
Kwame is still kind of leading the lobby.
နောက်ဆုံးချက်တဲ့တ
I
ကောင်
do
ဖြစ်
want to
သွား
check
ဘော
on
ချက်
Benzak. It's been a while since
Bro,
we've
Liga
seen
Young,
this board.
Liga
We
Young.
knew he was going into an AP
ထိုး
position
လာလေ
right
ချင်း
here.
လိုက်ပြီးရင် Raz team ရှန်
Oh,
team
just combat augment running directly into Juanmia. This board stuck on 8 doesn't look like it's going to
Bro,
make
don't
it,
laugh.
unfortunately.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Okay.
look like a weak board. I mean, he has itemization for the Nami. He has 3 items on that Blitzcrank as well. If
no
he
way.
can get to 9, the bodyguard training will
Baga ni ama
spike
police
him
ko
quite
le sum
hard,
to.
especially in addition to the Baron
ဟုတ်တယ်
Slayer.
အကောင်တော့ထည့်ရအောင်
Hopping back on with
I know,
Lisao
start
still.
with it.
He is healing
Yeah,
up
they got Slayer combo
slowly
mà lúc
but
đầu này,
surely. Now has a
Even
second
Shroud.
item on that Fiora as well, so trying to get a little bit more value out of that Battle Bunny crossbow.
That bar
nice.
2 might just end this game for him. He's kind of
Yeah,
frowning
yeah,
to
yeah.
himself. The Bard cast goes through again, but no, not enough damage actually coming in.
Oh, the Vex is actually going to be able to take the 1v1 as
Hmm.
well versus that.
တရား
Akali.
တရားပါ
HP is pretty close outside of our top 2. 31
ရရ
between
နေပြီလို့ဖြစ်နေ
Tian
တော့
Long, and only that's 27 total between 3rd place and 8th place. Just a couple of fights could swing these standings entirely, but we should note our 3 players in check are all
Do
sitting
that
in
then
the
upload
bottom
this
4
shit.
right now.
And I
Ah,
do want to check on how
I-
many roles
I
that
you
Kwame has
your
banked off.
တိုက်တောင်
I am
ဖြုတ်ပြီး
a
တော့ရှန်ကို
Kwame
no
fan,
buy မလဲ
and I have seen his
Sapphire
game plan
ရဲ့တိုက်တ
for
န်
many
ပြီးတယ်
Oh.
times.
Jeez.
This
They
is how
position
he
him
likes
to
to
hang
play. He's always the person
Position
that's thinking
yeah.
of the highest cap possible. I
Hey,
think he plays a
Skin
standard
Row
game
mati
and
ang
only
Chang
rolls
on
until he
yung
realizes
baby.
that,
Kim
oh no,
Ram yeah.
maybe Lisa has stabilized or something. But he has that
No,
in his
solution
back
is
pocket,
not
pocket
possible.
ready to go. Following the
ကန်
bets
တော့
that
ကန်တရားတော့ကိုပါ
If
ရှိတယ်
1K gets a top 4 here, he will also be.
Oh,
in
he's
check.
all out,
That's
yeah.
where this game gets so exciting because you have so
Kok
many
yeah,
players
there's
in
only
check.
bully
You
in it.
can't all end up trying to play defense against each other.
Did
Boy,
you
like
think
that.
the
Wow.
loot subscription was a reforger? We're seeing it again!
Yeah,
Oh!
he did.
我見 us ရ
No.
တကယ်ပါလေဒီကင်ဆွတာဟုတ်
Poor guy.
မဟုတ်ရီကင်းလေရီ
Does
ကင်းဟိုမှာ
end
တ
up
ကောင်ပါ
putting this item on the Mighty Mac.
ဟုတ်ဗျာဘယ်လိုဖြစ်ကျွန်တော်ကြီးတဲ့ရတာ
Strong
Ah,
at the
bad
start,
beat,
so I'm
guys.
not
Solid
sure
as
exactly on the
someone, yeah,
stats
bad
on this
beat,
one
no.
of how it compares to a
ငါထင်တာပါလေကင်းတွေ့ကင်းတွေ့သူစားရရအောင်မရအောင်ဟိုဒီကေပါရှာပါ
It's probably comparable
Oh,
to
low
what
key one,
Asterix would be providing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
no,
exactly
why
how
are
it
they
is compared to like the shield.
It does actually give
အ
you
ဓိကပြတာ
40
ခုနပုံက
armor and 40
like line မရှိ
resistance,
front line မ
so
ရှိ
it's
ပါ
quite nice, but you are over indexing into things like the shred, and it's not a terrible item. It's a usable bruiser item, but there's definitely better tank options out there. So not a complete miss, definitely better than Battle Buddy. Let's put it that way.
Soju on one final life. If he goes out in 8th place, means that he
I
will
don't
hit
know.
on check going into the
Em
next
ai sai
game.
blue nine
And
ma
maybe
do.
he's
Kau
gonna
yi
do better.
uza
And
no
so
ba so.
Soju right
No
now
ba
hoping
pain
he
ni
can
de
win
lo
this
pyo
next
la.
fight, and maybe somebody can actually knock out
Ai no ba blue nine ma do.
him.
အဓိကပြဿနာပါလေငါအဓိကပြဿနာငါလောဘကြီးပါကင်းလွတ်တူရနေရောလို့တကယ်အဲ့ဒါတကယ်ရိုးချတယ်
မနိုင်ပြောမယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့မှာအိမ်မှာကိုသေးထိလို့ချတယ်ဟာရိုးပြီးကျန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေရှာတယ်ဟာ
but no, he's just
က
going to run into
င်းလွတ်တူရဟစ်သွားပါငါနိုင်တယ်မနိုင်
He's out on the other side. He's going to be facing off against Soju. Soju finally upgraded his deck to a Vex 2, so there's a lot more focus fire here onto the tanks. But this Mighty Mech is holding on and holding strong. The front line is sticking it together, and the Aurelians is able to finish off the Vex and finish off Soju in this game. On the left-hand side, Jennifer takes a big hit.
Oh, there is you all yeah. Sorry, yeah. ကျွန်တော်ကျင်းနေတယ်ဗျာလူအားဆိုဆိုင်ရမ်းပြီ
when
ငါပေါင်းတော့ချိန်တော့ချိန်တော့
အာယောအဲ့ဒါကိုအစ်စ်မမဟုတ်လားအဲ့ကိုရပိတ်သိနေရောပဲကျင်းတော့
အိုးပြဿနာငါပြဿနာ
ကောင်းဟာကောင်းကျွန်တော်ဆိုတာမှာပါ sorry
လော်ဘီတန်ပိုက balance မဖြစ်တာဟုတ်လားငါကဆရာကြီးတွက်ကြည့်ရောဟိုလော်ဘီတန်ပိုမြင်တယ်အဲ့တွက်ကြည့်နေတကယ်ပြဿနာလောဘကြီးကောင်လည်းပါတယ်မလို့လော်ဘီရော
ဆရာကြီးလော်ဘီမှာဗျာဆရာကြီးလော်ဘီမှာအကောတော့ level မှာဆိုကြတော့ level ကအဆင်ပြေတော့လော်ဘီမှာအကော level 9ရောက်တော့ရ level ကကျန်တယ်
and he's also relatively healthy. So
Thank you,
I feel like it
yeah.
will be the other two CN players that might be holding Lee Sao down in the end.
နေရဗျာဆရာကြီးခွက်တယ်ကနေလို့ရ
This is the brawler board that we're seeing from Stila of Bora right here. There is a chance that Mastery gets a lucky find into the back line, but not going to happen in this fight. Lee Sao is going to scale comfortably into his level 9 board and have more time to fight.
အဲ့ဒါစိတ်နဲ့ကောင်းတယ်
တကယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီကင်းနဲ့ပြောင်းတော့ဒီလိုလေးပဲဆိုလိုက်
just bowling ball and a
ကော်ကီလေးပဲဆိုတယ်
An avalanche.
ကောက်ရတယ်မရဘူးဗျဘိုးကြီးအများကြီးပဲစောင်းနေကြိုင်တာ
ဂူရိုက်တာဟိုဒီမိုင်ဘိုးတွေပါလိုက်တာများ
on the karma. Not exactly sure what Lee Sao
ဟုတ်
did.
ဘူးက
တကယ်ပြောရင်သူ့
But it's
value
worth noting
က
that Lee Sao did pivot out of that Fiora package and lean more into the Voyager. Try and get, I believe they were actually running.
တမင်းနေရတယ်တယောက်လက်တော့ဘန်
We're
ဆက်
seeing
တယ်
a big roll down here for Hwanmie.
He's 2 off of the Nami 3. This could be a huge win condition for him to actually
Ben's
get
not just
in.
dying. He's one off. He's one off.
Oh my gosh.
ဆိုကြည့်တက်သွားလားဆိုကြည့်ရရှင်းတဲ့သမားတွေ
Ribbon 3 that he's going for.
And he still has a lot of HP.
ရှင်းတော့ရတယ်မရ
He's taking all the
ရှင်းတော့ရတယ်မရ
forward
သေး
You
အမ
hear
စာ
the
ကြီး
name.
6တောင်းတယ်နော် by the way
We're checking across the benches right here. Nothing being held by Along.
I don't know if anyone else should. Right? I think if people recognize that Lee Sao is going to win this lobby, they should keep their hands off the Nami and let Hwanmie get it.
You're so right with that one. And look at Lee Sao. He's locked down the Riven. He's not doing the Binta mistake where he actually shows it. He's making sure that no one can find out about it.
Stilo Bora, despite that incredible start, and
Oh, he found it!
Whoa! With the three-star Nami. Every game we've had somebody playing spoiler. First it was a 10 meeple, now the 3-star Nami. This feels like Hwanmie's got to sit back, cracking his knuckles. He's like, let me show you youngsters how it's done.
Right? All the veterans see. So
အီလောင်းကတတိ
now
အ
it
ငယ်များ
looks
များ
like
ဆို
this
တဲ့
is
လူ
the
လောင်း
big
မရဘူး
winner
လောင်း
in
ပြီး
the
သွား
lobby. Hwanmie might extend this series
အဲ့စတိုင်လို့လဲ
into
ချက်မိ
6 games.
ချက်ဝင်သွားနော်
Jedusaur and Lee
Eh,
Sao
long
are
eh,
the last
Shan long eh,
players
dog
alive
did that.
that could finish off this game
Oh,
and this championship right here, right
Pero
now.
no me
But Tianlong on the other side of Hwanmie. Let's just see how much this Nami is capable of.
Just the damage from the
my
Nami,
God.
one
Teka,
shots across
teka.
the board, and
ဒီကငါဝါလာခနာ
at this
ယူရင်
point,
ကျင်းတော့က
Lee Sao
damage
needs
ရတယ်ကွာ
to
တ
do
လား
something incredibly
ငါထင်တာကိုပြောတာ
drastic to come back into and finish this championship.
but I'll come
Realistically,
on.
we will be going to
ဘာတော့ honor
a
ကြီးဟို
game
ကဘိုးတွေ
6 right here, and there's not even that many players in Czech going to a game 6. Only 4
fucking suck
ငါဘာမှဝါခဲ့ဟုတ်တယ် UFI ဘူကတကယ်
ယူ
ပြော
ပါ
တာ
ပါယူပါမားတာတစ်ချက်ပဲအဲ့ကင်းရက်တူမှာမရက်ပင်နဲ့ဆက်လို့ပေါ့အဲ့ TK နဲ့တော့ပဲလောက်ရှာတာ
one extra game where he effectively has
ဒါ
nothing to do
ကျွန်တော်မရှာဘဲနဲ့
but
အဲ့
make
ကင်း
sure
ရက်
the
တူနဲ့
tournament
ရက်
doesn't
ပြီး
end.
တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဂိုးလို့
အဲ့တော့မယ်လို့လိုက်တာ
Gatekeeper
ဟိုကောင်တွေက
of the
ဘုံဘုံဘုံ
lobby,
နေ
as
ရောက်
we
ပါ
like
နိုင်ပါ
to say.
ထိုင်ဦးနေ
ဟိုကောင်တွေက
Lee
နိုင်
Sao's
ရောက်ပြီး
board is
ဂျို
gonna
လို့
be
တော့
the
ပြော
most
တယ်ကျွန်တော်
important
တို့
if we get
တော်တယ်
any
ပဲရေးစား
drops.
မင်း
ကျွန်တော်တို့ရက်လိုက်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရက်လိုက်လို့ကျန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေဖြစ်သွားတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့တော့မရှင်း
ဟိုဒီကောက် log in ပဲ log in ပဲ
Man
log in
dash for it, that's
Okay,
the
okay.
only
3ယောက်ရှိရဗျာ
way
3ယောက်ပဲ
to
စဉ်းစား
actually
ဒီလို
go
ဒီလို
back
ကြမ်းမ
to
ပြီးတဲ့
it.
ပုံနဲ့ဘဲအောင်
We
ရှ
are
င်း
gonna
တယ်လေးပဲ
get
မရှိ
an
ဘူး
item check
Man,
or needed
မှန်တယ်
or needed
မှန်တယ်
ဟိုစဉ်းစားကြည့်စဉ်းစားကြည့်မှာ3ယောက်ရှိတယ်ဗျာ တော့ကတော့အဲ့လောက်ကြီးပိန်းနေလူတွေပေါ့ဗျာဒီလိုကြောက်နေတဲ့လူပဲဟိုစာရ
6 Mighty Max, he's also almost there, and then I realized this is, grieving to make sure that Lisa does not get it.
Oh, he's going for it. He's
ဟိုချက်တန်းကြဘဲလို့ဟိုရှုံးတာကိစ္စမျိုးဒီလိုမာစတာ48 FP ကဒီလိုဘဲလို့ရှုံးတာနည်းပေါက်တော့ကောင်းတယ်
not enough time, but Lisa
ဟိုလုံးဝမတိတဲ့တကယ်မတိတဲ့ကိုလည်းလုံးဝမဆော့တော့ဗျာလုံးဝမတိတဲ့ကိုလည်း
Okay
မဆော့ဘူးတဲ့မတိတဲ့ကိုလည်းလုံးဝမဆော့
Okay
Okay
sorry
fight win here for
ပြီးတော့လည်း
as Lisa gets knocked out.
ပရိုဝိုင်းလိုက်မကြည့်ပါနဲ့ဗျာသူများ
Taking some very necessary points
ပြီးတော့တွေ့ကြတော့ကြည့်ဦး
if the series extends.
တေး
I mean, all along,
အဲ့တော့တယ်
ဟိုတကယ်ကျင်းတယ်လို့စဉ်းစားကြည့်ဘာလို့ရှုံး
he's going to lose. Juan May will
ကျွန်တော်
lose.
တွေး
Going to 14.
အာဆိုင်မေရလည်းဖြစ်သွားပြီ
rewind
ဟောကြရဲ
Star 4 costs in this game.
All along going to
ကျွန်တော်
14 points does
ကျွန်တော်
mean that
4 လာ
only
7 4လာ 5လာ8ဒီလို
will
stage 5
to
ဒီ
get to check for the next game. And so if someone like
Brother
Tian
Lu ထွေးဆက်တာအမှ
Long
အဲ့
wins the
တိုင်း
next
ဘရက်ကလည်းပါ
lobby,
သေးရဲ့
Along goes third, we now could be in a position where we have everybody in check
ဟော
going
မေပြ
into
တယ်
that
ဟောမေ
next
တော့ပြတ
game.
ယ်
Yeah.
Who's gonna do more damage on this
ဟော
board
နာတူ
though? Is it
ဟောနာ
the
တူတကယ်
Griffin
မြင်ရ
or
တော့
is
ကျွန်
it
တော်
the
ဒီချိန်လောက်
Nami?
ဆို
I have no idea.
It's probably the Nani,
What do you
I
like?
guess. Faster?
Oh,
မေးရချက်ပါ
I think this is the fastest fight I have seen in teamfight tactics. Win going
Hey,
over
look,
to
Gulai was
Juan
on
Mie
it.
to
The guy,
solidify a check position going into game number
ကို
2.
တော့
But I
မ
do
တော့တော့
want to,
ဒါပေမဲ့
correct
show ရင်တ
ourselves
ခုပြော
that
ရသေး
actually
မှာ
it will be
အာ
5
အိမ်မှာမ
different
စောဘဲနဲ့ကိုတော့
players
တော့လိုက်
going
ချင်
into
ပါ
the next game onto checkmate. Of course, Juan Mie and Stilo of Bora.
ချက်မိပါနော်တည်း
Yeah, we kind of ignored him.
Yeah, we ignored the savior for some reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does go to show some old dogs can still learn some new tricks. I'm very interested to see if Juan May is able to close this out. When you look at what has happened for the entirety of his history, he kind of came out of the gate swinging in the early days of TFT. Tapered off a little bit. And I know, Clement, you and I have talked a lot about this period of time where where Juan May was almost anti-stats and felt like he was falling behind the trend. Feels to me like
Hey,
we're
Matt,
seeing
join it,
a new
join it,
Juan
join
May.
it.
Do you think it's actually the power of intuition overtaking the
No.
robots, or has he
Không cày này
acclimated to the new era?
ပြီးရင်ကျွန်တော်
I
ပင်
think
အများကြီး
this is
ဆို
a
တော့
great
ပို့
set
ဆို
for Juan Mie. It's a lot less about the details within each of your compositions and much more about creative thinking with high caps on your augments. In
Này
this
mà
current
kìa,
scene,
phải nãy
they
giờ
say
vậy.
if you want to win, you have to have a specialty on your board.
Nó nói này
Either
mà
a
thế.
correct artifact, a correct
Oh,
emblem,
mà trust
and
này,
whenever you
mà
think
là-
about a high cap
I
player,
am
your
sorry,
mind
fuck you.
immediately jumps
I am sorry,
33% first place rate over this set. Getting high caps has always been his specialty. He has very creative ways of getting there. We're thinking about the Paris Open, where he had that Radiant item and the Meld too to kind of clinch the championship. This
No,
is
it's not
his
even
type
that.
of environment, his type of set. And after getting the Grand Slam last time, we might be seeing the full renaissance.
I mean, in this game, it really was having the right
Tôi nói là
economy,
mình cố ý số này
waiting
là
till
tôi nói là
Bensack
tôi
was
phụ.
eliminated, so in banking all of those roles so that we had an avenue to actually hit that Nami 3.
ဖင်ရတယ်ကျွန်တော်
Commerce
ဆော့
Core
အဲ့
is
ကင်း
his
ဒရ
friend.
အဲ့
He's already
နို
taken
ဘာ
it
ငါးကောင်
to
ကျွန်တော်
the
ဆော့
finals
ဆော့တယ်ကျွန်တော်
in
မြင်
finals, and
ကြည့်
once I
ပါ
saw
ဒီ
him
အဲ့အမှတ်ကျွန်တော်အမှတ်ရှိတယ်ကျွန်တော်သိတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်က bro ပြောတာ
That's one of
န
the
ည်းသေး
pieces
တယ်
of information
အဲ့တော့မဟုတ်
that
ဘူး
the other
အို
players
က်တန်
do not
အိုက်တန်
have
တဘောတရားရ
On our standings, the competitors that have that little tacticians crown symbol
မဟုတ်ဘူး
next to
အဲ့ဒါတော့လုံးယူ
their
လို့ရသေး
player
တယ်
name
ဘာ
are
လို့လဲ
the
ဆိုတော့
players that
ဟို
are
ကကျွန်တော်ကကင်းတော့တယ်
check
ဆိုတော့အကုန်လုံး
and
ကင်းတော့အတွက်
win
အ
in this
ကုန်ဖြီး
next
လိုက်တာ
game in first place
ရုပ်
means
ပြ
that they
era
will
တက်သွား
win
ရုပ်ပြ
the
era တက်သွား
tacticians crown.
front
But
line
နေ
that
ပါ
doesn't
မတက်ပါ
mean
ဘူး
that the
မားတော့
challenge
ကျွန်
is
တော်
over
က
for
ပြော
the
တယ်
rest of
ဒါပေမဲ့
our
အိမ်မှာ
players.
စ
They
လိုက်
still
မျိုး
need to
လိုက်
consider
တော့
the points that they're
ဟို
going
ကောင်
to
လေး
get
လေပဲနိုင်မှာ
for
လို့ချင်
the
ပါဟိုကောင်လေးကလေပဲနိုင်မှာလို့ပြောချင်တယ်ကျွန်တော်လေပဲအိမ်မှာလည်းမလို့ပဲနိုင်မှာလည်း8 9နဲ့မတော်နိုင်လို့ဖြစ်
And keep in mind, if the next game we have Tianlong first,
No,
Along second, Soju third, all bets are off, and it's a free-for-all for whoever can get the next win in the game after.
The person leading the points charge right now
Sorry, I'm
is
wrong. Yeah,
Jet
Kavya didn't
Explorer,
say it down.
the boy wonder from France.
တာမင်မလို့တော့
We've
ခွေ
got
တာမင်မ
our
လို့တဲ့
videos
ခွေ
on
တော့ကျွန်တော်
standby
တော့
to
ချင်း
bring
နေ
us
ဆိုတော့
quick little
တက်
tactics.
ကိုင်းလို့တူဒီတော့
Thank you guys so much. Yes, we have been,
I'm
of
cheating
course,
by
very
cheating.
excited about Jedu's success thus far. And I don't know if you guys can
Queen
hear
Miko
it,
G
but we
doesn't.
were sitting over there telling players to sell the
I was
board,
a-
saying,
I'm not dating
you
machine
have
as
to
well.
stop
Yeah, only
this now.
yeah.
We were looking at Silo Bora saying, you're the
Yeah, only
chosen
yeah,
one. And he
Yeah,
doesn't
only
do
yeah,
it.
no way to
Who
bring
else
it.
steps up to the plate? It's Jedu.
စနေအဲ့မအိမ်မပြောမှာမလိမ့်နဲ့တော့
game we saw Lisao
အိပ်ပြောစရာလားရှုံးနေတာစဉ်းစားကြည့်ရုပ်စင်ပူတော့အိမ်မပြောဘူးကင်းတော့တွေးတရားဘာလဲစိတ်ဖို့တွေးတရားပြီးနေဟိုဘောဖုန်းနဲ့ထောက်ရတယ်
he tries to play anima
အဲ့ဒါတကယ်ပတ်ပြီးတကယ်အဲ့ first time ပဲတော့ရအောင် first time တော့ဒီတဲ့ချိန်ကောင်း
and puts him in a very difficult spot to actually get something that really
no more Kendra no more Kendra
thing to do if you're a player that is on check let me ruin my own game plan
တဲ့တော့ကျင်းရတာ Kendra ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ကြည့်တယ်မကြည့်တော့ထောက်ရတယ်
ကြည့်ရတော့ဒီတဲ့စက်ကောင်း
ဘလို့နိုဝါဆိုပြီးပြီးတော့ထွက်ပြီးပြန်ဝင်ထိုင်ကြည့်တယ်
sorry ပါဗျာ sorry ပါဗျာမရေပါ
ကျွန်တော်လည်းမစော့ဘူးဗျာသူ့ယုံပြီးဆိုတာသူကထောက်ပါတယ်
and he has a Nami in his shop so what
ဟာလေမသိကိုချိန်ပြောလို့လားဟိုနိုဘာပြဿနာအဲ့ဒါပဲသူကကိုမ solid what the way what the way မှာနိုဘာနဲ့တွဲဆက်လို့ရရမျိုးဆိုဆက်လို့ကောင်းတယ်တကယ်
how to play spoiler how to play defense and how to be a little bit of a bully
That is a great example for sure, and thanks for sharing that extra detail. That he rolled past the Nami in his shop just to put that back out into the pool.
EMEA teamwork.
Handshake agreement.
ဘလို့စပတ်ပါရဝိုင်းနိုဝါငါ့ကိုကင်းတင်းထောက်လဲတော့ဘောတေးကြဝိုင်း bro easy
no question now why he's going to be on today.
Great stuff coming in from him. You have that one punch coming in. Jedusor in the early game, and then really recognizes there's so many players.
တော့ပဲ value ရတယ်မကောင်းဘူး
ထိုင်ပြပြီးပါတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အခု
2ဝဲမှာလေဟို
so huge.
game that
Most of all, to be honest, has to be
3-2မှာလေဟိုဗာလေ UFI ပို UFI ပိုက compare လောက်ပါ
won the last
ပြတ်
championship.
ပိုတူမှာလေ
the first one ever. It was
founder
double
ဆက်ယူလိုက်တယ်
way
ဘောကဘာလဲ
back in
မဆိုင်
set
လို့
3, and they have come so close so many times. You can feel it. I actually feel like that heads-up play to me doesn't feel like a desperate person just doing anything they can to win. It actually feels like a measured elite player recognizing there's no way I can play this game well enough to go first, and I want that crown more than anything. He's not playing for second. He's playing to bring the crown home to EMEA.
It was highly calculated. There are not a lot of players, I feel like, that in like ranked games, for example, they might be thinking about that. In checkmate format, it does have to kind of open your mind to other ways that you might be able to win the game later. Because it isn't just about this current game, it's about the long game. Can I get to a point where I have the right conditions to get the first place myself?
I feel like for EMEA and the French scene, this is kind of the middle child starting to come into the spotlight, right? You have your in double, in Volta, coming in very strong in Lococo, and then you have your newer generation. Basic, Raiko, Go-Booster, those are all really strong names, and this set, none of them actually made it. We were feeling very down on the EMEA roster as a whole, but Jedusor could be stepping up, filling that gap, and turning a new page.
It's okay. I want to watch K3 so you win water.
It is those three players who are sitting at the bottom. It's their turn to flip. We saw this even as early as game 2 when Wanye had taken that first eighth and he said, you know what? Calculated loss, baby. You want to contest me? You can try. I've got nothing on my board. But with so many players in check, it's no longer about griefing the competition. It's about ensuring that you can go first. These three players now need to play as selfishly as possible. That's what I want to see. It's up to those three to save the world. And I really wonder what a selfish Soju is going to look like, because you know he's no.
Please not Corky Riven. Please not Corky Riven.
I totally agree with you. You know, you two have seen Soju play the.
I know you're a huge
Soju fan. What do you think his best high cap board is?
I feel like he tried really hard in that last game to be able to get that Vex fast line, had great articles together, but I felt like just flourish. But Soju is best when he takes what the game gives him and he runs with it, and so hopefully he'll be able to do that here. Soju, though, will be in check at the end of this game. It's really on Long and Tianlong. If they want to make it into that check position, they're going to have to come up with something big to also stop the rest of the win it all here.
I feel like most of the games that we've seen won have largely come off of
final
where we have a 5 or 6 way macro contest, and then the game's actually won by some random otherwise.
Totally possible happening in
Flash
this
out
game right here, and
push
we
it
are
out
going to get
CM8
the
ဟာကောင်းလိုက်တာနာမည် CM8 နှလုံးဝင်3လုံး3 letter ကြီးတာနေနေ
တွေ့တာတော့နာမည်လိုက်ကြီးနေပြီလို့နာမည်
မဟုတ် Discord နာမည်ကောင်းတယ်ဗါလေ3လုံးနဲ့3 letter နေ
Being able to get the front line through that Stargazer pack
ချစ်မောင်ဟင်း
very
အဲ
also
ချမ်းမောင်
allows you
ချမ်းမြင့်
to
ချမ်းမြင့်
have out for things
ချမ်း
like
မြင့်ဟင်း
tax reroll. So I
ချမ်း
wouldn't
ချမ်းမြင့်ဟ
be
င်းချက်
surprised to see Juan
ချိုမြင့်မောင်
on these 2 costs for
ချမ်းမြင့်ဟင်း
Tianlong to hold on to his. Whereas some of the other
ချစ်မောင်
ones,
ဟ
you
င်း
might
အဲ
need to check
TMA
Arbiter,
ချစ်မြင့်
83 Soju,
ချစ်မြင့်ဟ
you
င်း
see it right now on the right
ချစ်မြင့်ဟင်း
ချစ်မြင့်ဟင်း
အဲချစ်မြင့်ဟင်း
Fiona,
ချစ်မင်း
you
ရ
check
တော့
for a
ဘူး
printer or you check for
ချစ်မြင့်
gold.
ဟင်း
But in general, I feel like there aren't that many premier 2 costs that we're keeping.
I think it's still fine. Like, what if you high roll? Like, I would hold on to it just to see if you can high roll a
ဘုံနဲ့ဘုံနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့
because that
True.
might
ကျွန်တော်
give
ဒီ
you
မှာအဆင်မ
something
ပြေခဲ့နေ
really
တော့
big heading into the rest
ကျွန်
of
တော်
the
တို့
Went 2
လို့
is a great example.
အော်မာ
10 နိုင်
Many
ခွဲနဲ့
players be able to
12 နိုင်
find the early 22, and it allows them to
10 နိုင်
now
ခွဲ
မ
နဲ့
လုပ်ပါနဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ login ပါမ
stabilize
လုပ်
their
ပါ
mid
နဲ့
game
ပတ်သက်
for
နေ
players
ကုန်
like
ပြီပါ
Soju.
10 နိုင်ခွဲနဲ့12နိုင်
From
နှစ်ချိန်ညနေ
ahead,
နေနေ
it's the perfect
အဲ့
amount
တော့
of
30ကုန်ပါ
the space
ကျွန်တော်ဟာပါ
control.
ထည့်တယ်40ဗျာမလုပ်ပါနဲ့တော့ညာနေပြီ
And Soju's game plan, I
10
think,
ရတော့
would
ကိစ္စ
be
မရှိပါ
quite
ဘူး
clear
100လောက်ထိရရေးစစ်
for this game. He is
100
the
ကျော်တော့နည်းနည်း
defender.
ပြဿနာရှိပါ
He is the hero of the lobby. He's on 19 points.
He's got nothing better to do.
He's got
ကိုပါကို
nothing
မ
better
ဒ
to
လီယာ
do.
ပါလေ30
No
ဘူး
need to
လို့ထိုင်ရ
scavenge,
မ
no
ဒလီ
need
အဲ့
to
ဒါ
fight
ပူ
for
ရမယ်
placements. Just stop anyone in check from going first.
ဒီကိစ္စမဒလီနဲ့မဆိုင်တော့ဘူး
ဟာဘီကက်တကက်တကက်
We're going to start here with their augment selection. There's going to be Leona Printer as an option there. Silver.
How the fuck I lose
Augments.
this man
Expedition could be a very important augment to keep our mind or our eyes on.
ထားလိုက်ပါထားပါဟိတ်
Caretakers
မော့
as
ဆိုတော့
well.
သူများကောင်းတယ်သူများတော့လို့သူများနိုင်တယ်ကိုညံ့လို့ကိုရှောက်
Surely we're rolling past stellar
Mane.
combo here, right? Why is this not done already?
ပွဲကြည့်ကြမယ်
Someone knows something I don't?
တဲတာကုန်ဘူးလေ
Maybe just trying to toy with us a little bit there.
Carve a path picked up for Soju, which normally I see that taken and I'm thinking, is he just going to play Corki? There is no way he's playing Carve a Path into Corki this game though, right?
Well,
And Steel Board does get a Zoe upgrade here, so pretty impactful for the early game.
ချက်မိတ်ကပါနေရ
an augmented power from Along, so we should expect to see
ချက်မိတ်တရပူလေး
silver
လည်းပြမ
for
ထားဘူးဒီကောင်
augment
အော်ပြထား
for
ပြီ
our
ဆို
round
တက်တယ်လို့ပူတာရယ်ဘန်းဆက်ရယ်ဒီရှောင်းရယ်ပွမ်မီရ
On
ယ်
the
ချီ
side
လို့ဆိုရယ်
of Benzak.
ဘယ်လိုကြည့်တော့
You got
Caretaker.
Caretaker.
သူနာမည်ဟို region ရဲ့ပူ
Which,
တရပူလေး
is
ပါ
not on the board, so, right?
Tara
It-
puli
it's-
ba.
what's
ကျွန်
it
တော်
on
လည်း
the
က
board?
န်းနေတယ်
Yeah, it's there next to the Rex.
လိုင်းဒီပါ
He's got a pipe
No,
as
that's
well.
Steel Bora.
This is Steel Bora.
That's the other. That's yeah. Bensax was the other side.
Oh,
So I
you're
think
right.
I think he just stole it for Econ.
Never mind.
Not gonna be something he's looking to play around. Jetasaur does take the tiniest Titans. Curious to see if he was able to get. Okay, he's got some parts of the anima online. Do you roll on 2-5 to find the Alawi or the Aurora? I think it would be a pretty standard thing, or necessary is maybe the better word, necessary thing for Jetasaur to do in this position.
That's right. This entire game plan revolves on rolling on 2-5, trying to find 3 anima, playing from there, forcing the rest of the lobby to adapt and have someone,
pues sabe, ¿no?
become the Jeditor from last game, trying to break that streak and ruin their own game plan for a tiny bit.
ကောက်ဝိုင်းကြည့်ရကြပါဦးဗျာတော့ပါ
Okay, it's actually Caretaker's Pantheon,
Okay.
which is on the
တိတ်တော့မ
board.
ပြောတော့
Caretaker's
ပြောပါပါမြင်ပါ
Pantheon.
ဝိုင်းကြည့်ပါ
I got bad info, sorry.
Normally, when I see this, I'm thinking things like Lulu
မမီနိုင်တော့
or Emilio.
ပုံမှန်လေးပဲတော့ဟုတ်ပဲ
or
ဆိုတော့အေးစီ
I guess technically you could just play it as a strong front line going into Space Groove, but I'm trying to think if there's any super high cap lines that are enabled by this. Nothing's coming to mind immediately.
တော့ဆောင်းမှာပြီ Am I lagging?
ဟုတ်တယ်လက်နေကျွန်တော်ဒီမှာထည့်
ဟုတ်တော့
I mean, talking about the Pantheon,
ဟုတ်ရမယ်
there are a couple of boards like the Nova board that would end up using the Pantheon, or you could use the
Animal item.
Pantheon as a part of the
Go big,
Lulu
go home.
reroll. saw Ben
ဘာလို့
Sack
ဘာ
actually
တော့
holding
ဖို့
on
ရ
to
ရင်ရ
quite a
ပြီ
couple
သူ
of
က
those
ဖတ်
units.
နိုင်ပြမှာကိုဒီ
Army
တော့
has put together a very strong board here, even though he's not actually using the Gragas that came out of his caretakers. He has the full Primordium package upgraded.
It is extra econ at the very least every level. There's kind of like that min-max effect, but we are seeing a full cell from Along on the power-up. This potentially means that someone might have Anima. Jedisaur still, I think, is just on the 2 units.
Maybe just trying to grief the lost streak
regardless,
Yep, because Anima does scale with the lost streak, not lost streak with Anima in. So All Along saying, hey, I learned this trick from you last game, buddy. Time for your own medicine.
Back.
Our players contesting win streak does seem like it's Tianlong and Stila Abora are the 2 players on 3 win. Tiny Duplicators is interesting. Are there any players that had the opportunity to play around 1 cost? Not that I saw.
You could use it for tempo. I think in this scenario, game 6 of attack round with a few players in check, any kind of reroll, or especially 1 cost reroll, is not going to really cap high enough. So I don't think anyone will be too tempted by Varus throughout this game, especially if they're duplicators.
It's going to be important to see if Jedisaur does hit the Alawi, or if he even chooses to roll.
ဘာသလားလဲမဟုတ်ဘာတော့ဟာလဲမဟုတ်
Keep in mind that if he cannot find the Anima right now, it's going to set him back quite a bit. Every turn that is delayed is going to be reduced from your overall cash out. We are seeing Tianlong, one of our 3 win streakers. Still level 4, actually, not to even level to 5. Maybe believing he's not stronger than Stila Abora anyway.
He seems to be staying on 41 gold. I believe he's actually rolling for Anima this turn.
So maybe just going to dig on 3-1.
Or he has a shop and he doesn't have to roll, and he is.
Oh,
he does.
Yeah, he did. Nice.
3 gold goes down, so that it was waiting to fool us, but I think more importantly to fool the players in this lobby.
That's right.
The pings immediately have come out, so information is there. Every player is watching. And Jedu tried to be sneaky, but didn't quite work out. The police is out here.
Instant flood of players over to the board.
He's always smirking. We fly onto Jedisaur's board, and he's just got, look at him.
He's like,
He's like, you guys got me. Yeah, I tried.
Too bad.
I think with the 10 people, he wasn't smirking as much in the final 1v1.
That's fair. Tianlong does lose the win streak, so it will be Stila Abora, the only player contesting a 5 win through stage 2. Unfamiliar territory for K3 Soju, sitting at the bottom 2 of stage 2. We know he's generally trying to play around tempo. This time around, it doesn't seem to find any upgrades to really get there.
Yeah, I mean, just that's tough, but sometimes it's just what the game gives you, and when you pigeonhole yourself, you don't really want to have to roll early in order to get your things upgraded.
And like Soju said, he is a 19, just needs 1 more point to be in check, but if you don't win the tournament, placements do matter for prize pool, so he is incentivized to play still a strong game of TFT while looking for any opportunity to deny check players from developing their own game plans.
All right, 5 streak for Stila Abora as we end out stage number 2, and a 5 loss here.
You're like, come on, I've had nothing on my board for 5 rounds. You can't give me Jedisaur 1 time?
At least you get the economy from full selling your board, and also the fact that you're going to be putting those lost streaks together. But Jedisaur is very healthy, and also already accumulating stacks on the Anima cash out.
And Jedu will probably have a chance to 500 cash out as well with the extra HP, depending if no one breaks his streak in stage 3 in particular.
Who else can afford to? Because Along is in a position where he doesn't have this augment to give him extra HP, so he took this loss in all of these hits out of just whatever he started with at the beginning of the game. And can anybody else actually take a look at Jedisaur's board and play keep away from the Anima cash out?
The longer this loss streak continues, and the longer Soju does not fight him, I think Soju will have more and more pressure to think about just open forwarding and selling his board if he feels he will be facing Jedisaur soon. Simply because, like we said, Soju's on 19. He can take an 8th place. How long is back to his game plan? Open forwarding hits Tianlong instead. Jedu
like,
has
I'm trying, guys. At some point in time, Along's going to run into a spot where you
MA
have
transformation
to
mana buကောင်းတာပဲဆို
we've all been there before. You're trying to save the lobby, you want to be the defender, but eventually you have to worry about your own
GG show ခြင်းပေါ့
I would say
GG show
generally,
ခြင်း
if
ပေါ့
you're
အခုတော့လည်းဖောင်းပေးရမှာ
style,
GG
you have until 3-5 to stabilize or come up with a good
Nami
game
can.
plan.
You got Nami
There are
there.
many times
Oh,
even on 3-2 you might
Nami
decide
don't
this is
see
where I
that,
need to build.
You got Nami.
Tier
Wow,
မရှိပါဘူး
Along's gonna get a prismatic
You got a left down to
Cosmic
it.
Restart is an interesting option here because he can sell his entire board and
I don't
hedge
want to worry
if
with it,
he has Jedu in his matchmaking pool to face him.
I mean, he has got to be married,
without
yeah.
buying anything, just playing around the emblems. But Steeler Board decides I don't want to be the
You got
hero.
wait, GG,
I'm also
that
on check. I have a zone
wait,
2 I'd
okay,
rather
yeah.
play around my own game plan and hope for the best and hope Jedu faces all along now.
ကြိုက်တော့ပြတယ်ပဲဖိတ်စားကြည့်ချက်ပြီးတော့ဖြစ်
And with the prismatic augment, he does pick up sweet treats, which will offer him an artifact. And that's going to be a lot of value coming in for his board. Oh, Genesaur picking up forward thinking is so big.
That's crazy.
We're already seeing
Oh,
Genesaur once again in familiar territory. Just a few games ago, we saw him look to be in a prime position where it felt like he was guaranteed to win the lobby, and someone was able to deny him then. Along is doing his best this game, but he keeps dodging Genesaur.
And you usually cannot pick up forward thinking with Anima because you don't have time. You can't reach 4-2. If you do reach 4-2, it's on literally 1 HP. You have to do everything on one turn. But with the Tiny Titans, you have this window where maybe you can cash out and stabilize on 4-3 on 1 life, but with infinite gold, potentially a 500 cash out, and it's almost unstoppable if you're able to hit your 2 stars. I imagine Mech Aesol is the game plan for Jedu. 3 more rounds in stage 4. These are the pivotal ones. Is anyone going to stop Jedu from trying to emulate Lee Sao's game plan from game 5?
Along, I just don't know if Along
ဒီကောင်ဘယ်လိုလုပ်မှာလဲနိုင်ရှုံးနိုင်ဖြစ်နေ Oh my god.
do it anymore.
I think at this point, you might as well.
ဒီအိမ်အဓိက
You have so
ပုံ
few
မှန်တိုင်းနေပဲ
points,
ဆိုပြီးတော့လည်းပဲ
and you're already
အိ
at
မ်
a
မ
point
ရူတော့မှ
where
နာမည်
you're
ဟင်း
past
နေရ
the
ပြီ
point
အဲ့
of
ပုံ
no
ပေါ့
return.
ကျွန်တော်
I think I'm with you.
တက်ရတယ် on to
But
လောက်ဖြစ်နေရ
Genesaur is actually going to wait to buy the Aurora again.
Oh.
And it is Along on the other side. So Genesaur is going to get griefed here.
The full open fort.
Look at him. We got all of the neighbors coming over the fence to say, good job, buddy. Way to go. Keeping us alive.
And this is one of the worst times for this to happen. If it's early in stage 2, maybe you're fine with a Tiny Titan HP to still make it to 400. But at this point, it's a full reset when you're at the peak of the powers, basically, in terms of the stack accumulation. A tragedy for Jedu. Lee Sao is quite happy.
Yeah.
There's a handful of players
Thanks, buddy.
who are feeling quite good. We are
Do
seeing
I,
that. We can kind of divert our attention once again to some of the other players who are in check. Steel of Bora is one of those players who we saw be in a very similar situation last game, streaking all the way through the back half of stage 2, all of stage 3, ended up with a bot 4 finish. This time around, looking very similar, and I do wonder if maybe the key is just to find a line that is a little bit less contested. Kind of found himself in the mix-up of
စောလင်းနောက်
the
augment
four-cost
2
battle,
2တိုင်ရ
wasn't
ရ
able
တ
to
ယ်
get
ဒီ
everything online quite fast enough.
Just a Zoe 2 from Steel of Bora is an incredibly strong carry for the early game. Has the early karma as well to pair for the Voyager, with the more Dark Star. This is looking like an attempt at probably a similar game plan we saw from both Steel of Bora and Huan.
ရှိုးခြင်းတော့မပါဘူးရှင့်
Game 4, playing for a slight roll on 8, a stable enough AP
ဒါ
flex
ကွာကြီးတာ
where
ဒီကလော
3 to 9,
ဒီကလောပူကောင်းနေ
keep
တယ်
it out as high as possible.
Along is
ဒီ
taking
ကလောနဲ့
Mech
ကလောတစ်ခုထည့်ပြီးကာကွာရေးဒါမှမဟုတ်ဒါချင်းပဲရှိတယ်
Mighty Mech and
ရ
Aurelian
ကာဝိုင်းနေ
already
ကာဝိုင်းပဲ
found.
ဟို
So
ကလော
last
နေတယ်
streak, he
Chain
still
Bus
had a
က
game plan, he just
ရ
didn't
ရင်
steal
ရှိ
the anima stacks.
ပြီးရင်ဟို
But he
တက်
is
တွေပါ
really
လို့လေ
trying to
တ
copy
ကယ်
paste
ချင်းပဲ
his
ပြ
own
ခဲ့
game plan
ကြော
now.
က်ရှိ
I would argue he did kind of steal the anima stacks with as strong as Genesaur's catch out's going to end up being by the time he gets there.
He just has to. He traded HP. Like, it's going to take him longer
You
to
got
get
level
there,
up.
but he could still get there. And you have to remember that there's forward thinking. That gold is going to come back through for Jedusaur and Huamye. So those rolldowns are going to be huge.
And Soju looks to me like he says, you know what? I have one more chance to play Corki this set.
Super.
I'm
Kali buat
gonna
sana
use
juga.
it wisely before I go into
Main
first or
out.
8th mode.
He did win a game on Corki
Jadi kalah.
yesterday, and we were all completely
Sini
shocked
arrow.
by it. But it is possible.
ကောင်းတယ်လေမ
I
ဟုတ်
still
ဘူးလေ
need to go back and watch that replay.
Nee, dat is wel
I was still shocked, but
Oh, never mind. He sold a Ramus.
Like ဒီကလော
လောက်ပါ
It
လို့
is
တော့မဟုတ်
not
ဘူး
going to be Corki.
Oh,
Maybe it's just a kindred game. He's gonna have to get comfortable with that type of game plan at some point. So maybe.
အမီဆုံးမယ်ဆို trade ရဆိုးတော့လို့ဒါပေမဲ့ဘရောင်းပါကြိုက်တယ်မှာ
Jedisaur actually cashed
ဘာလို့မ item
out.
ရှိရတဲ့
နာမီ
Okay. Trying to cut his losses and
Technique
say,
technique
let me just instead try and
တက်နေ
play
တယ်ပို
around
ကောင်းပါ
a... Wait, actually, did he?
ကောင်း
Oh, he's forward thinking. I'm like,
How'd you
he's
run
already
away?
got gold. He spent all his gold.
No,
I got baited
no.
for a second. We're gonna have to play a
Tiny
more
dynamic,
standard game.
တိုင်းရတယ်ဆို
Probably
တော့
can't even play into the next
တွေး
basal line
ပို့
because
ရ
how
မယ်
long
ရ
will
ဝို
you
င်း
roll
တော့ပို့
with
ထွန်းနေတာ
that? You don't want to be the second person who
Don't
will
hold on,
be
yeah.
contested. You want to be the
Tiny
second person to
dynamic.
roll when you're uncontested.
Could still play into something like a Nami. This
Yeah,
wave
it would
line
be showing,
in
yeah,
general,
yeah.
I think overall we'll see a really big spike from a ton of players. On
Tediata
4-2, we'll
ကိုပဲ
see
ကို
what
ယ်
lines
အား
they
သူ
end
ရ
up going into. Steel Board is not coming into LeBlanc at all. Doesn't have the Rage Blade Slam, so he's also still quite
Forgot
open
to
to
rush
all
out in
different
Yasuo.
variants of AP Flex coming out of the Zoe.
It will affect
All the line will tell you
the
that.
roll
ဒီကောင်
speed
လည်းပဲ online ရ
on level 8. And all along, you can see some frustration there. Once you got his win,
I got that,
on
skill in my
5,
bum,
really
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
follow it up
yeah,
with another
yeah.
win. Leaning back in his
We
chair,
don't,
you can
yeah,
just
we do.
feel the disappointment out of that loss.
သူရတော့ပြန်တက် econ နဲ့ရ
So 3 players to watch now coming into stage
What the
4.
hell?
Both Jedu
Yeah.
and Hwamie are on forward thinking, so 4-2 will be that big spike run for both of them.
အဲ့ကောင်ဒါ
For
plus 1
Bensack, he's on epic roll down. We could potentially see that come out on 4-1. Maybe Bensack just holds a
Nami
little
ရှိလား
bit
Nami ရှိလား
until 4-2 for just that little
Nami
bit
မရှိ
extra
တော့
roll to try and hit his
ဒီကောင်နာ
board.
ဒီကောင်နာ
There are
ဟုတ်
quite
ပါ
a
ဒီ
few
ကောင်လက်
AD
လောက်
players, weirdly enough, in this lobby. Soju, Bensack, and Hwamie all building towards AD lines.
ဒီကောင်နာမီလောက်လား
Wonder if you're just thinking about
Level
going
down,
for
level down,
play
level down.
around melee carries like Fiora,
ဒီကောင်လည်း level လောက်
Graves, Shen. Would be nice to be able to see some of those units, but I can't wait to see these roll downs on
ဒီကွန်ဂျင်ပါ
4-2.
လေးစိုးရိမ်
And the fact that Juan Mie has been able to save so much HP
Mystery
while
opinion.
playing on forward thinking means that he earned a lot of gold back just off of the wins and his streak.
အဲ့ဒီမင်းနဲ့ခုနအခုဒီချောင်းဝဲကောင်စောက်ရဲ
Pick up
ဆို
early on,
Let
playing
them
3
buy.
Primordian, 3
Okay,
Time
ma,
Breaker
time
while
breaker,
winning fights,
oh,
while generating
Primordian.
econ. So Hwamie in a very good position, I would say,
အဲ့ကောင်
from a
တော့
big
ချမ်း
picture
သာတယ်
standpoint to take
Most
over this
people
game.
are the
Bensack as well, his go-to
အဲ့
comp
ဥစ္စာ
across
Primordial
the
မရှိ
entirety
time
of
breaker
the later stages
time
of the
breaker
set
ကောင်း
has
ပါတယ်ဆရာ
some
သူ့မှာ
form
ပါ
of
တယ်
Kindred Flex
Now,
into a
video
fast line board with Graves as a dual carry, with Vex coming in online as well. So Bensack
Icon-
was pretty
icon
happy
below the one,
to
like,
be in line to
Icon.
play that exact game.
ရဖန်ပဲဖြစ်မှာအဲ့ကောင်မရှိ
He looks
Yeah.
very
So you
strong
look at-
considering he's
something
playing
like
against
that.
a
Yeah.
diesel
Yeah.
on the other side. And Lee Sao with this
Oh.
very early
Yeah.
ace, he will be taking that away from players like Along and Jedisaur if Jedisaur did end up deciding to still play into that. Though I imagine it's almost certain that Jedisaur will pivot into something like the Space Groove or the more normal AP Flex
ဒီမှာ
lines.
ဓာတ်ပါထက်ကြအောင်နော်
Duo Q picked up for Juan Mie.
Yeah.
You can see, let's see, he's going to level up.
I'll make
So he's gonna
consider
low one.
holding here, playing for 3
sure,
time break,
no.
continuing to play for lost streak now in stage 4,
Ooh.
sacrificing his HP, adding Anima for some extra resources, then going all in on 9 for the win out board. I think he'll do exactly that. He can
Oh,
pre-level
TBC
here.
up.
I think he would want to green
Oh,
as
front
much
of it.
gold as possible, but he can go 9 right now above
ဘူးတော့နေ
50.
လာတယ်4-2
He's not really punished for it.
ပေါ်ကျွန်တော်4-1ကြတော့ rule out တော့
It seems.
A Riven 2 would be
ဒီစား
really
view
big.
ဆောနေတာငါကောင်ပဲ
Shen
ဆော
2 as well. He's on Vex
Vex
pair.
တော့လည်း contest မဖြစ်ရင် 4-2မှာရောပါလားဟုတ်တယ်တွေ့ရကျဲ
အဲ့အဲ့မှာ Blitzcrank 2ဝါးကျတော့ဆိုတာဟယ်လို
အကောင်လုံးဟိုစား APA ဆောင်းရရချင်း
AD items?
That's a good question. Actually, I think it probably might. It
Contest
probably
မဖြစ်ရင်
feels
တော့
better to
ကိစ္စ
just
တော့မ
use
ရှိဘူး
these
လေ
items on the Graves
4-2
instead,
မှာရော
or the Fiora.
You have
အဲ့တော့ပတ်စံ
players that
အခု
can
ဒီဘက်နဲ့ကုန်သွားမှာတယ်
have a higher likelihood
It's around
of
who
starting
that is,
those up.
Graves a little harder to
Back
get
out
onto
of
the
there,
board and
yeah.
get full value out of it. So I think he's gonna keep it simple, stick to the
ရန်
more
ကွန်တက်
normal
မှာ
game plan,
အဲ
just-
ဟိုး
ဟိုး
high
ဟိုး
high
မာဒါဟိုး
But
Nah,
Jedisaur,
He's on Blitz too.
he is on Blitz too.
20 gold left.
Yeah,
over.
easy,
No
easy,
Anima,
yeah.
no problem.
Well,
When
you
you
got
have
Malula out of
enough
it.
gold
Let's go,
to
I can
hit,
tell you.
and you high roll a tiny bit as well.
Tiny bit.
He's on
He
his way
do
to
that
9.
all in
Doesn't
the
have a
way,
Nami
yeah.
too, so yes, tiny bit.
Okay,
Didn't hit everything.
sure.
ဒီဘူကောင်း
I would love to high roll a little bit every now and then.
So you would need more
တဲ့
than
ကိစ္စ
that.
လေးပဲကတော့တော့ကိစ္စမရှိဘူး
ရဘူး Blaze Cloud ထည့်ပြီးလိုက်
Bensack did roll
Yeah.
down. Found one Yi
quite big,
pair of
hello.
Kindreds. Gonna have to roll
Big,
quite
big.
a bit
This
more.
one
One sheet down.
There we go. Kindred 2.
ဟိုတက်
A
လေ
reasonable
2 has လေ
spot. It's
သူကပိတ်သွား
honestly lost
တယ်တဲ့တိုင်
ရဝတ်ချင်ဝတ်ချင်တော့ပါ
This is a
Right,
very
yeah.
tricky spot.
Pandora's 4-2 is just not ideal, I would say.
You just
Lens
don't
shot
have
ở trên
enough
cầu nào mà
gold
còn nhiều này,
to feel like if you roll, you're going to hit, but you also
Hey,
don't
risk con nào đạt được
necessarily
cầu
feel
này
like
sau
you're
này.
expected to streak through the rest of the stage, which means you're going to be in a spot where you're just losing while not having an easy way to get any stronger. To me, it looks, I wouldn't say it's certainly not favorable.
One is exactly well, just way lower cap and having to actually earn your way to fast 9 or to level 9 in general off of the kindred pair, not being able to skip level 8 altogether. Because of all his extra HP and the econ. The Blitz here doing so much work for Jedu. Despite the low HP, he should be stable. I think he'll keep this 30 HP throughout stage 4.
Solid Blitz gonna do yeah, blood as
late game spike on stage 5.
Holy, Blitz to me Masala, Blitz gonna beginning
But at this point, 50 gold, I think Sealabor is not trying to play forward, is instead just going to be skipping level 8, go straight to 9, and play for the high cap. Keep in mind, 21 points. It might be one of the lower point totals in the field, but it is high enough for Chad.
We've been talking about that and setting the stage for all you're behind in the points. You just need the first place when it counts. If you're at the lower end of the HP in this lobby, you are going to be getting higher cost champions. And so Jedusaur actually able to pick up one of the 5 costs here, a Shen, to be able to add onto the board and get that Bastion synergy on. If he wants.
I think right now his current board might be the strongest that he can find. Wani is going to Graves too. Just find Vex 2. Oftentimes determined, or their outcome is determined by how it's currently sitting on TK1, Nunu 1, more
Wow,
that
I do wonder if Kwame regrets pulling the trigger on 4-2. Had a lot of HP to trade. There was not necessarily that many Nova Fast 9 players. Benzak was rolling more for the E-Kindred variation on 8, more humble variation. The rest of the players are not necessarily buying Fioras and Vexes. They're buying the 8 variation instead. That's very least waited till 4-5, and then now he's kind of stuck in between 2 game plans where he hasn't hit anything hard, and he's losing fights anyway. What's the point of rolling to 0 fights after that?
I guess now the goal is going to have to be trying to go level 10. And
no,
you also have a PB gold to consider you actually want to roll with, but Jedusaur, Benzak, 20 HP. It's going to be a tough couple of fights. Benzak did actually get the Mastery upgraded alongside the Kindred. But for Jedusaur, it's going to be this Blitzcrank 2 and Nami, where he has to put his hopes in this game and win the crown.
Soju is on Zaya too, but the usual suspect, no new.
That
is a big problem with stability. You do have a pretty strong Zaya build with the
we'll see if there's enough frontline. For Jedu.
It's a loss for Benzak as he faced Kwame. That board is really starting to come online with all of those
Kwame was that right? He can never consider level. So Kwame will unfortunately just be kind of stuck. He rolls a try to find the TK. Maybe more likely is you wait for Benzak to die. And when Benzak does die, you now have 3 TKs added into the pool. You have another shot at getting that front line.
Benzak believes he might have to play 4 cost. 5 Kindreds, 4 Master Yis. That's not going to be quite enough, it looks like. I think his board is just too low cap, a little bit too humble here. I don't think he'll be the player to end the tournament on 6.
He's trying to find any permutation of this board that's going to give him a chance to actually get a 3-star 4 cost. Maybe if it's this Master Yi, you are going to be able to slice through enough units, but you're losing so much of your board. I think this is where Benzak is going to give up hope. There's nothing else that he can do here to avoid going 8.
be a
bro တီးရမလားဆိုကြည့်ထားပုံလား
The new one is
ရပါတော့ဘေးဘက်ဆုံးမှာထား
good upgrade.
ဘေးဘက်ဆုံးမှာသူကဘလေးစကွက်နဲ့ဆိုင်လာမိထည့်တာ
ပုံမှန်ဖိုက်တာကိုစစ်ထားလို့အဲ့ကိစ္စမရှိမိတာမိတာ
အဲ့ဒါကတော့
ရိုးရအဲ့ဒါဆိုရိုး
ရိုးရ
Soju's days are numbered.
ရ
မော်ဂါနာလေးပါဟုတ်လား
တောက်ဆုံးဖို့ဘေးဘက်တောက်ဆုံးဖို့
ဘယ်ဘက်တော့ဆုံးဖို့လဲပြီးတော့အော်ကိုဘစ်ကပေးထားလိုက်
ဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါဆိုရွတ်ထား
ရှန်ကမိတာလိုက်ကဘာမှမဖြစ်အနောက်မှာပဲထားလို့ရ
He was not going to be the player to win.
ရနာတော့နောက်မှာ
တူထားလိုက်ပါတူခွဲထားမှာ
တော့နောက်မှာထားရဘရူစောလီတဲ့ကိုဖရောဘရူစောလီတဲ့
ဘယ်လိုဆောလင်းဂိမ်းပလေးလာကြည့်ရင်ဒီစကော့
ဆောလင်းဂိမ်းလေးလာကြည့်ရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီဝင်ဝင်ရအောင်
tournament ပြိုင်နေတယ်
tournament ဆိုတာ
ပြိုင်ဝဲပါဟို violation rule ကိုဟိုစီကတ်ချိုးပေါက်ပြီးနိုင်လဲမနိုင်ဘူးပြရအခုကပြဿနာ
တော့တော့ရပါတယ်ဝဲဝဲဟိုမှာတော့တယ်
အဲ plus ကကျတယ် plus တိုက်တယ်နဲ့ plus က
Steelo is still on the Victor 2 as the secondary carry. Isn't able to get the Sona online, but still a pretty reasonable board. Not quite enough to get over Along.
He don't be a nine.
အခုနောက်တစ်မျိုးမဖြစ်တော့ဒီလေးပါ rule လိုက်မလား
Privilege of being able to play very
ဒီကမ
slow.
ကောင်ကျန်နေတာပတ်ကြည့်နေတာ
Steelo still sitting at 40 gold right now.
And holding. Do you see that?
No, that's right.
ရှင်း
You're
လို့
right.
ရရကောင်
မရှိရိုးချလိုက်မင်းအစတက်တော့မိနေ
Soju found another win, and it's Tianlong who's been on
3 win 3ဆိုတော့
နာမည်ပဲဆက်လို့ရတယ်ပဲဆက်လို့ရတယ်
down to just 3.
ဟုတ်တယ်ဒါပြီးနှစ်ကောင်စော့လေးရ
Find the Sona pair. Sona 2 could be a difference maker.
On his last life, though, doesn't really have the time to try and find the Sona upgrade. He needs to start winning now.
ရထားလို့လည်းပဲတင်လိုက်
Just Soju and Along, two players.
Level 9 မှာနာမည်နှစ်ကောင်ထည့်ရအောင်
in the lobby. Soju has hit one Nunu at the very least, so he'll have a little bit of CC to buy some more time for the Zaya to scale into the fight.
Sorry
As we approach the end of stage 5, we really are looking at our players that are in check. Leads out, Jedusor, Hanmye, and Steelo Agora.
ကျောင်းလောက်ကျောင်းလောက်နေဘရိုအဲ့ကျောင်းလောက်ကအေးသူတားကြတယ်လေ
They can win the game. But what about Tianlong and Lisao right now? Tianlong able to go toe-to-toe with this Aurelian Soul as the front lines need to hold strong enough for these Aurelian Souls. Continue to catch across the corner. Tianlong is going to extend his life in this game.
Perfect chain of abilities and a pivotal mirror match win for Tianlong. There's only 3 defenders. They're all left alive on this game, but if Along go down, he's on 1 life. If Tianlong goes down, he's on 1 life. Ending in game 6.
Big roll down coming in for Steel of Bora. Has a lot of room to improve. Still has items on a Zoe 2. Really looking for that Sona 2. Maybe needed to Tianlong died before doing that roll down, but after taking he has the time to wait. No bar 2, no
ရမစော
ပုံ
ဖြစ်
မှ
လာ
န်
ပြီ
ပဲ
လားဆို
ပုံမှန်ထားမှာ
Tianlong finds the Sona 2 on his side.
နာမီတူးဆိုနှစ်ကောင်ထဲဆိုရသေးတယ်ရှန်ထည့်မနေနဲ့
Two of the defenders in the lobby who are trying to keep the tournament alive are fighting right now.
တော့ DK နဲ့အဲ့လိုမပြင် DK ဒီဘက်ပို့ပြီးတော့အလဲမှာခွတ်ချရလို့ရတဲ့နေရာလေးပြီးရင်အဲ့ဒီအောက်မှာ rebound ထည့်တယ်နာမီရှိမှ rebound ထားလိုက်ပဲ DK လမ်းကိုဖွင့်ပေးတယ်
Mighty Mech has fallen. The front line's crumbling for all here. There's still the Morgana 2, but another
Bunny Crow
might be able to burn through it. Very
အဲ
close.
ဘာမှပြနိုင်တယ်ကော
Along takes a 3-unit loss.
Yeah, but
It's only up to Tianlong and
cash out
to keep the tournament alive.
အဲ့မကိတမျိုးကျွန်တော်ကအဲ့ဒါ top 4ဆိုတာဒီကောင်တွေကိုမိလိုက်ပြီကျွန်တော်ဒီကောင်ဆိုတော့တွေ့ဘုံကောင်းလေး
Win board if you're able to reach variation. And there is a Jin 2 now for Soju. There is still a new one, but as these players potentially Soju win this game, I think it's not completely crazy on the Zaya.
တော့ဆိုရင် rebound နောက်မှထား rebound နာမီရှိမှထားပြီ TK နေရာလေးဖွင့်ပေးတယ်
The big part of that though, if Lisao does fall here, and 3 more Nunus are added to the field, I think it's going to be a huge swing.
ဒီဂျိုင်းမှာလေးဖွင့်
Soju's win
ဒီအဲ့ဘက်မဟုတ်လေ blaze grab
Let's grab ပေးတာ Let's grab ပေးတာ
blaze grab ပေးအဲ့ဘက်တွေ light ကတ်နေတာမလို့လေအနေလွတ်ထားနေရတယ်ပြီးနာတော့မဟုတ်လေ3ကောင်လေးမှထားပြီးကွာဝင်တော့မှထားပြီး
all အကူအများကြီးပါ
Blitz versus Fiora. Fiora wins those, and that's going to be it for
Jedusor
as well as Lisao. Soju takes down one of the big
Check players and
3 players left alive, 2 in check.
နိုင်တယ်မလား
Soju had the hero to force a game 7.
And look at the 2 players that we
ပြီးသွားပြီ
had.
လား
They could not have different
ဟိုဟွာမင်းနဲ့ဆယ်
stories.
လို့ပေါ်တာနေရာပဲတည်းက
Story
ချက်မြင်
and
ဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုယူပဲချက်တယ်ကြောင်းပါ
accolades, the entirety of TFT
ဆိုကြပါလေပါ
alongside
တော့
Steel
ဆိုယူပါ
of
ဘောလေ
Bora,
ကျွန်တော်မ
one
သိ
of the anomalies, the newcomers on the block.
တော့ပတ်စံတကြပဲ
Months ago,
ဒီကောင်လေး
Steel of Bora was
တန်း
not
လိုက်ပါ
even a top 16 player in Korea, and now they're standing here representing APAC
guys.
on the big
ဒီ
stage.
လိုထားခိုင်းရတာရှ
He's
င်
an Elder Dragon.
ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်
No,
ဟုတ်
does
rebound
not hit
rebound
it,
အနောက်မှာပဲ
unfortunately.
rebound ဘေးကိုမလာဘူး
Well,
Rebound
we
နောက်
do
3ယောက်
too,
ကိုပေးကတ်တာ
though, I
3
3
ယောက်
ယောက်
3ယောက်ပေးခဲ့တယ်မှာချား
ဘ
တာ
က်ပို့တာ
3ယောက်ဆိုတာအရှိရတော့အဲ့လောက်ကြီးကက်စရာမလိုအဲ့လောက်ကက်စရာမလို
But it's going to come
Yan
down to
Chao
the
Spicy
wire. Steel
Kiss
of
out
Bora, Huamye, they
Blitz
want to win
Yeah,အခုနိုင်
this
easy
game so they
I
can
mean,
win the
အခုဆို
championship
ကောင်းနေတယ်
round.
ပိုဇီရှင်
And
မောင်ဟိုက်စ
Soju
တက်
is
လို့ရှိရင်မထီ
hoping
ဘူး
to
ကျွန်တော်လည်း
keep
မိန်
the
ကောင်းနေ
dream
တယ်
alive of winning it himself.
He's not
Who has the
rolling.
ဒါပေမဲ့
better
တကုတ်လုံး
board?
ပြောက်သွားပြီ
He's not rolling. Soju is greeting
Okay, long time.
every
Oh,
instinct
long
of his
time.
body that says play for the top 4. He's throwing it out the window
Nami?
because he knows if he can make it to the next game, it only
yeah.
takes 1 first place.
But
Don't
this is
hold
a
on,
big
don't hold
test
on,
for
don't
the
hold on,
Great.
don't hold on.
Soju up against Huamye. Both of them
Yeah,
have
well,
their
later.
legendary units upgraded. That Vex is going to hope to ramp up in this fight and try to break down the weak side of the
yeah.
board. But as the Jin fires
Yeah,
off
they
his
got
finger
caught.
guns, we're spreading damage
Oh, yeah,
across
Oh,
the
Nami do, Nami
field.
do.
Nunu
The
Never did
Nunu
Nami do,
is
Nami
John
do,
and
yeah.
Nunu ultimate gets the stun into the backline. There's too many units
Look
alive
at
here
the
for
guy,
Huamye. So
Soju
Soju
show
loses this fight.
Shit.
Steel
Hello?
of Bora
Hey, hello,
might be
hello.
going down on the other side, but
Wins the
no,
ghost fight.
does win that ghost fight.
And Stilo going down. He did not buy the blitz. He does get it now. And this is the blitz that showed Soju enough to have on his board. It's why I think he was waiting to see if Stilo would die and he could roll down for a blitz 2 to add as a
Yes.
third
ပြင်
dual
သူ့
carry.
အတွက်ဂျိုင်းစတရားဘာညာရှော့ထည့်လိုက်ဖို့
Decided to not roll for the Nunu
Yeah.
2 and instead is going to have to beat Steel of Bora, I believe, in order to knock him out, get those Nunus added back to the pool.
Soju and Stilo both under the last life. This could be
Hello,
the
Mawai.
last fight of the
Hello.
tournament. If Juan makes
Sorry,
it
sorry.
အားပေးလိုက်ပါ
If this
Hey,
is a
na-
double
hey, Nami
KO,
knock out, Nami knock out.
Huamye will
Nami
defend
knock out.
ကောင်း
Nami
နမီ
knock
န
out.
ကောင်းလေကွာဘာကြောက်နေရလဲကွာ
history, winning
Nami
three
knock out တာကျန်
international titles.
အဲမင်းလူက front line ပဲလူရ
Nami knock out နဲ့
Against Stilo of Bora, this will at least
What
be
is
a
better than one?
knockout
Two.
for one of them.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
will end up seeing the Vex start to take
Hey,
out
TK.
these dummies that they has crash landed through
Siamo
the
te,
front
siamo te,
line.
siamo
But
te,
the
siamo te, Nami
rest
knock out.
of the tanks are starting
do I
to
belong?
Oh my
fall.
god Oh my god
Vex
what
is
are you
casting,
TK?
going
What do we
crazy.
do?
The
Well, I mean,
Vex
no,
is
no, no,
freaking out, and
Not
Stilo
like
of
that.
Bora is down.
အဲ့ဒါဒီပါ
K3
ဘူး
Soju?
Soju on the other side ended up fighting
So
a
you know.
ghost, but is still in this.
ဆိုယူ
It's
ပြပါ
all in the hands of the biggest streamer in TFT, K3 Soju, the influencer
What
note, the
mean I want?
competitor. Do you have it in
Generational
you
run
to
first
keep
nine
turning
class
alive?
You done
We're
him
still
along,
on
mate.
the Nunu 1.
အော်ဒါစားရတယ်အော်ဒါစားရတပလိမ့်နဲ့ချောင်း
Blitz 2, Soju potentially trying to stop
မင်း
Juanme
တို့ဝါစတိုင်း
from
ကျွန်တော်မထင်တော့ဘူးပြီးသွားပြီလားဒီလောက်ဆို
player of all time with a second tack round win
Yeah,
after his
Front line
last
Magal.
set.
ဟုတ်တယ် animal
Yeah,
ကော
To do it a pivotal final fight.
Watch the blitzcrank position. That's going to be a really big part of this fight. First on
Hello?
Juanme's
အာ
side.
တော့ဟိုကဝင်
You
သွား
can see
တာ
it's
လေ
going to target
Hey,
either
yes.
the Ross
Winner.
or the Nunu. The Ross walks up
that's a
to
goal.
block that.
Sorry,
Nice.
generation
Maybe
run.
they'll buy a little bit of time. Depends on how fast the
Soju?
Fiora on the left-hand side
Well, maybe
breaks
down
through
him,
this weak side of the board.
Watch the Fiora on the Zaya as well. If she
ကျွန်တော်ကျွန်တော်သိတယ်
Oh, no, no, no.
နာမီကိုထားပြီးမှ
Broken
ကိုရ
ပြီ
ဘစ်ဖက်
Soju.
broken ပြီ
ဟုတ်
ဟို
လား
မီဝေါ်ချက်ပြန်ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
ဟုတ်
ဟိုမီဝေါ်ချက်
ဟိုအိုင်တန်ရနိုင်ပြီအဲ့ဒါယူပြီးတော့ဟို GS ကိုပါနာမီပေးလိုက်လေပြီးတော့ဒီလိုဆက်အောင် TG ပြန်ပေးလိုက်
And
ဒီမှာ
Juanme
အဖေတော့ဘဘပါရရှိရ
the Tactician's crown for Space God.
ပြီးရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ TK main တန်တာဘုရား
What
မိန်ကြ
can
ပါ
you say? Not
TK လက်တန်ရမယ်
only is
because ကလာမ
Juanme
မောင်းပြီးတော့
one of
aggro
the
လက်ချရ
greatest
အောင်
players of all time,
Aggro
he is
mode
the
ပါပါ
only
လေ
player
အော်ဒါ
to have 3
What TK, what TK?
international titles
Nah, man.
in his trophy
Hey, Nami
case.
3.
For so long, it felt
Generation
like he
run.
had taken a dip, had
Yeah,
taken a
yeah,
lull,
that's
but the king is back, baby.
Triple crown secured. The Tactician's crown looks
Are you
great
right? Can I
on
say
that?
Juanme's head
နာမီကို
once
adapted ပြီး
again.
ပြီးဆိုရ
This has been an incredible tournament run, incredible story for Juanme as he tries to
Keep
come
it up,
back
don't
into this excellence. The CN dynasty that he started, he is
Malou.
continuing to reign.
ရရမို့ဒီဘက်မှာရွေးပေါ့ဒီဘက်
It's been 1,700
Oh, yeah, yeah,
days
yeah,
since
yeah.
Juanme has actually won his first TAC
Oh,
round
this is
champion.
really
But
nice. This is
now
really
he
nice.
does it again. So many sets,
my
12
Nine
sets
and-
in the waiting.
Nine
Juanme
Nice.
now shows up as your undisputed GOAT of TFT.
Opened up the conversation with his
ရပြီလား second wide let's go
now potentially cement
အားလည်းဘယ်နှပွဲဆော့อ่ะ
as you mentioned Clement the greatest player of all
ဟုတ်တယ်ပွဲမှတော့မပြီးရဒီဘက်နိုင်နောက်တော့ပွဲဆို
three
ဒီဘက်နိုင်
major
နောက်
titles
ဒီဘက်ကတော့
coming out from this
ဒီလိုက်
player.
ပါဟုတ်လား
We are going to get an interview with him, and we are going to hear a translation from Clement so that we can get to
ကျွန်
hear
တော်
his
ဒီဒီပဲ
answers.
မရအောင်ဒါ no fucking way ပြောတယ်
စောက်ရဲလေဘယ်လိုမဖြစ်လဲမသိတော့အဲ့ဒါဘက်ပီပဲတော့တကယ်
觉得这个奖杯对你
ပြောပါနဲ့
是什么？
What does this
因为这
championship
赛季
mean
我
to
感觉
you?
我吃的打得特别好嘛，就是
နောက်ပြီး2နှစ်က
ဒီကဘာလို့ river ကိုဆော့နေရလဲ
我
all
打
group
还
ပါ
是很好，但最后也是顶住压力了嘛。
လုံးနဲ့တိုင်း
ဘ
ပဲ
က်တူတဲ့တော့တူရပါ
Started to do well. I made it through the pressure, and I think it's because
ဒီ
of
န
how
ည်းလာ
hard
တွေ့
I
စိတ်တွေလည်း
worked.
ညက်ပါ
也很像幻灭这几年
ကြီးအဖေရဲ့
缩影。
This finals felt
ဟိုမေးက
like
war တိုင်း2ခါ
a
land 1ခါ champion 3ခါ
symbol of
ဟဲ့အာ
what
နိုင်
you're
သွားပြီ
going.
အာငါတို့က
land 1ခါဟို2ခါ
But
War
you've been
Naka.
able to keep calm,
回顾
and finally you remain victorious.
你觉得支撑着你
Can
能
you
够走到
look
现
back
在？
at your
Paris
past
Obama champion
and tell us
ဆက်လာမသိအဲ့မှာ
never
champion
gave up, why
ဆက်
you
3လက်
kept
ဆက်လာ
going
မယ်
on?
champion
ပြီး
ပြီးတော့ဆက်အခုဆက်ခွန်မှာ champion
ကျွန်တော်ပြောရင်1 main နိုင်သွား
Because TFT
အာမရွေးလိုက်ရတော့ကွာ
in my life.
已经慢慢
တကယ်မရွေးလိုက်ရတယ်ကောနာ
在引领之夜这个比赛上书写了我一个比较浓厚的故事了。
And I
ဟောဝင်အတက်
felt
ကြီးနေ
like
တယ်သူ
I have
ပြောကြ
already
ည့်
written
JB
a great
30
story
လောက်ရှိတယ်
with this game.
幻灭对于你来说有没有心里最想
ဘယ်
ဘုံတူတလီ
Juan Mie, who do you
ဟုတ်တယ်
want
တော်
ဟော
တော်
ဆောလင်းရ
Oh,
ဆောလင်းရ
oh,
ကိုလန်ပါဆိုတော့ဗျာသူများတွေ
ကိုလည်းပါဆိုပြောတာဟာ
ဘို့လေးဗျာဒီ
ဒီတိုင်းပတ်နေတယ်ပတ်နေတယ်
应该也在看这场比赛。
Thank you to my family. I know you're watching out there.
现场的家长，不是另一个
ဒီ emote တွေကျေလူစောတဲ့
支持我的
All the fans
ဒီ
here,
မောက်တွေကျေးဇူး
以及发给
everyone
我
who
的
supported
我
me,
我们 A G 俱乐部的杰哥。
and especially Alpha Gaming, who
我相
discovered
信
me.
幻灭能够在自己追逐热爱和梦想的这条路上走得如此的笃定。
အမေကိုကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်တဲ့သူ့နောက်ကနေထောက်ပံ့မိခဲ့လို့တဲ့
Had so much conviction.
此时此
နောက်
刻
你跳回去
in
这个
going on to your path of your passion and your dreams, it must have been all these people that helped you and supported you. There's been so many people that have supported TFT, supported the CN region. Do you have anything to say to
ပြော
them?
ပြပါအောင်တဲ့
မော်ဒယ် streaming now နဲ့ model streaming now နဲ့
ဟုတ်လားမော်ဒယ်ဆွဲနေရ
现场的兄
ဟုတ်တ
弟
ယ်
ပြင်ပါလေ
model
model
以及从
I
事
hope all
的
the
相关工作人
brothers
员。
Am I a
out there
streamer now?
that
I
are
feel like
working
it's
in
TFT.
TFT that are viewing this game,
model
I
streaming
hope
model streaming
that you were satisfied with this
Hi, hi,
finals.
24年主持全球
我都
总决赛
ဘာတွေပြောမလဲ
I
စိတ်ဝင်စား
have
နေတယ်
been
这是我第一
hosting
次站
since
在
Start this zone
这个舞台
ဟောမေးဟိုစာ tradition ကောင်းရတာ model streaming ပိုပြီးရေးကြည့်
interview
Okay.
a
တ
champion.
ကယ်ကြောင်လည်းနားထောင်ကြတယ်ကျွန်တော်
ဖေး
No
ဖေးဖေး
matter for all the staff, for all the players,
တော့ကွက်တိလောက်တယ်လားတတိချင်းပြီးရဲ့အချိန်တီခရောင်းပြီးရဲ့အချိန်မှာစဆဲ
has shown
Damn.
us the value of perseverance. Congratulations to Juan Mie once more.
那么接下来
Give him your
我们要
applause.
有请今天全球总决赛的季军李少登上我们的舞台，来，掌声有请。
Giving our applause and hoping that Juan Mie can take a bow. What an incredible legacy
champion you
that
got,
Juan Mie has grown for the competitive TFT scene. You can now see how he places amongst this hall of champions and giants. There are only 3 competitors in the entire world that can say that they have won a Tactician's
အဲ့
crown
တော့
twice.
ဆမ်မာတိုင်းနည်းနည်း
And
aura
Juan
ရှိ
Mie
ရ
now stands as the most
ကျွန်တော်တို့
recent one to
ဘော
join
တိုက်တယ်2ခါဟိုပါဘူး2ခါရိုက်တော့2ယောက်တည်းမဟုတ်တော့3ယောက်ပဲဟိုကမေးရဲ့ this ဆိုရတိုက်တယ်
was the man who ended the drought. It's been so long since we saw CN on top, and man, I could not handpick a
Robin man မှန်ပါ
than Juan Mie.
ဒေါ်လာတော့သိန်း
What
ဝဲ
a tournament as well, with this open title just barely falling
MVP
short
and
yesterday in the
Natangwe.
top 16 as well. I mean, the only one to
Wow,
move on to
Magic.
the final lobby. The consistent
Oh,
way
officially
players
man,
are
yeah.
defending each other, trying to extend the tournament again and again. Huami
ဒေါ်လာ
himself
တော့သိန်း
that
ဝဲကို
last
right
game,
off
he
ပြရ
was the
လား
defender,
တရုတ်ကပြရ
pushed
လား
into a game 6.
Right
and
up
now
here.
it's
Right, I think we're
over.
out.
To
Oh my
roll
God.
early on 4-2 to find the scaling graves, to find all of his 5-cost upgrades as
ကျွန်တော်
well.
လည်းလုပ်ချင်တယ်
As early as stage
စဉ်းစားကြည့်
4,
ကျွန်တော်လက်တွေပါတုံး
Bill,
နေ
I think
စာ
one of
ရော
the
ကန်
most
ရ
dominant boards we've seen all tournament long.
ဒီဖတ်တော့
အခုတော့လက်ထုတ်နေရရ blood စီကတော့
လောတယ်မင်း prior ရဖို့အောင်လက်တွေတော့လေဟာလား
နောက်ပွဲနဲ့တော့ဖို့စကန်ပဲနောက်ပွဲနဲ့တော့ဖို့စကန်
Stacked grand finals.
Ah, Ruben,
Oh, mentality အဲ့လိုမျိုးမထားကောင်းတကယ်
Getting that $150,000 grand
No,
prize.
first or 8
Everybody
so
here is
Professional
earning a
mentality ကြားရ
pretty
ကျင်
good
တော့
sum of
ကျွန်တော်
cash,
တို့
and
ဟုတ်တယ်
one me mentality ကတော့ strong ဘာလို့ strong လဲဆိုဒီကောင်အရန်နိုင်နေတော့ तू ကပုံမပြတ်ဂျေဒူဆော်တို့ဘာလို့ဆိုနိုင်နေပုံပြတ်သွားသေးတယ်ရန်ပြုတ်သွား38မိနစ်ပြောတာဂျေဒူဆော်တို့လေ
Asian နေအမှတော်တော် Asian နေစိတ်ထားမှုရှိဒီတော့ကောင်းနေတယ်Hey, mini shoot that today.
Players they go to one tack round, they're never seen again. It's
motor game ပြရတယ်။ sorry motor game ယူ။
mini shoot effect
ဟုတ်တယ်။ But then we're never seen. So for someone like Juan to have that special moment after 12 sets to then make it back to show that perseverance can pay off. You know, there was a long period of time where I felt like Tactics Tools was probably going to end the scene in CN because everyone was digging up on the stats. For Juanmi, you know, a lot of people doubted his style. He had this muse that was talking to him, but the muse also pushed him to do some really crazy stuff that didn't actually work out most of the time. He stuck to it. He was still the most viewed player out of East Asia. A lot of different regions watched him for his ingenuity, and he stayed strong at the start of sets. But he never really ever came that close at the end of the sets, actually. Paris was a glimpse. It was still the start of the set where everyone was still figuring things out. Now to close it at the tack round really shows an entirely different level. That trophy case is full. I feel like CN is going to be reinvigorated after this one. It's looking bright for TFT.
And as much happiness there goes to CN, I have to imagine how invigorating this is going to be for those other regions who just fell short. My heart breaks, to be honest. My heart breaks for Jedusor, and it breaks for Lee Sao. Of course, Lee Sao being from CN where they did pick up the win. These are two players that have come so close, and now they've come so close multiple times, just barely up short. And the upside to that, though, is just imagine how sweet that would be when you finally get to crown someone like at such an elite level to take home that crown themselves.
Someone like Soju. I think that's another competitor we just have to give props to, making it to the final lobby after not being Tactician's crown since Dragonlands, but proving in this set 2 TFT Pro Circuit Cup wins that with. I think that this is a performance on this final day that all of our competitors can be very proud of, and it's a matter of time before any of them end up with a Tactician's crown of their own.
He's been scaling. The TPC wins. Some viewers might think, you know, it's just TPC. That's not that serious. It doesn't matter as much. Now you cannot deny Soju's we're seeing maybe the final form. It's taken a while, I think, for him to really reach that level of I'm focused, I'm locked in, I'm hungry for one specific goal. Now that he's come so close, he's made it to a final lobby. I think this might unlock that next level in Soju of consistency, of hunger. I think America's will be very fun to watch next set.
4 years ago, he went on the record to say, when I retire, I don't want to be remembered as just I want to be remembered as one of the best that the Americans had to offer. And you have to imagine a top 8 returning to form, the incredible set that he had. We are getting closer and closer to that reality every single day.
Well, what a day to close out our Tactician's crown for Space Gods, and what an excellent way to be able to send off this set in style. We hope you all enjoyed watching the Tactician's crown. We thank you all so much for cheering on and supporting our players, and special thank you to all of the people that make this production possible.
What it is. Let's go, guys.
Congratulations, Juanmi. Check out Enchanted Wilds with you all.
Congratulations, Juanmi. Congratulations, someone.
Solid for going for Vegas. Congratulations, Solid for going Vegas.
Information about when Enchanted
Congratulations,
Wilds will
Solid.
launch. Thanks again for watching.
Congratulations,
Congratulations to Juanmi, and we will see you all next time in Enchanted Wilds.
PB လည်းမရှိဘူးကွာခွေးကအမှန်ဆိုမနေ့ကတပတ်ကတော့ PB ဆော့နေရတယ်
ကျွန်တော်ဒါနိုင်ဝိုင်းတော့ PB နဲ့တက်ပြတယ် I never been to challenger thank you
ဘောကြတယ်
if any esport team want to sign me reach out to
Brown ဆန်းလိုက်ပါဗျာ Brown ပေါ်ရင်ဆိုင်
sign up လိုက်တော့
Bye bye guys ပြီးသွားရတယ်
fidelity ဆောင်းနေတယ်
Brown ပြောသလိုပဲကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်နေ့မှ information PB အကြောင်းဆုံးပါလို့ရှိရင်ဒါမှမဟုတ် unit တွေသိရရင်တော့ break လုံးတော့ပိုကောင်းအခုကဘာသိမသိရတယ် space လည်းမသိရတယ်ဗျာ
ဟိုကအားရိုက်ပြီး
Bye bye guys Awesome.
Alright. Bye bye.
Bye bye နဲ့လေကြည့်ပေးဦးလေ
Subscribe. If you made it this far, you guys are the goat.
If you made it this far. သဘောကျတယ် bro သဘောကျတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်
bro ဘယ်က
bro
ကြ
ပြောရ
ည့်
တာ
အလွတ်ချက်လာ
စက် TFT လေစက်ဖန်ပွိုင်းလေးက
ဟုတ်တယ်ဘုံပါ
If you made
Boomba.
this far,
စက်တော့မိမယူပါ
like and subscribe. GG, let's go.
မိမရပါပြီလား
တင်တာလေ
မသိခဲ့
ဒီမှာလေ